think you are of the left, even though economically you're quite right wing in some of your beliefs. Fiscally, you're right wing, but socially, culturally, you're left wing. Like you want to fit in, you want to help people, and you want to see the best in people. And all that.
But I also don't want to get taxed.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay for them, or I get that. You want to keep your own money for yourself, but you want socially nice things for other people.
Yeah, that's
well, unfortunately, the world doesn't fucking work like that.
I know. No, listen, I don't mind Trump. I've not got. People say I'm anti-Trump. No, listen, Trump's come in. He's done a lot of things good, and some of the stuff economically, I think he's wrong. I think the tariffs are a bit daft. It's stupid. Obviously, that happened. It was daft in the markets. If it was daft, he crashed. But I think he's done. He's done a lot of.
We are live.
We are live. He's done a lot.
Welcome to Common Sense. We're just getting into it here. Cambo just explained to me the current American political landscape, and now he's currently sitting on the fence. So we'll no doubt get into that. Obviously, the main talking points for us will be the football, as always. The gift that keeps giving. Football has given us a whole host of controversial talking points, not only from this weekend, but from the last kind of weeks of your football. So starting first and foremost, the big talking point for us has to be AFCON. Jamie Carragher's comments. Yeah. What do you think? What did you see?
Well, I done a big tweet on the internet, and I got a fucking 1,000 bites on it, and to be honest, it was 90% positive.
Bites. All right. Was this the one about the placing? Each placing for the World Cup winner, the Euros winner, by ranking. I thought that was good. I put back to that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it showed where the AFCON winners had placed in the FIFA, and some come back and say the FIFA rankings were a load of crap, which I half agree with. But still, it gives you the sort of ballpark of where these teams are in terms of ability in the world football landscape, and the African teams. But there was two in the top 30. There was two African teams in the top 30 teams.
Who are they? Have a guess.
Morocco and was it Egypt?
Possibly.
It was Morocco and Egypt. Senegal were 32nd or something. So there was two teams in the top 30, and it was just like, well, that says it all, doesn't it? And the other one was the first game, the opening game in the AFCON. Only sold out the tickets. Didn't sell out. Everyone says, oh, but it's in Africa. We're all dead poor. If that was the fucking World Cup in Africa, the first game would sell out. So you didn't need a letter of the Pope.
We did have a World Cup in 2010.
It's South Africa, and I'm saying a bit where I don't even know where it was. That's how Winchester was the last AFCON.
Well, it was known for the Vuvuzela, wasn't
it? That was the South African World Cup. Yeah. I'm saying the AFCON.
England being shit.
Which was shit, wasn't it? I don't remember the South African World Cup like captured in the public imagination.
But I mean, South Africa as a place to go, it's stunning, isn't it? Where it's a place.
I've never been.
No, I mean, it looks amazing. But I mean, where this AFCON was, I don't know where it was.
Like it's like anywhere though. There's some smelly parts of everywhere, isn't there? Do you mean?
But I'm saying if the World Cup was in that part where the AFCON was, the first game would have sold out, and you would have needed the letter of the Pope if he wasn't dead to get a ticket for that game.
Yeah, but so the big thing, obviously, Carragher said what he said, or he kind of backed out of it a little bit because Sturridge and Micah give him obviously they had to defend the brown person position because, as I said in the tweet, only people who were brown, or people from Africa really think that that's a major tournament. If you're from Africa, it is an absolutely massive tournament for you. But again, for most people who aren't aligned in some form or fashion to Africanos, then really, you'd watch the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. I'm a mad footy fan. I'll watch pretty much any footy on the telly apart from the cosplay, and even that I give 5 minutes to usually. And I watched some of the first round games. I have to laugh. The one thing, it's phenomenal.
The keepers.
The keepers are shite.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
Keepers are dog shit.
The keepers are the keepers are hilarious. That's what I like.
But the penalty shootouts, you've never seen a penalty shootout like it. Like this, because as I told you, the nerve endings. Most players who play in them African cover nations, nerve endings stop at the top of the patella tendon. So when it gets the pens, normally like you're nervous. For them, lad, they're just banging them in the top. That's the best standard of penalties you've ever seen. Like there's no pressure because they've just got the insensitivity from the kneecaps down. Most of them. And then the pitches shite usually.
Yeah.
Even when it gets into the latter stages, the crap. Officials, the season tournament after tournament where all of them are arguing for corruption. I mean, Eto'o was arguably one of the greatest African players of the recent generation
ever.
has come out and spoken about the bribery and the match officials. You've had mad goals getting given to teams like Ghana. I spoke in the video about it. Three African Cup of Nations on the spin, all in Ghana's favour, and obviously disallowed goals even when they had VAR. And again, you know, you spoke about Togo and the team bus getting attacked, and like, it's just stuff where, you know, it's a big tournament for the Africanos.
Yeah.
And again, you know, our school tournament, the Knowsley Cup for our schools was massive. He was like, the Hanson Cup was the big one to win. Huge in the area. But unfortunately, everybody outside the fighting didn't really give a shit about it. The African Cup of Nations is huge in the area. Lots of people in the area care deeply about it. But unfortunately, the world doesn't stop for it. Like if I said to you now, name me like the last 5 winners and the last 5 host nations, you wouldn't have a clue.
No.
Now, attacking players and offensive players, I think the Africanos have produced some of the best players ever. You think, you know, Georgie Weah, Abidi Pele, you know, JJ Okocha, Drogba, could be here all day going on, player after player. Lots of brilliant players.
But they're scattered with...
Well, no, the big thing for me was John Obi Mikel came, because obviously Carragher said what he said. He shit himself the next day and had to backtrack because he obviously didn't want all the brown people kicking off and getting him sacked from Sky, because obviously you know, everything now, as soon as he said that he was a racist coloniser, you know, that's unfortunately the world we live in now. If you say something that people don't like and you've got brown skin, then you're a racist coloniser. And I end up getting called that myself, which was quite quite novel. So it's another insult to add to me book of insults. And the big thing for me was the personal attacks. So I've seen JJ Okocha come out and had a go at Carragher. I've seen Obi Mikel come out and call Carragher out and say he hadn't won the league, so how dare he talk about what, you know, is his job now, what it's like to win the league, which is a fair point. You have to argue that. It is a fair point. He hasn't won a league and he's telling, you know, whoever it is this
Didn't he
season,
say he's not won a major tournament? And it was just like, actually he has.
Not for his club, for his
he
country.
Said he's not won a major
for his country, he said that. So he doesn't know what it's like in terms of the passion and the pride to play for your country, which again, you know, a lot of people would say Jamie Carragher was Liverpool first.
He was, yeah.
You know, no disgrace there, but I can see what Obi Mikel's talking about. And then he had the lad who was at, I think he was at Wolves and Watford, Armin Guerrero or something like that, Algerian boy who come out and obviously, you know, they all had a go at him in different ways, and I've seen a lot of ex-African Cup of Nations players having a pop at Carragher, all right, which is fair enough, and they were all getting personal with him, or some were getting personal, some were talking about his playing ability, some were talking about his credentials in terms of what he's won, which got me thinking, well, that still doesn't answer the question. Like, is it or isn't it a major tournament? I don't personally think it is. I mean, you know, there's an argument the Copa America isn't, because they've invited teams who aren't from the continent in, made a bit of a joke of it. Some standard of refereeing and pitches in their tournaments can be a bit iffy, but again, because Brazil and Argentina there, I think you'd have to...
The difference, there's World Cup winners in that tournament.
Yeah, you'd have to have it there, and I think the Euros is the same in the World Cup. Now, the big thing would be, is I've seen loads of people, and obviously the African community, and they attack you online, the Africano community, obviously on the Twitter when you say anything that they don't like. So they obviously came, you know, for me because of my comments as well. And it got me thinking, and I've saved it for this. Can anybody out there, as much as all the Africanos have had a pop of Carragher for saying what he said, there's no better defender come from Africa than Jamie Carragher. Africa have never produced a better defender than Jamie Carragher.
Well, they are, but they are going to play for France.
Well, name me a better African defender. Can anybody name me a better African defender?
Marcel Desailly.
Ever. He's French.
Kolo Touré.
Kolo Touré went better than Jamie Carragher. Joking, aren't you? So again,
it's
like,
it's a shout. It is a
Can
shout.
you name me a better defender than an African defender?
If there was, we would have said then, and I can't.
They might say Koulibaly, the lad who came over with a big reputation from Napoli.
He's a big yard
dog. He shit the bed, and then he got off to Saudi.
Kolo Touré for instance was good.
Kolo Touré's not better than Jamie Carragher. If I said to you can have one in your team, bear in mind Carragher played at right back.
I'd have Carragher over Touré, yeah. I would.
Again, we're going through here, this great continent that's produced phenomenal talent and deserves to be taken serious as a major tournament. Well, you can't name me one defender. Now, if I said to you here, you know, they're all going on about Carragher if he was like fucking James Beattie, right? That's the way they were going on, as if he's proper shit, which is what they do. You know, cunts who've never had the kick of a ball of footy, all of a sudden they're experts, and if someone says something who's been a good player, they come down on them and question the credentials. So again, if it was saying James Beattie, name me a better African striker than James Beattie, you'd probably sit here and name me 25.
Yeah.
So Carragher is a lot better than what they're saying. He's a lot better defender than what he's given credit for. Now, name me a better African defender than Jamie Carragher, who's had a better career. Or right back. Name Bakary Sagna, play for France.
French, yeah, I can say French.
Or Gallas, play for France. All the ones.
French, I said, the older
Sammy
decent
Kuffour,
ones.
play for Bayern Munich, Ghanaian, but play for Germany. So but you can't have them. I'm talking about people who've actually played for African teams. So an African defender, there's none better than Carragher. Carragher's better than them all.
Well, the league itself is...
In history of African defenders.
Yeah, the league itself, there was... This is a good one. Name the last player to come to the Premier League. I might be wrong here, but this is what I can think of. To come to the Premier League directly from an African team. And it was... I'll give you the clue.
And he won the Premier League?
No, they moved to the Premier League. Now, this is my quiz question. I got
Benny
that.
McCarthy? No, he come from...
No.
Michael Fish?
No,
Michael Fish, what a shout.
1992. No, Lucas Radaby he went from...
Peter and Love.
Mouse got it. There you go. 92 into Coventry.
Peter and Love. He was good for a while, Zimbabwean.
Yeah. So that was the last one I can
remember. But anyway, so they're all having a pop at Carragher. And again, look, if anyone...
Taribo West.
Like,
Taribo West.
He got slung out to Taribo West. You're like, come on.
Yeah. No.
So it's out there for you. If anybody,
you
know, it's all good and well taking Carragher out, but again, you know, all the Africanos couldn't name a better defender than him. And they're meant to be big, strong and fast, aren't they, which should suit defending.
Yeah.
Throwing out good defenders.
Noah, can I do my quiz question out to the listeners to see if anyone wants to win a t-shirt?
Wait a little bit more, because the room's not that full yet.
Oh, isn't it?
Wait until kick-off.
The second one was, did you see the fallout of Jose Mourinho with the Galatasaray Fenerbahce?
That's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, but did you see it?
Yeah, seen it, and it was just utter nonsense. Seen Drogba come and defend him, which was a fair shot.
To be fair, Obi Mikel and Michael Essien and all that came out for him, because he'd said the Galatasaray bench...
Jumping around like monkeys.
Yeah, we're jumping around like monkeys, trying to get a young player sent off, and obviously Galatasaray then said that was racially
motivated comments.
And then all the black players who play for Mourinho, I thought were superb in terms of stepping up, saying, he's not a racist at all.
Yeah.
But what was bubbling underneath that, which is big from Europe this weekend, was it was all about the officials. You know, Mourinho's challenging the officials in Turkey, saying basically Galatasaray with Turkish officials get really, really good decisions towards them, and almost pointing at the Turkish game being corrupt, which he said before. Mourinho, Ryan Babel, who played for Liverpool, has come out then and said he's obviously had the longest stint in Turkey. He played for 4 clubs, and there was definitely games he played in where he felt they were really lucky with some decisions. That then leads me into the big news coming out of France this week, where Marseille, I think they played Auxerre last week, and had a few bad decisions given against them, to the point where I don't know whether it was the sporting director, Mehdi Benatia, who's come out and said about the French league being corrupt, and that the Qataris have bought PSG, and basically they can't wait for the European Super League because they can't wait to pull out the French competition.
Yeah.
For Olympique Marseille to say that about Ligue 1, I think is an absolute statement in terms of how ill-feeling there is towards some of the officiating, and certainly favourably towards Paris Saint-Germain, who it leads me nicely into play
the Red Men
Liverpool on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's a bit of a I think, for all the good that's been this year's Champions League, the European Cup, I think if Liverpool absolutely cruised that league in second gear, we beat some of the best teams along the way, and then to get us a draw against PSG just seems a bit of a... I mean, it's a bit harsh, you know what I mean? It's just like one of them. It's like we were the best team in that competition up in the group stage, and then they give us a draw against PSG. I just don't think it needs a bit of fine tweaking. You know, the next... I know he's saying moan at the draw, but I just don't think it's...
You're going to play a fucking top side in the fucking Champions League knockout stages. Like, what's the big...
If you're
the best team in the world.
Aston Villa got an easier draw than us.
If you're the best team in the world, you don't fear anybody.
I still think we'll beat over 2 legs. We'll beat PSG.
The point is...
The draw's fixed. Is this what you're
not saying? It's fixed. I'm saying...
We've done the best out of the league. We should have some sort of reward. Like,
yeah.
It's the seeding, isn't it? So it's
not the seeding.
It's actually not the seeding.
It's not the seeding. It's the way...
Who's a seeded one, aren't you?
I think when Liverpool were in the European Cup years ago...
That was...
Get who you get.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I just think... Like Villa got Club Brugge, did they get? And stuff like that.
Get who you get. The knockout, innit? What do you want now? Do you want your hand held all the way to the final just so you can fucking win it a bit? He's not got enough favourable decisions going your way.
Oh, there we go. Listen, we've had about 6 VARs.
Anyway, before we get into it, let's get into the decisions. So, the biggest call for me at the weekend, obviously, was the Jean-Philippe Matete challenge in the Millwall FA Cup game. Keeper runs out. I'd like us to get a replay of it, if you can get a replay of it, or a couple of replays of it, because I came out during the weekend, and said, I personally don't believe that that's a red card. And the more and more I've watched it, the more and more I believe it's not. And the thing that alerted me to it in the first place was I thought Matete was dead, because I've seen Steve Parish doing a statement after the game where he said it's the worst tackle I've ever seen. At the time, bear in mind, he's a fucking 50-year-old fella with the big stupid lines shaved in his hair. That's dyed blonde instead of going graciously grey. So he's got a line shaved in his head. Parish done a fantastic job at Palace, but fucking never kicked the ball. You can see he's an absolute bag of bones.
He done some kind of talk.
Done a big mad talk as if like it was the worst challenge he's ever seen. So I'm thinking, this must be bad, this. I've watched it back. I've gone, the foul's the other way. Should have been a foul on the keeper. Yellow card for Matete.
Foul on the keeper?
Foul on the keeper. Where? Yellow card for Matete.
Look, yeah.
Matete pushes the centre half. All right.
He just it's shoulder to shoulder. This isn't a foul. Shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, that's a push, mate. Keeper wins the ball.
He hasn't
Keeper wins the ball at nipple height. Keeper wins the ball.
Win the ball's irrelevant. Look what his foot is.
What do you mean, win the ball?
Winning the ball when an endangers play, win the ball's irrelevant.
No,
it is.
No, it's not.
It is. Cool. We've seen players. Look, we've had 2 Liverpool players sent off for winning the ball.
Mane's challenge against Ederson was 50 times worse than that.
No, it's not.
And I didn't see Pep Guardiola or Ibdan Khaldun or whatever it was, the chairman of Man City, out after the game saying how bad it was. It's the worst challenge he's ever seen. Mane's against Ederson in 2017 is 25 times worse than that.
His foot 6 foot in the air, bingo.
No, look where he makes contact with the
challenge.
ball.
No, France versus...
Yeah, France, West Germany.
West Germany, yeah.
That's horrendous.
He doesn't even get the ball.
He doesn't get the ball. Breaks his collarbone, breaks his cheekbone or whatever. This kid gets the ball.
Right? Getting the ball when your foot's 6 foot in the air.
That's what I'm saying.
Look where he wins the ball. Right?
I've just seen him show where he wins the ball.
Yeah, look where he wins the ball. Just pause it where he wins the ball. There, look. It's even lower than that. Now, his momentum takes him in, right? Now, unfortunately, if the keeper missed the ball there, I'd be saying, red card, he's off, you got to get the ball. The keeper gets the ball.
But again, that in the laws of the game, that's irrelevant.
The ball he hasn't kicked at head height. The ball's been kicked at nipple height, and because he's had to kick it up to kick it over him, so he doesn't kick it into Matete, and the ball goes in his own net. He's kicked it up. In the midst of that, he's going to make contact with the player. Now, Matete's been coughed in the head. Look, it's not a great challenge. I don't think it warrants. People were saying he deserves an extra game ban. Bear in mind, this is early in the game. It's cost them the FA Cup tie because they've lost going down to 10 men. They're then asking for further bans on top of it. So he's going to miss 3 games as it is for violent conduct or a reckless endangering an opponent or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then they're asking for more games, and I think that's completely unjust. I actually don't think that's a sending off. I think if Matete wasn't fucking about barging the defender, he would have been in a position to defend himself. At the end of the day, when you go on the pitch, you're responsible for yourself. If you fucking barking about, pushing people,
keepers do worse than that. How many times do you see keepers come out to catch it with the knees
up? Yeah,
but that's what he should have done.
Well, he can't because he's outside the box.
Yeah,
he's got to get the ball.
Yeah,
he can't punch it there, otherwise he's sent off. He's got to kick
the ball,
doesn't
kick it,
which is what he does. If he heads it, he might clash into Matete and knock himself out.
No, I think it's for me.
When he actually makes
opinion,
contact, it's actually below nipple height.
Honestly, if that's a freak, in my opinion, Matete now is not in control of his body, knocks the keeper over. It's a foul the other way, possibly a yellow.
Yeah, but again, laws the game, getting the balls absolutely irrelevant.
No. What's happened now is all the fucking uphill gardeners are the pundits. So they're all, Steve Parish is out, line in his head. If you see a 50-year-old fella who's got a line shaved in his head and his hair is dyed, instantly you know he's a sausage jockey, all right? So I know he's rumoured to be sniffing around his Susanna Reid off Good Morning Britain, right? But he looks like a Raven Herbert to me, who's never played footy, who's never put a tackle in, and clearly shouldn't emotionally, as a chairman of a football club, be after the game saying it's the worst tackle he's ever seen. I think this massively counts here is it's a Millwall player against a Palace player. Millwall are seen as this dirty club. I'm surprised they haven't rolled out and said this was a racially aggravated assault. I'm absolutely shocked that they haven't said this is a white goalie from Millwall tackling Matete, a foreigner who's brown, and this is a racially motivated attack. He's premeditated it in the tunnel beforehand, because this is how fucking ludicrous.
Some people have on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well,
They have.
yeah, of course they have, yeah. So this is how ludicrous the world
It's
is.
for me, it's a red card. It's you're endangering an opponent.
For Mateta.
No, the keeper's endangered the opponent. It's a red card, straight red.
What's a keeper meant to do? He's got to get the ball.
Not
he gets
endanger
the
the opponent. That's
How has he endangered the
because
opponent?
his foot's 6 foot in the air.
So,
But what my problem is here, okay.
So hang on a minute. All right. Just a video you're here. So do you think when Jordan Pickford comes out and crashes into Van Dijk and does his crew shirt,
No,
that should
his
have been
foot's not 6 foot in the air.
But I'm saying he's endangered the fucking opponent.
Yeah, he's just gone in for the tackle. He's just gone into the ball with him.
He's endangered the opponent by not being in control of his own body, by jumping stupidly. Pickford, he's got Van Dijk in
Listen,
the stupidity.
I know there's a lot of Liverpool fans who would say that was a red card for endangering the opponent, but I don't think Pickford was. That is not even close
So
to
what
Pickford's
happens?
done.
All right, so because he's made contact with the head. So
Yeah.
what happens if I jump and as I head it, you head my head, which we see all the time in penalty areas? You butted me. That's not a red, is it?
No, because he's both going for the header.
Yeah, well, again, you're going to make contact with people because you're challenging, you're competing. The keeper's won the ball there. Keeper gets to the ball early.
Okay, listen,
Mateta
everyone's allowed an
Mateta
opinion
doesn't
on
get
it.
to the ball.
Yeah, but everyone's allowed an opinion on it.
Well, they've
For
sent
me,
him off. But
for
also,
me,
this is what I'm saying to you about the pundit space, goalies being on there. Well, goalies, I don't even know why anyone's got a goalie on there. But anyway, the goalies are on there. And then...
Was the goalkeepers union out though? Or?
No, well, you had obviously everybody's got the knickers in a twist over this saying, oh, it's a foul, it's
Cut. Yeah,
What?
nothing.
so everyone's kicking off over it, going like he should be signed-eyed and banned forever. I'm like, it's probably a foul the other way. That isn't the worst tackle I've ever seen on a football
No,
pitch.
that's not the worst, but
It's not even close. Ederson's every right to be aggrieved because there was nowhere near this for all when Mane absolutely full studded him in the face. Mane is 10 times worse than this, but because it's Liverpool and because it was a black player challenging a white player in Ederson or a Brazilian player, there was no one saying, oh, but now it's a Millwall goalie who's white on a black player. All of a sudden the rules of engagement have changed. And again, fannies. The next one, how was Anthony Gordon sent off for Newcastle?
because I don't think it's one of them ones. We've seen a lot less get red carded.
Do you think it's a red card?
No.
No, I don't think. Listen, if it
His haircut could be a red card on its own
if
at
I'd-
the minute, by the way.
if I'd
Gordon's.
seen it without knowing what punishment was, I'd say it was probably a free kick, no card.
But it was an
because it was
on-field decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was never
It was
getting
an on-field
overturned.
decision.
So it was never getting overturned.
Well, again, Liverpool played him in. He's going to be a ban now for the final.
I don't think. I reckon they might win the appeal. But going back to the Mateta one,
You're joking, aren't you?
What if they give the keeper?
The
Millwall keeper?
Yeah,
PGMOL and the FA have got a conviction rate only bettered by Vladimir Putin's criminal court. Like you've
Going
got
back
more
to
chance of getting cleared in Russia for a political conviction than you'd have in the front of the FA on overturning or rescinding a red card.
yeah. But going back to the
Yeah.
Mateta one anyway, Michael Oliver, who's supposedly our best referee, was 10 yards away. Didn't give it, but it's the same as when he got remember Dochwan McAllister with the big high foot in his chest, hit him square in the chest. Didn't give it. So he's just not Michael Oliver, supposedly our best referee, not giving them as.
I can see how he plays on.
And
I
to be
I
fair,
can see how he plays on, or gives Matete a yellow for endangering the
but
keeper.
Mateta's got 25 stitch in his head.
So what? If you make a
Canales is
challenge,
centre
you
forward.
fuck about.
It's a red
Yeah,
card
you
for
fuck
me.
about.
Put
You
your body
find
on the
out.
line.
It's a red
Do you
card
mean?
for me.
What
that.
about Cunha?
Pushing people. He tried to push the lad into the defender.
He's
into
just
the
he
keeper.
wasn't pushed him. He's just done his shoulder. It's just like getting a weight.
He could fall over there and dislocate his shoulder, or you know what I mean. There's all possibilities. Just because Mateta's got stitches doesn't necessarily mean that's a sign died the lad that they've been going on. It's been outrageous. But
What
again,
about Mateus Cunha?
fannies like Steve Parish
Mateus
coming
Cunha,
out
that
doesn't
was a
help.
good one. That was.
Mateus Cunha.
I think
Is that going to stop him nicking a move? That you reckon? He has got a bit of a
second
hot
one,
head on
hasn't
him.
it? That's the second one he's done that. I
No.
don't think he's going to get moved to a top four off just because he's a bit
You're
wild.
joking,
Isn't
aren't you?
he?
You tell me Arsenal won't sign him. Arsenal sign him in the
Arsenal probably
window,
would.
giving
Yeah, I know
him a chance.
Arsenal probably would. I don't think Chelsea, Liverpool,
Chelsea
City
aren't
would.
top four. Top four will be Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, and
Forest.
I'm going to say Forest. I'm going to say Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa. I think Villa had the best January.
They got tanked by Palace.
They did, but they got a good run. I
think Villa had the best January of everybody.
With Rashford.
Rashford in's a good signing, and Asensio's a good signing.
So what do you think on Rashford then? He just had to get out of Man United.
You had to get away from Man U, the toxic pit. As I said, they're out the FA Cup 15th. I thought, who fucking told you first? Amarin. Now they're all starting to line up now. Now you're getting a few of the sheep going, he might be right there. Coming along my way of thinking. Because Man U are shite. Amarin is a fucking bluffer. You can tell again by his response that he's made to Rooney. Rooney has been Birmingham manager, not won a game, legged. Plymouth manager, not won a game, legged. And Ruben Amarin, Man United manager, is bothering himself with what Wayne Rooney's got to say. Like he's come out and said Rooney's naive, but Rooney said he was naive, and he's come out and said, well, I can't be that naive because I wouldn't be managing Man U at 40, which is a valid point, isn't it? But also, the team is shit. They're not getting better. They're not progressing. They're getting worse. And as I said to you, Maguire, did you see him at Everton? It was like a Ben Hill character.
God, yeah.
They give him a new deal. You know, Fernandes turns it on in little fits and starts, but like, he'd be by Fulham at home.
I don't really agree with some. I mean, Steve Mornick was saying it, and I don't really agree with half stuff he says, but he said on the ball, Bruno is out. He's such a good player, but off the ball, he offers next to nothing for Man United. And at a team like Man United now,
how's he Man U captain?
You need players off the ball who are gonna. I mean, Roy Keane was one of those who pulled them on it and was like, listen, Man United need fighters at the minute because you've got to go back to basics. You can't be piss farting about doing these.
Keep playing the system with the midfield exposed. You know, like as I say to you, I think, you know, you look at all the stuff Ineos, pretty much in games here, yeah. Pretty much into Ineos. Ineos have come in, they've got it wrong. Now you're seeing they've cutting down staff meals to, they can only have soup and sandwiches, and it's like, it's just the madness of it. Now the big problem you've got with the lads on the overcap is overlap is Gary Neville's he's involved with them. You never hear him criticise them because he's embedded with them.
Inclined, isn't he?
Now he'll also be pot inclined because Sir David of Gobble Beckham is aligned with the Qataris who have obviously got to be the ones who step in to try and you know, bail them out if the Glazers do sell, because this Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford are making a fucking pig's ear of it at the minute. Yeah. You know, the Dan Ashworth situation goes off. You've got the Dan Ashworth situation, the recruitment, keeping on Ten Hag when he should have been potted.
Yeah.
You know, Amarin wasn't the right man for them in the summer, but then ended up becoming the right man for them. You know, the signings they've made, you know, they've brought in Jason Wilcox off the field, been a mess. Brought in Barada from Man City, who's been allegedly telling the staff last week anyone leaking anything from the club will be sacked, and yet it was leaked. So it's a fucking mess. It's just a mess. The stadium's fallen down. It's got a mice infestation. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but that's
our pets' fucking heads are falling off. They're just fucked.
But this is Man United.
They're fucked.
But that's what I'm saying. When you look at what Real Madrid's done in the past 10 years. In terms of the stadium and the structure and everything. Even when Liverpool was shite and you was shite for a bit, you weren't this bad. You weren't 15th bad. We were always 6th to 7th. I don't think we'd ever finished lower than 7th.
I think if there was an extra 10 games on the end of the season, United would be sweating.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If there was 48 games played. But look at them for next year. Who's going to go there in the summer?
If you're, as Rooney said, top players want to play in the Champions League. Man United are like miles off it at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, so
and if you're not
getting the Champions League in 1 year or 5 years, all of a sudden you're not getting the top tier of player anymore.
Because now they're FFP stuck, that they can't buy the way out of it now. So they've got to like try and manage the way out of it.
Well, as we were talking about last time, the fabled Man United Academy isn't producing world-class players. So
the ones who
where are they coming from? Because you can't buy them in because they want to play in the Champions League, and you can't produce them because your academies fell miles behind because of your recruitment policy in the first team. Then you're fucked.
Well, they have brought players through, but let's look at them now. So you've got McTominay,
Garnacho,
Napoli.
Yeah, McTominay's doing well in Napoli. Yeah,
Alanga.
Yeah, doing well at Forest tonight.
Who else have they let go?
You could say Mason Greenwood's doing all right.
Greenwood at
Marseille scored again at the Sunday night.
Yeah. So it's not that the academy haven't brought the players through. The players are there. It's just they haven't got into the team because the squad's been dominated by fucking...
You could even say Danny Welbeck. You know, he's
Possibly, yeah, but the
I
squad's
mean,
just
Well, you
being
look at,
dominated
like,
by inflated
let's be
players.
serious here. Welbeck's
and
linked with,
mismanagement.
scored another good goal the
He
weekend
did, United
against
team.
Newcastle. He's
I
linked
bet-
with
yeah, I bet
he's
the
linked
Lumber.
with being called up again. There's rumours he might get called up for the England squad by Tuchel. And you look at it and you go, if you're ask any Man United fan, do you want to swap Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee for Danny Welbeck?
Bite your
I think
hand
he'd
off.
be fucking snap
Yeah,
your hand
of
off.
course
Yeah.
he would.
But it shows you how far they have truly fallen. And again,
Oh.
I don't think this fella's going
Oh.
to be the man to get them back. Okay,
Hell of an
whilst
echo.
we were away, a couple of other things happened. Did you see the fallout of the Luis Rubiales court case for
Yeah.
when he kissed Jenny Hermosa, was her name,
I don't know.
after the Spanish cosplay women's team
Yeah.
won the cosplay Euros?
Was it the World Cup or the Euros? Don't even know.
Oh, fuck knows.
Yeah, don't ask.
Something with the shiny trophy at the end. But I've seen the footage of it. When he does it, she starts laughing after he kisses her, and they've done it with sexual assault. I think it's fucking outrageous.
It is outrageous.
Isn't it a continental thing now to fucking kiss each other? Like that's...
Yeah, I don't know where on the lips, but I don't know. Everyone's custom's different. Like some Eskimos rub noses together, don't they? Obviously, you got to be careful who you do that with. You know what I mean? The last thing you want to do is do that with the wrong guy. But obviously, you could do that. And then I was in Dubai, and
You
there
may
was
have
a load
rubbing
of
noses over
Arabs.
there,
No,
was you?
there was a load of Arabs
Kissing.
in the dressers and that, doing the stuff. It must have been a meet and greet. So obviously, I'm on my balcony, I'm watching over them, and they did a weird thing where they rubbed the nose and then they done 2 kisses on each cheek. I was like, oh, I've not seen this. I've did the French bisou in Marseille, it's
Yeah.
called. So
Like a
even
little-
the men will do 2 kisses on each cheek. By the way, at the start, you feel like a right gay lord.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's like, it's the same as I5, even though it's just their custom. Now, I didn't know the nose
Tickle.
twanging in there.
Yeah.
As I say, obviously, it mightn't be an option to everybody.
Yeah.
But obviously, everyone has different customs, and whatever it is whatever it is. Like, it doesn't make...
I don't think that was as much as a custom, more of a heat of the moment, just a reaction. It's like, get here, you f***ing belt.
No,
just one of them for
we
me.
we
Like,
all agree
yes.
it's nonsense. Is it just an opportunity for this fucking woke
Well, yeah,
But then-
it is. Yeah,
wokeness
that's the
to
bottom line.
jump on
it is.
someone? Do you know what I mean?
Well, again,
Bald
it
white
took
fella.
it took the tarnish off them actually winning the
lad.
tournament, didn't it? It took
It did, yeah.
No offence.
it took the attention away from all those girls who'd worked hard and the federation who'd worked hard to put them in a position to win a tournament, because winning the tournament didn't become the news. And then subsequently, the Spanish FA have been under a cloud of investigation because one of their obviously men now have had to deal with this court case and then been charged. I think it's outrageous, and again, the cosplay should be massively thankful that anyone's fucking asked to pay any money to watch it. And with this nonsense of getting people nicked for over celebrating.
So what was
This
he
is the
actually
great-
nicked for though? What was the...
He grabbed her
No,
on
what
the
was
face.
the charge though?
Sexual assault?
Yeah, sexual assault.
Sexual assault. So
Yeah.
he's on the
No,
on
he's
the, on
been
the list.
guilty. Yeah, it's fucked. I know you only got a €10,000 fine or something, but still, he got guilty of a sexual
Yeah.
assault.
So he'll be on the Spanish equivalent of the register.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but,
I don't know. how deep
but,
it
well,
goes, but
he'll be on some sort of
it's
register.
not nice
for
to
getting
have
some-
on your.
But this is the whole point of the women's game and how the women... When the women's game first come through, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, whatever it was, everyone was like, this is great, this is good for you, the women, great for
Who
girls.
said that? I've never heard
Well,
anyone say
I
that.
did. I said at the start, this is great for young
Lefty
girls.
leaning, see what I mean?
No,
Fucking
listen-
left-leaning liberals open the doors
Listen
for
to
the
me.
barbarians
Listen
to
to
come
me.
through the gate.
Listen to me. Well, this is why I'm half agreeing with you there.
I know, good.
So listen, I said, it's great. Listen, great for young girls to have people to look up to, etc. Great for someone to go through, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, when someone like me who was like saying, listen, that's great, crack on, they sort of turn on me because I'm a white, straight male. It's like saying, well, you've got privilege that we haven't got. And we've got, I said, fucking hell, I'm saying what you're doing, great. And they sort of turn their arguments and cause themselves more problems by just...
You do know the left always eats itself.
Yeah. Because of more problems with people who were
Goes that far left, it
supporting...
just starts eating itself. It
We're
always does.
supporting of what they done, and now you're like saying, no, get to fuck then. If you okay,
Well, the transgender issue is going to eat the left again, because they just can't. They couldn't say what a fucking woman is or whether a woman should be allowed to compete.
but the stuff that is absolute
No,
fucking
it's
nonsense.
not, because again, they've seen this weekend, some fucking big tranny is fucking pounded down the turf and jumping into the sandpit in the women's
Yeah, I've
sandpit,
seen
jumping
it,
and fucking
8 foot
absolutely
further.
smoking them all.
Yeah, got a
It's
big
like Carl Lewis
got a big
reincarnated, but obviously in
Ah,
the women's fucking.
big massive Lenny on him. He's fucking out jumping him in by 8 feet.
Tell me, I had to laugh I know I shouldn't, but tell me you've seen the pictures doing the rounds of
of the keeper.
the goalie from in the
God.
cosplay. I think it's Reading against. I
Looks
think
like
it's
me in
against-
goal for our school.
But she certainly fills the goal out.
Jesus.
But,
man.
like, how can they ask for equal pay?
Ultimate professional.
I know.
Pillsbury Doughboy in goal,
It was like the
asking
cats.
for fucking equal pay.
Like the cats I
Honestly.
sent you from Wolves. Remember there?
Yeah,
Look like a movie.
Yeah. I don't.
It's the
Someone's
classic
doors of
playground,
that,
innit?
but like,
Oh, you
come
get in
on.
goal.
It
I
is,
want to
yeah,
play
it's
up
me.
front. No, you get in goal.
I was right wing, right back,
no,
and they're in goal.
No. This is what you're missing here. The thing is, you know that Bagpuss is in goal for the women's team, right? So they got Bagpuss in goal, and then on your men's footy, now fucking Karen Carnage pops up and it goes, yeah, scored 74 goals, and you go, yeah, but 38 of them have been against Bagpuss. Fucking all you had to do is kick it low. You can't get there. Fucking lad ass.
Is she better than an AFCON keeper though?
But that's.
Onana's
Do you
the
know
best
what I mean?
African keeper.
That's what they're comparing the stats and the performances and the
No, it's true.
74
yeah. It's true,
appearances at the Nintendo Cup. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Get off and go and talk about the Nintendo Cup then. No one over here is interested in it.
Oh,
Especially when your keepers are fucking
Can I
look
give
like
my...
sad sack.
Yeah, we got a what a fucking... What
I know.
goal that was?
We haven't touched on the game yet. Quick prediction on the game.
So we got
Forest.
Forest
I'm going...
B against Ipswich B in the battle of we can't really be asked to get to the quarter final, but we want to get there, but we just don't want to play our strongest teams because one of us wants to stay up
Why
and the
don't
other one wants to finish
two
top
big
four.
clubs, two big English clubs? Yeah.
I think it's one of them. If we get through, great. But also, we've got bigger priorities. Unfortunately,
what?
they've killed the FA Cup with, the fact that it hasn't got. The only way they save the FA Cup is if they put a Champions League
Spot.
place, fourth position,
I agree with that.
Champions League spot for the FA Cup winner,
I
and
agree
make
with
it the
that,
greatest
yeah.
cup
Yeah.
competition in the world again.
I agree with that.
So
the
what?
only way-
So what if a championship team won it? That's still.
Getting the
Champions
Champions
League.
League. They won the
Okay.
fucking lottery. It's like winning
yeah,
the
don't
lottery
mind
again.
it. Don't mind it.
Gives
But
them 100 million
what's
quid to
great?
play
Yeah, look at the fans. That the Ipswich end is full. And we've covered a few Forest games this season. The atmosphere has been incredible.
Forest has been great, yeah.
Did you see how bad the attendances were at the other games,
No,
like the Villa game and that?
didn't see
And
that.
the
no.
atmosphere. To be fair, the atmosphere wasn't that bad, but up and down, like City, Plymouth had a good attendance, but the games are awful.
City
and
and,
it's a winning
City
in
fans
the
are in
quarterfinal.
uproar here. Like
City
a few will
played
have
a
to come
strong
on and
team.
tell us. City fans are about to boycott the club over the ticket prices. There's murder at Manchester
Is
City.
that why then? But
Yeah.
it wasn't the only one. Even St James's Park wasn't bouncing yesterday.
People were saying the atmosphere was terrible at St James's Park yesterday. Yeah, a lot
So
of
it's
it.
yeah.
it's good to see this, but
It's the
again,
FA Cup.
It's
the FA
lost.
Cup,
It's lost
yeah.
its fucking.
Listen, Slot left 11 players.
another
back in
10
Liverpool.
years, it's going to be
11.
gone.
Slot left 11 players in
That's
Liverpool.
why you're out.
Didn't even start. Exactly. Bigger fish to fry. Same with these two here.
So where does it
Well,
sit then with
City
the
played-
balance here? Because Joe's made the right point there. It's both the beat. Well,
It needs changing.
there's
I wouldn't say
6,
it's a
7
bit-
changes here.
It's not the A team. It's not as strong as they could all go, is it? Do you know
No.
what I mean?
City
think-
played a strong team now, yesterday.
I think for Ipswich, when you're fighting relegation, it's a nice distraction because the pressure of staying up is like Forest pressure of finishing fourth is a different
Right.
pressure.
Yeah.
Right.
Ipswich pressure is a complete is a real pressure,
Okay.
and the cup is a nice distraction because you've been getting fucked every week. They've only got 17 points.
that a week?
You've been getting fucked most weeks in the league. All of a sudden, you can just relax a little bit because it's not doom and gloom. If you win, great. If you get beat, and actually through winning, you can build a bit of momentum. If you ever remember the Dogs Award, Joe Royal,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
came in and got a cup run going and ended up keeping Everton up, and obviously they won
Yeah.
a cup. Done well after
us
that
up
for the
and won
next
the cup.
18 months. And Forest on the other hand have got the Champions League spot to chase. They probably want to get in to a cup final, win a cup, but
Yeah.
also they don't want to do any damage on the way because they mightn't then finish in Europe or
Okay.
the Champions League.
Okay.
By the way, if you win the FA Cup, I know you get a cup and it's great and it's a major, but you'll only get in the European places that they might drop out of should they lose focus.
Okay,
of,
so I'm going
finishing
to
in
ask
the
you.
Champions League.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question here on both sides. If you're Forest fan or Forest manager, would you rather win the FA Cup or finish in the top 4?
I think it depends. I think it depends.
I think
I think it depends how old you are.
I think if finishing the top 4 now, I think finishing the
Yeah.
top 4 is bigger than winning the FA Cup.
I'm agreeing
Really?
with that.
But they
It
could
is,
be
yeah.
out. They could be out before they mightn't
I
qualify.
know,
for
but
I'm
it's
agree-
the,
I
it's
think
the
I agree.
windfall of
You
the
win
money.
the FA Cup.
I know that I'd like to win the FA Cup.
I think
But-
everyone over 50 will choose the FA Cup over the top 4. Anyone under 50 would choose top 4.
John,
But it-
what are you saying there?
Fucking hell, Arsene. John, you're 78. FA Cup.
Anyone listening?
You're only getting the Europa League for winning the FA Cup, whereas for finishing fourth, you're getting the Champions League, and that is life changing because you're going to attract players and you get money that you could never get from playing in the Europa League.
You ask a Newcastle fan, would they take the trophy now or the top cup?
Oh no,
That's different. They haven't won a cup since 1702.
55. Yeah, we had luck before.
Yeah.
55.
But again, you've got to look at it and go, well, they're probably not good. Like with the Gordon suspension and with Isaac maybe not 100%, and Callum Wilson certainly being below his norm. He looks like his best days are behind him. They haven't got a replacement should anything go wrong for Isaac. And you'd have to say, Joe Linton coming back, Botman coming back will be good for them. But they've lost a bit of momentum. And Liverpool have got to be massive favourites to win that final.
Yeah, but don't forget, Liverpool will make about 3 or 4 changes for the final. We'll rest players.
Yeah, but I'm saying you fucking Liverpool are going to go in at 1 to 3 on.
Well, of course we are, but I'm still saying we're going to change the keeper.
And you call it your second home, don't you, Wembley? So you're going in.
Wembley South. It's Anfield South, isn't it?
So again, so you got to say the League Cup's in the bag then, haven't you?
I wouldn't say it's in the bag, no, because it's a different.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I'm not going to say
put
that.
a poll out.
I'm not going to say that because.
So are you
we
saying
will
that you're worried about playing Newcastle?
I'm not worried about the League Cup. It's an absolute.
No, I'm saying, do you think Newcastle can beat us in the final?
Of course they can. It's over 90 minutes.
So
anyone can beat us over 90. It's a one-off game over 90 minutes.
Of course, and I get that a final is a final. But I'm saying Liverpool go in. You've got to be like.
I reckon we'll be 1 to 4.
After beating them at Anfield, last week, you've got to be going in, we're going to fuck these.
But it'll be a different team.
You know, they'll be a tough game and they'll be stronger. Well, they mightn't be because Gordon's not there now and Isaac's got a bit of a cloud over him. I think he'll be fit.
I'll be fit. He's only got
and again, Joe Linton's coming back from a layoff. I think he'll be fit.
That game though, Cambo, that game.
I think he'll be fit.
That's the first game I've went to for like a long time.
We didn't get out of first gear.
I'm not messing.
We didn't get out of first gear.
Newcastle look shit. We made them look shit.
Look, I asked a question about Forest and we're talking about fucking Liverpool. So I've put the poll out anyway.
Liverpool were incredible though against Newcastle.
We didn't have to be either.
They were in full strength though. You pretty much were.
We were. That was our full. Yeah, that was our full strength team.
Right,
but
they
still,
weren't. They had no Joe Linton, no Botman, no Isaac, no Gordon.
But they had Gordon.
Came on.
No, we never started at the 10.
Didn't he came on?
Gordon started.
He started, yeah, I thought he came on.
He started, which was mad for me. I thought, my worry that game was Gordon on Trent. I thought if Gordon's going to stick on Trent, that's what they need to do. And Gordon played in the 10. And I was like, they just left, that was a mistake
but again,
for me.
Psychologically, he's obviously not wanted to show his full hand at Anfield. And he hasn't had his full hand available to him, who were all fit. So he's obviously kept a little bit up of his powder dry for the final, tactically.
Yeah.
I just don't think Newcastle have to play exceptionally well. I need a little bit of luck in terms of players being available for selection for them to beat Liverpool in that final. I would have to say Liverpool have won the league now. Can we accept that?
Yeah.
Paddy Power have paid out, haven't they?
Yeah.
Even though So Liverpool have won the league, barring something
insane
insane happening, which we can't see.
Maybe a World War.
COVID, there's a new strain of COVID being released from Bramley-Moore Dock, weirdly. There's a lab there, Bramley-Moore Dock, that have just virulent strain of COVID.
It's called blue shite-itis.
Yeah. And the thing then is, obviously, they get an advantage of being able to, they play Southampton in between the PSG games. Liverpool could rotate, probably still beat Southampton, but if they do drop points, they've still got enough wiggle room to not feel any pressure on them.
No, we can afford to lose. I think it's 3 games out the next 10, and we've lost 1 in 28.
Yeah, I just can't see it. I can't see it. So we're saying, so then realistically, then the big race becomes for who's going to win the FA Cup, because that's the last, and then who's going to get top 4. At Arsenal, not scoring goals at the minute, are they going to pay the price for not investing in a striker in January? Looks that way. City, I think, are going to have enough to, even though they're still a little bit up and down. I mean, I think they're going to have enough to get into the top 4.
I think City finish second.
Well, all right, but I'm saying they finish top 4.
I can't see
so
Arsenal
then
scoring many goals.
It's number 4 is got to be best from the rest. So you're saying Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, Forest,
Bournemouth.
No, too far away.
Bournemouth,
Yeah.
no.
They've got to be one of the form teams of the league.
By the way.
Probably one of the most consistent teams in the league.
You know what I'm going to say for the FA Cup? I'm going to say Palace.
Palace, yeah, not bad shout. Not bad.
Palace,
I don't know, the chairman's a melt for me.
Yeah.
The chairman's has showed his hand there. He's a far
I think Palace, they're playing very well at the minute. They are playing very well at the minute. I think if they carry on that form in the FA Cup to the end of the season...
beat them a couple of weeks ago.
I know, but they're playing very well at the minute. And I think if they carry on that, I think it'll be them and Oh, City
Palace
won't
can't
it?
win the FA Cup.
I reckon Palace.
Palace aren't good enough to win a cup. They aren't.
So go on, I know we
They're no
touched on
right
a
side,
lot.
but they're not good enough to win
But
a cup.
predictions anyway for tonight's game.
I'm going 2-0 Forest.
Ipswich will score a goal. Both teams will score. I'm going to go Ipswich to win 2-1 here.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I've backed the draw with
there
a
you
couple
go.
of yellow cards, but I had a double yesterday for 2 draws. Yeah, I feel like with Ipswich, they're fighting for survival and they're giving the fringe players a run out. You know what it's like. Well, I don't know if you've been. You know what it's like if you're trying to get in the team. You give it everything, don't you? Especially in the FA Cup to get into the quarter-final. So I think Ipswich will perform tonight. I'm going to go 1-1.
Bit of pressure off, yeah, I can see that. I can see that definitely. And I mean, he's, as I say, the fighting all season. When you're down there, honestly, it is a welcome distraction, the cup, just because you know how important every point is in terms of staying in the division. And just to have that lifted off you for a week or so, it is a nice little, you know, the balls change. You know, I know Pep's had to go this weekend, Danny, about the balls, and Arteta last round about the balls.
This is the same
What's
ball.
your
Same ball
thoughts
for
on
both
that?
teams.
Look at this.
Same ball.
Oh my God.
Same ball for both teams. So just
Ipswich
stop
turning
moaning,
into
get on
prime
with it.
Brazil.
I know, but like, you have to accept that each competition, the ball changes.
Yeah.
So, you know, the saying, Premier League ball's a good ball, which when you've had a kick of them, Nike balls, they are belters.
Yeah.
Champions League ball,
It's same.
I've never had a kick of one in the competition, even though I've qualified for it. I've never kicked one in live in play, but I'm hearing it's a hell of a ball. All right.
These are a bit made to be a bit lightweight, aren't they? A bit like a bit.
When you play international games, I've only got a few under my belt, but you use a different ball, don't you? Usually go whichever the federation's sponsored by or whatever yours is. League Cup, the ball changes, and obviously FA Cup, the ball changes. And I'm telling you, the old miters, when they come in, they are shite. So I can see the argument, but also it is the same for both teams, and a good workman never blames his tools. So, you know, Pep's nitpicking. You've got the best players in the world paid the post money. Surely they should, if the mitre ball's a bit different and flies a bit
you can
different,
adapt quick.
you know, it's
You
still
should
a
be
decent ball. It's not like you're playing with the fucking plastic ones that we used to use in school, where if
Oh,
they
they
hit you, you
call
had a fucking
shoot.
torn beef hash
Remember
on your legs
them
for about
shoot
6
ones?
weeks.
Fucking hell, the
Used to
flyaways.
hit
yeah.
them
But
when
I'm
they go.
saying, the moaning about the ball, and I'm like, yet maybe the ball isn't as good as the Premier League
But
and
both
and
teams
Champions
are
League
playing with
balls
it.
because they're
Yeah.
top of the range. But, you know, have we got to look at the ball?
No.
No?
Both teams playing with it. Crack on.
So anyway, that's another big thing out
Do you want
the
me
way.
to give
of
my?
everyone.
Do you want me to give my?
So what I wanted to
quiz
talk about
question?
was-
Go on
just quickly.
Just if you want to know,
Go on.
the polls come in and it's completely split down the middle.
Okay.
Half would rather win the FA Cup.
See, that's
half
yeah.
would
I
finish
can
in the
see
top
it.
four, so-
I'm edging towards. As a Liverpool fan, I'd rather finish top 4.
I'm going for the
Well,
FA
you
Cup
just
if
put your
I'm
business
Everton.
brain on for a second.
It's 88 million Liverpool have earned this season so far. You've been what, £7 million winning the FA Cup?
It's not
7
all
million?
about money
Yeah,
though, is it?
no-brainer.
But
It's
for-
not all
but-
about money. You
and-
don't go into the
but-
history for that.
But for big clubs, it's all about it. It is about the money now.
Look at Leicester. You take that Premiership trophy from Leicester? No way.
Yeah, for nothing.
Every time Vardy's on the pitch, he's
They've won the FA Cup as well, though,
Won
haven't
the
they?
FA Cup
If you
as
ask
well,
them, if you ask them, like, obviously they've won both, it'll be clearly the Premier League. But I'm saying if it was to finish in the top 4 or win an FA Cup,
They
like
choose
I can
top
see,
4.
I can see how people would choose to win the FA Cup. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a major tournament.
If you haven't won it for a while,
I know they've
Everton,
knocked it. Like
Newcastle.
if you said to Newcastle, they'll take the tournament because that's history. You know, the last time they won a domestic trophy was 55. The last time they won a trophy was the First Cup in 69. And, you know, winning a trophy for them cements a legacy that, you know, winning the FA Cup at Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't separate you from the rest.
yeah, get us a drink, please, Noah. Coke Zero or something, please.
I'll have a Pepsi or something like that, lad. Pepsi, if you
Coke
got
Zero, watch me figure.
Pepsi, yeah.
Pepsi, yeah.
Pepsi,
I think
do
a Pepsi
you
was right. It's
Pepsi,
nicer than
yeah.
Coke. Pepsi's nicer
Maximum
than Coke.
Cola Tugger, no
Yeah.
shit. I'll
What?
have a Coke
Get a
Zero.
poll going on
Listen,
that. What's the best, Coca-Cola or Pepsi? It's Pepsi every day of the week.
In school, you've been
No,
into your
just no
paddle, haven't
Pepsi.
you? You've
Paddle.
been into your paddle. So in school, we
Paddle.
played short tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
remember play short tennis?
I used to, so you could design, like in design tech and all that. We used to build our own bats
Yeah.
and woodwork
Yeah.
and then paint them. So we'd put brands on them and all that. You could have like
You had
Nike,
Pepsi?
Adidas. I had Pepsi on it. Sold the bat for a tenner, which back in the day, like year
Was a
8,
fucking
was
bit-
fucking
yeah.
a big amount. Like the bat had a few wins under its belt. Remember
Yeah.
it, John? Then we're going to Leighton Village and buying like a proper grip and all that.
Cost you 12
And,
quid for the grip.
Yeah, cost you 12 quid for the grip, yeah. You might pay for it though, so it's all profit.
So you got the profit.
So the
But
big
painted
thing,
the Pepsi logo on it.
so the big thing for me there was just coming out the weekend, and I had the feeling that it's going against Amorim, and if he is the real deal, we all remember Sir Alex Ferguson, right, Man United manager, the Mark Robbins goal at the City ground, incidentally.
Saved them.
Keeps the fucking momentum and the wheels of transition and success at Man United first start moving. If you remember, it ends up in a cup final. I think they played, was it Crystal Palace in the final? Ends up going to a replay.
Was Palace in the final?
All right, and
was
they
it
beat
Everton?
Wasn't Everton, mate. Everton beat them 1-0.
That was before. Was it before?
No, it was before that. So Fergie wins that cup against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Was it in a replay? Was it Palace? Did they beat Palace in a replay?
I can't remember.
What's your mic, Joe?
I'm sure they beat Palace in a replay. Anyway, what I was getting at is, I was looking at Ruben Amorim going, if he is the second coming, the reincarnation, bringing Fergie 2.0 into the new era of Man U, then they kind of need to beat Fulham at home and maybe win an FA Cup. If you remember, if you've been a team that's been in the wilderness in terms of winning a trophy, so like Newcastle for instance now, winning a League Cup or winning an FA Cup can be a precursor to them mounting a title challenge. You know, you look at teams like, I thought when Arteta first took over and he beat Chelsea and they won the FA Cup, you think, all right, they're going to start to play a part in the title picture. They obviously have done without converting that into actually winning anything since. Amorim for me there was a big chance in terms of they've lost the way. Man United get a cup run go and get some belief in it by even Ten Hag won a fucking FA Cup, and they shit the bed again, got beat again all over the gaff again by Fulham, who, you know, tricky team on the day and got some good players, but Man United should not be getting beat by Fulham at home in the FA Cup. Just shouldn't.
They've lost.
Did you watch it?
Half the home
Yeah,
games.
watch a bit of
See
it.
how bad they were first half.
It was so bad.
So again,
It was. I think,
Like,
but arguably, like
and
Everton's
Arsenal
first
the
half
same. Arsenal out the cup. I'm like,
That's it, is
you've
it?
got to win. You've got to win the FA Cup before you can win leagues. For me,
You're right. It's a good base. Even the League Cup's can be a good base for you to build on. You know, just a bit of winning momentum. Well, I think Liverpool done it, didn't they? But on the Klopp, didn't they? They got the Europa League final, and it was like, we can build on this, and then we ended up getting a Champions League final. It's just like the smaller cups can be a something to build on for.
Well, you get that thing of winning, actually setting out like and winning and achieving a goal. You know, the league is a big ask because it's over the 38 games. What a guy!
What do we reckon?
What is better?
Yeah. Should we get enough of Graham Pole?
Graham out.
You're a Pepsi guy or a Coke?
Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi.
It's got to be Coke though, not Coke Zero.
I could Coke Zero. Coke is a big thing in your tongue. Listen to the sound.
Actually want one now.
Pepsi's fantastic. It's better than Coke
Oh,
in my
right.
opinion. So anyway, for me to get on and win leagues and challenge consistently, you have to be able to knock a couple of the cups off, whether it's a League Cup. You know, I remember Chelsea when Mourinho first come in and he flipped them over and they won the League Cup. And you know, that was a big case. And Man United do always be kind of in and around it when they were challenging. Arsenal the same, or an FA Cup. And I just don't think Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to need to change the manager. It's what we said a few weeks ago. I just think Arteta's reached the end of his course there, and your recruitment kills you. You recruited Havertz and you recruited Gabriel Jesus, and they haven't fired.
Not just that, he's chose to spend money on players like the fullback.
He's just buying midfielder after midfielder after midfielder.
Who's going to flick the fullback, the Italian Calafiore? They bought like.
But people forget you've had Calafiore there, you've had Timber come in, you've had Zinchenko come in, you've had Kieran Tierney come in. You know, we're talking
Where's
about
your number 9?
like they actually haven't gone out and actually bought themselves a match winner, a goal scorer. Because to win the title, name me a team that's won the title without an out-and-out goal scorer.
It isn't. But still, don't forget, Havertz is number 9 for Germany. So Havertz is Germany sends fireworks.
But if Havertz isn't good enough for Chelsea, how has he become good enough for Arsenal? For Arsenal, if Havertz isn't good enough for Chelsea, who can't win the league, how does he become good enough for Arsenal to win the league?
I actually don't think he's a bad player. I think it's more to an Arsenal system, Arteta's system. He plays without a proper number 9.
I can see, honestly, I can see Arsenal activating that Harry Kane course. I said a few months back, I can see them taking that and just going for the tried and tested goal scorer just to try and win the league, to replace that kind of Robin van Persie type striker.
Can you see Harry Kane doing that?
Yeah.
I can't.
Do you think? I know
Why
he's,
not?
I know he's
he could go to Man U.
banging them in now, like at
I don't know. I think Bayern will ship him they'll win the league. Harry Kane will have the monkey off his back. The curse of trophyless Harry Kane will be broken, and he'll come back and he'll either sign for Man United or he'll sign for Arsenal.
I can see Man United.
I can see
But
Man
then
United.
Man United are in the Champions League, so it's like, is he going to go to a team who's not going to win anything again?
Yeah, but
Basically
Man
back
United
at
are going to
Spurs.
pay him a lot of money, and actually he's the man to bring them back. He does what Alan Shearer does for Newcastle, brings Man United back from the wilderness to the Champions League. I can see it. The fucking movie's been written. Like,
you know what player no one's mentioning, and he's having a great season. I know it's only in fucking Saudi. Ivan Toney.
Is he?
What's he on about? Why
must be playing
we
fucking...
don't really like the cosplay nonsense pottery and the nonsense pottery in
Ivan Toney's a good player.
Sandy nonsense pottery. Who's asked about Saudi nonsense?
but I'm saying-
Sandy nonsense. No one cares about what's happening.
But Ivan
in Saudi.
Toney, okay, regardless of the
Nobody
Sandy,
cares what's happening in Saudi.
is Ivan Toney good enough to play for Man United?
Nobody cares. When you go to Saudi, you just step into a TARDIS of nonsense pottery that nobody cares
But
about.
is Ivan Toney good enough to play centre forward for Man
I
United?
don't know, because
That'd be
nice.
he's
Man
moved to a
United play for Man
different
United
galaxy,
Yeah.
and the galaxy is full of sand.
I
and
can
it's
see
called,
Ivan Toney coming
Saudi
back.
Arabia.
I
and
can
he's
see
playing
Ivan
against
Toney coming back to Premier.
Dave, who was a fucking camel herder 4 years ago, who's now getting a game because Saudis have got to have 16 camel herders in each team.
That's the it's the homegrown quoted, is it?
Homegrown.
Camel herder, are you saying there?
Camel herder.
He must camel herder, yeah, not camel herder.
That's the homegrown quota for Saudi. Fucking hell. What, to get
Drop
racist
me out
shouts
with
again
this,
now?
with
Hey,
the Saudi nonsense.
Done all right in the World Cup though. Who'd they beat in the opening game? Saudis.
Blind school.
Again, do you know what I mean? How many of them are fucking actual Saudis?
That's the
Load of
thing
them
what we didn't speak
load of them
about.
look like they've been
That's the thing
converted from Africano.
What we didn't mention on the Africanos is the Cameroons. No one knows how fucking old they are.
Oh, well, you don't, but
So-
also, like,
So even there's been a big thing over it,
there
hasn't
was
there?
a big one at Obafemi Mans. There was a few things came out of Italy, like that, like, and I played with Obafemi. We used to laugh about it, but, like, there was loads of things that he was meant to be 21, and he was obviously a bit older. But again, I don't know.
Did you see the kid
I
who
don't
played for
know about
Lazio? That joke.
Oh, God, he's past
Oh, yeah.
seven.
Bengala
The big one that everyone missed that was hiding in plain sight was Yaya Toure. Because I remember playing against Yaya at the Etihad when he was at Olympiacos just before he went to Barcelona, and he was meant to be 18 and he was not 18. I fucking guarantee you he weren't 18. I remember coming off and going, wow, what a player he is. He signed for Barca 3 weeks later, and obviously became Yaya Toure. But he was 18, and I was like, he ain't 18. And if you look at Yaya Toure, he turns 30 and then just proceeds to just fucking absolutely fall out of everything.
As if he's like 38.
So I think when he was 18, I think
He's
he's
24.
actually 4 or 5 years older when
Yeah.
I played against him. He definitely was older than 18.
Well, it is a thing over there, isn't it? They have because when they're born in them
Yeah, of
villages,
course.
and loads of the birthdays are January the 1st. Because they're born in the villages and they don't register the baby for like 2 or 3 years until they get into
he just throws that out there. I need to find out
Google
how
that.
many Africanos are born January 1st, because I haven't seen this. There was the big one about Tony Yeboah, wasn't it? Tony Yeboah's birthday is the 6th of the 6th, 1966.
Yeah.
Which is obviously when the busies caught you when you were a kid. Oh, well, yeah, 21. When's your birthday? 6,
No, there was I watched the thing on it, and there was like a lot of them are born, not just
Have
footy
you got
players,
Yeboah on there?
not just footy players, but like
Got
people
Yeboah
in
on
general.
there, Tony Yeboah. Get his date of birth up. But also, the thing was, I remember talking to Jeremy Nijap. Remember him? Played for Chelsea,
Yeah.
Real Madrid,
Yeah.
Middlesbrough, Newcastle. So he was a cracker. Jez, obviously Cameroonian. And I used to noise him up all the time.
Yeah,
Say,
I mean-
you're definitely fucking older. You are fucking older. Because he'd come out. Nicky Butt was 35, 36 at the time. Jeremy was meant to be 28. And Jez would come out for the training and Butty would go to me. He's not fucking younger than me. Just look at him running there. Jez would be running, honestly, the stiffest man you ever see in the morning. And he'd go, there's no way he's 8 years younger than me. It's just not possible. He's older than me, right? And the way he moved, you would think he was. So I end up, obviously, Jez was a cracker, so we're playing pool that together, and I'm like, when did you get, like, whereabouts in Cameroon are you from? So he's telling me where he's from. He's miles out. He said, 6 hours from the city centre, like, where he lived in whatever village he was. And he said, the only reason you went back into the city or the capital was births, marriages,
Deaths,
or whatever.
yeah.
But, like, in England, you've got to register a kid. If a kid's born within, like, 30 days. In Africa, you don't. So he said, yeah, my mum had just, like, you wouldn't go in the capital for like 6 years because you were going to someone's wedding, and you go, right, we've had 4 kids since. We need to fucking get them registered. So you go in, you go, right, when's he born? You go, because it's not like here where they've got phones and you've got newspapers every day and the news on. At that time it was different, and he'd say, they'd go like, whoa, fucking where was he? Well, it's about spring, it's about March, April. Yeah. What year was it? He's older than him by a year. So they just fucking, and it'd get worked out like that. It's not here where if you don't register within a certain amount of time, you get prosecuted.
Yeah.
So that's obviously not the case now because they got the internet and the world's changed. But back in the day, you could see how a few slipped the net and obviously come in. And if you're 18, but you're really 24, that's a fucking huge advantage. If you're 6 years older than what it says on the tin, if you're 12 but you're 18 really, you're going to be doing some serious damage on a footy pitch. And by the way, it only catches up with you once you're north of 30. Yeah. And it bites in the back end of your career because you go, you should still be going here at 34, but you've come off the White Cliffs at over there yards already at 29 and 30, 31 or whatever.
But didn't he do a bone test or something?
So what started happening was because a lot of the old Africanos were onto it, giving the kids an early start, all the big European clubs were getting sucked into it because they were buying like 14-year-olds who were 7'9", and it turned out he was 36. He got 16 kids back in there, but they were saying he was like 15. So, and then they started having to take bits of the bone out to check the bone. You can tell by the carbon date and the bone density, and obviously loads of them were flagging up on the system. So now lots of the big academies in Europe won't take any Africanos unless they're carbon dated them. Unless they've had the bones tested.
It just makes sense for insurance purposes and all sorts.
Well, again, do you reckon that's probably got an effect on AFCON though? Because when they're all playing the national team, they're all meant to be 26, but they're all 36.
That's another rung to the
standard of the
exactly.
game.
That's another rung to why it's not.
What about that?
34 minutes in the game, not really much has happened. It's been a bit off and puff, and not much has happened.
It's
not a bad game.
Forest been a bit better. No, it's all right game, but not much has really happened.
No. What about that fella? Is it Italian 90 when the ref gives a free kick and I can't
No, it's even
earlier.
It's 70s, late 70s. Yeah, 80, it might be 80s, yeah. 80s. Might be 82.
Yeah. And even if the ref blows it, he just runs up and it just goes.
No, you'll have to get that clip up, you know.
Zaire.
Cameroon free kick, World Cup.
No, it's Zaire.
Zaire is it? So what's that?
Zaire. The Zaire. Oh, God.
Late 80s, so...
No, I think it's early 80s.
Thought he was at a decent standard, though, was he?
Yeah, like...
Yeah,
obviously,
Liverpool European
people knew the rules. Didn't have somebody just run out and toe bug. It is an all-time classic.
Right, do you want me to give you me quiz question? You can do about 90 minutes.
Go on then.
Name the player, the current Premier League player, who's played with Jadon Sancho, David Silva, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and John Joe Shelby.
Jadon Sancho.
Current Premier
and he's
League.
Still playing now.
So Sancho's playing for Man U.
Current Premier
Dortmund.
League player.
Chance.
Oh.
Man U, Dortmund. He was at City as a kid.
I'm not giving no.
So he's played with all four.
He's played with all four of them.
David Silva's played for Man City and Valencia. No, Real Sociedad.
Yeah.
Sociedad, Man City. So, all right. And then who else
Valencia,
did you say?
David Silva.
But I'm saying Valencia, Real Sociedad and Man City. So he's got to play for one of those teams unless he's played international footy with them. So is Spanish.
Is that club football?
No, can be international as well.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. We need to distill it down here because it's
pretty big pot of people to get that. Who's it? Are you sure this is the right question?
Go on, who's the other one? John Joe Shelby. So
Jadon Sancho.
John Joe
Newcastle.
Shelby, David Silva, and Zlatan.
He's at Burnley now.
Zlatan's at
Joe, it could be this kid who's the lad who's in the midst of the racial case with the Preston player.
No.
Hannibal.
Current Premier League player. That's
played with Valencia. We've played with Real
and you know
Sociedad.
what? ChatGPT couldn't get it. ChatGPT said there isn't anyone. I mean, there is.
So, and he's a current Premier League player. So where's he played with David Silva? Man City, Sancho.
Not telling you. If I tell you one of them, it gives it away.
Do you know what I mean?
Sancho,
Ibra.
And John Joe Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby's played Newcastle, Liverpool. Ibra's only played for Man U here though, hasn't he? Current Premier League player. Good question.
No, but he's played with all four at some point in his career. So it doesn't have to be he's played in the Premier League with them.
No, I'm just trying to distill it down. I'm just trying to... all right, I'll come back to you on that.
Okay.
And what I want to get onto here before
No one got it.
we get to
That's
half-time
sensitive.
is...
Oh, he's got it!
Got him?
Isaac. Alexander
Sociedad.
Isaac.
Sociedad.
Sociedad. Where did he play with
Where's he
Zlatan?
played with
So
Zlatan?
is Sweden.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah. That's a great pull, that.
Fucking hell.
See,
John
guys,
Joe
down.
Shelby at Newcastle.
At Newcastle, yeah, he was there.
Isaac did.
Isaac played with John Joe Shelby at Newcastle for 6 months. Played 7 games with him.
Sancho?
Sancho, he played at Dortmund.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
It's a good question, isn't it?
It's a good question. All right, well done, Josh.
Well done, Josh. You got the t-shirt.
Okay, did anybody else, just for flicking
No.
over, did anybody see the fallout or the interview with Donald Trump and Zelensky and JD Vance from the Oval Office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you 2 parts of this.
Go
Did
on.
you see the clipped out like 9 to 15 minute version, or did you see the full 45
clipped
minute
out
version?
one.
I'll be honest, because when was it on Friday?
Yeah.
So the
Friday night.
weekend's passed and all. I have a few pints on the weekend. I didn't really tune in to most people's opinions, and so seeing both sides of it on Twitter on Sunday night. So
Okay.
I took like a big load in, and I don't really know what to think of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I seen it Friday.
So,
the clip.
so
I seen
what
the clip.
happened was
It's
you
almost
had,
like reality TV though.
It's not. That's what's done my head in over it.
okay, so what's happened was you've had the kind of war in Ukraine rumbling on. Obviously, some sides want to stop it, which means they're going to have to cede some ground or territory, Ukrainian territory, to Vladimir Putin. Some sides are trying to prolong it. Weirdly, the left have actually been a bit war hawkish in terms of they're trying to beat the drum to keep it going and support Ukraine more with either manpower, in terms of troops on the ground, or with the money to buy the military equipment necessary to keep it a fair fight. But it's co-aligned really with Starmer, David Lammy having to go out to America to deal with Trump. I think from what I gathered, Starmer had handled Trump superbly in terms of seemed to get a relationship, even though the handshakes were some of the fucking weirdest
Like he was
handshakes
covered
I've
with
ever seen.
balls
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
weird. Starmer kind of got in and out of it, the Oval Office with, I would say, a victory. He looked like he'd showed leadership. The next day was the problem because Zelensky was then in the Oval Office the next day with Vance, and things took a turn for the worse, which probably fucked up all the WEF and all the neo-Marxist kind of power bases in Europe, NATO, that want to continue the money flow into Ukraine, whether it's going into their pockets or their cronies' pockets, who knows. But clearly they want a kind of peaceful resolution to this in the midst of not losing out on the money. So Zelensky then goes in, and it couldn't have gone any worse for them in terms of, you watch the Ukrainian press lady who just puts her hand in her head, because some people have seen JD Vance and Trump's attack on him, saying they've rounded on him in front of the media. And actually, if you watch the full 45-minute interview, I'll just be honest with you there, Zelensky's a cheeky bastard. The 350 billion in, and this war was no closer to resolution than it was 3.5 years ago. There's thousands and hundreds of thousands of people on both sides of the conflict, either dead, wounded, catastrophically, or in terms of some of these alleged meat grinder assaults, catastrophic losses on both sides. So the Ukrainians have now started rounding people up off the street. So basically, like snatch vans going round, and if you're a person of military age, just getting lashed in the back of it and taken to the front line to fight, whether you like it or not. So Trump came out before the meeting with Zelensky and said these are the actions of a dictator. Didn't condemn Putin, didn't say Putin was a dictator, because he said, well, why am I going to criticise Putin if I'm going to try and do a deal to get peace, and I'm criticising him, calling him a dictator and an evil dictator 1 minute, how am I going to get a deal over the line? But he did go far enough out there to call Zelensky a dictator. That was then put on his toes.
He said, did he say that?
When he was talking to Starmer, and he obviously just fucking jogged them on and got them out the building. Starmer the next day turns up, Zelensky the next day turns up and just absolutely shits the bed, and he gets lashed out. He didn't even get to the dinner. He got through out to the White House, and I thought they were valid points that JD Vance made. I know it did feel like they were rounding on it, but when he said, you haven't once showed any gratitude to say thanks. Trump also said to him in his weird little way, the way he points is quite weird, his little weird hands, where he was like, you don't hold any of the cards. You don't hold any cards. And he's right. He's like, you're acting the tough guy because we're backing you, but you don't hold any of the cards.
But he was sat in the middle, weren't he, the two? And
he was sitting on this side, yeah. And I'm like, no, if I'm coming to your house and I'm asking, hey, you've already lent me 350 billion, can I lend some more billion off you, and all your warships and all your nukes are kind of fucking help me act as if I'm a bit harder than what I am. All of a sudden, you disappear with all your military stuff. Zelensky's stood there left holding his dick with like Keir Starmer and Ursula von Leyen, whoever the head of the EU is at the minute, and those fucking weasels who look, they put up a fighting force, but also they're not the might of the superpower military that the US have behind it. So the fallout of that's been really, really interesting. Some people having a go with Trump saying, no, you need us, you don't hold all the fucking cards here. Trump's obviously going to cut a deal. They'd already cut a deal for the minerals that hadn't been signed. So this way they think Zelensky's messed up. So he should have had that mineral deal signed, and then kind of Trump's beholden to that. As it was, he didn't sign it. They've had a disagreement. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime, by the way. No. I've never seen anything like it. Two elite level politicians having it out like that in front of the TV cameras. But also, Trump said he's going to change politics, and his administration so far has been true to its word. It has really shaken.
But did it need to be aired out in public?
I don't think it was meant to be, but I just think they got pissed off at Zelensky's attitude and was like, hey, we've kept you in this fight. Like, you're coming asking for more money. Like, they also, let's be honest, I think, if you don't have to do a bit of digging into Hunter Biden and the laptop and Brasima and all that to know that the Democrat Party have been absolutely washing money through Ukraine here, and Zelensky and all his cronies have all enriched themselves, and unfortunately the gravy train has to stop at some point. Now, the gravy train, if you watch Oliver Stone's Putin documentaries, Putin says it very, very clear. After what happened in 2014 with Maidan, and they believe, the Russians feel massively aggrieved because they believe that a democratically elected president of Ukraine was overthrown by the CIA and Victoria Nuland and the American kind of Democrat Party, whether it was John Kerry and kind of Bush and John Kerry and kind of Obama administration into this current Biden administration. And we also know Biden's got massive ties back to Ukraine because of what came out on Hunter Biden's laptop. Not only the fucking paedophile nature of him with the young girls and all the crack cocaine, but also all the stuff that he had going on with the shady deals into Ukraine, and Brasima was the big company. And actually Biden, if you get the big clip of it, Biden actually says, he actually come out and says, we withheld £1 billion worth of US aid to Ukraine until they changed the prosecutor who was investing Hunter and his connections to Burisma. Said, as if we were going to let that son of a bitch stay in a job. He actually tells you to your face in a finger and says, we withheld the funding until they got rid of the fella who was prosecuting them for corruption in the country.
That's corruption.
And then as soon as they got rid of it and changed the prosecutor, they give them £1 billion worth of funding. So it's exactly what Musk and Doge has kind of uncovered about this US aid, which has been an NGO, a kind of soft power arm of American diplomacy to overthrow democratically elected governments. As I said to you a while back, Vladimir Putin was never, ever, ever going to give up that base on Crimea, Sevastopol. It was never getting given up. No, now, the other problem for the Ukrainians and NATO is south of that south and to the east of that river, all of those territories that in 2014 overwhelmingly voted to stay part of Russia, that have got big Russian-speaking populations, that Zelensky has banned. He's banned the teaching of it in school, he's banned the speaking of it in school, he's banned political parties associated with it. So all of those people feel aggrieved that they're not getting heard within what they deem to be their country, that Ukraine stays part of Russia, which, it's obviously been part of the Soviet Union in the past. But if you do your military history and you study the geopolitical landscape of that area, Ukraine's been part of Poland if you're going back thousands and thousands of years, that landscape's changed a lot. A lot of the conquerors, whether it's the Holy Roman Emperor, whether it's the Greeks moving through there, whether it was the Mongols, whoever it's been moving through there, that's known as the breadbasket of Europe. In many, many ways, it's not like London where you've got 1,000 years of kind of monarchy that you can trace back to fucking Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Ukraine is very much a land that's been fought over for centuries. The borders have changed based on the power structure in that country. And actually, in lots of parts, it's a barren wilderness of just field after field. Yeah. It's just a giant wheat production area with obviously some mineral resources.
What is the rare minerals thing? What's all that
So
about?
it'll be all the metals, precious metals, stuff that's in the ground. You know, obviously,
But that's always been there,
resources.
Right? Obviously.
Yeah, but in that Crimea, and that
but it's a huge part of it. It's why the Soviet Union kind of wanted to keep it part of it, because it does have a lot of mineral resource. But also, it's what they're fighting over now. So the deal's going to be done now, in my opinion, between Trump and Putin, based on who gets what of what's left of Ukraine. So the big fallout of this was obviously in the Ukraine weren't invited to the peace talks about Ukraine. So the Starman that were all kicking off, they were like, well, we're not fucking inviting you. Me and Vladimir are going to sort it out, which you would imagine is the sensible way to resolve it, based on Trump loves this hard man, big, powerful, image, and he wants to be seen as getting it sorting the world out. So stopping the war in the Middle East in terms of Israel and obviously Hamas, and stopping the war in Europe in terms of Russia and Ukraine. Now the thing for this is, like, Putin's going to be buzzing because he gets out of it he's been an international warrants for crime. He can't move out of his country. He's obviously ruined his popularity on a global scale. So he gets a win in terms of, he's seen to get out of a war he thought would be over relatively quickly. He obviously had the rude awakening to the standard of his own troops, but also, their capability to knock over a country of Ukraine's size, and also massively underestimated, I think, the fighting qualities and the pride of the Ukrainian people, but also underestimated the response from kind of NATO and the US, who've up until this point backed it. Now we've had the regime change, and the Democrats, who've been at the bollocks, robbing money, taking money out of Ukraine, corrupt Democratic Party, in my opinion, have now got America in a situation where Zelensky expects that money because he's been getting it from the Biden and Harris administration. Trump's just come in and said, "You're not getting that, you silly cunts, fucking about with us, and you're coming in here without a shirt and tie on," which they had the problem for, and giving it trying to slag Putin off in front of me, and I'm going to try and cut a deal.
Called Vance a bitch, didn't he?
Yeah, he under his breath, I think, yeah.
So again, it's not, if I'm coming to your world and I need your support, you can't behave like Zelensky. I thought he behaved as a jumped up, arrogant, who's been fawned over for far too long. And actually, if the Americans pull out of it, Ukraine are fucked.
So where's Starmer in this then?
So then what happened is,
how is it a win then?
What happened is Zelensky's fired out the White House, but there's a big outrage and all the left have kicked off. So then, as Zelensky actually got out of Starmer got out of his pocket, a letter from King Charles to Trump. Trump was like, yeah, great. Trump doesn't care about the king. Yeah. This is what we're missing. Like, we still believe in this fucking empire, and they just do not honestly give a shit about us.
Did you read the letter?
No, that's what.
So he gets a letter out as if Trump was going to be bothered. Trump ain't asked about the queen.
He was like, Trump, do you want to read it? I don't know. I was like, no.
So yeah, Trump pretended to read it. Yeah. Trump pretended to read it, and then as if it was
how's
like
your Andrew?
Ace card, all right? Pretend to read it. So then, after the Zelensky fallout, Zelensky's chased out the White House, big furore over it. Zelensky then appears back in the UK, so Starmer invites him back, and he goes to see Charlie. Obviously, Charlie with the old Walls bangers fingers is shaking hands with him and all that. Zelensky's rolled out again, and Starmer's again pledging the support. Now, what Keir Starmer's cleverly done here is somehow put himself at the centre of negotiating between Zelensky and NATO and Trump. Now,
Musk,
I just really don't think that's a smart position to get yourself in. Bearing the fact that Trump and Vance spoke about freedom of speech there, and Starmer had to try and fight for it, to say, our country's, been strong defenders of freedom of speech and will continue to do so. Well, Keir, we know that's a lie. But, there's many of us citizens of this country that will attest that is a downright a lie, that you're saying you're protecting free speech in this country. You're doing absolutely no such thing. So to go in the Oval Office and lie, but it says a lot of where Starmer's at. He'll say whatever's necessary to get whatever he can to work his advantage, to fit his agenda. The problem you have then is Starmer now sees himself as the deal maker and the negotiator. If you know anything about Donald Trump and his ego, He ain't letting you have jack shit. He wants a Nobel Peace Prize for solving world war and sorting it all out and make the world a harmonious place, which, if he stops the war in Ukraine and he stops the war in the Middle East, surely everybody who's been marching on the streets for months and months and months talking about the ill-gotten gains and the death and destruction on all sides of those wars should be thanking the lucky stars that Trump's come in and waved the magic wand and that's the end of it. You know, he should be given the highest, you know, what would you get there? It would be like the Nobel Peace Prize. Should be given that, surely. He's the man who's come in after wars have started up. Obama's started Libya, got rid of the Gaddafi. The Americans have been at it, whether they remove Saddam from Iraq under the first Bush administration. All of a sudden, you've got a president who comes in, who polarises people, but has come in and tidied up their own politics and their own waste with Doge and getting people who were working in civil service in America back to work, not working from home. So actually earning and you know, the money that it costs to rent and heat those spaces is actually getting used and not getting spunked up the wall. Plus all the stuff that USAID's been doing in terms of soft power and corrupting people on for American politics on a world scale. He's removing that, so America does truly become first. And then he stops the wars. How can he not get the Nobel Prize for peace? Like, surely he's the most influential man.
Why are people still hating him then?
Because I don't think people hate him. I think people think he's I don't hate him at all. I think some of the things he's done really good. But he does some stupid things. I'm just thinking, you can't be the leader of the free world when you're releasing a video showing Gaza, this new Gaza as this metropolitan of with a big gold statue of him and all that. I'm just thinking that's what.
But that was AI, weren't it?
It was, but he just reposted
it.
He's reposted it.
Yeah.
With a gold statue of him in Gaza. Like, I'm thinking.
So is that his ego there? Do you reckon?
That's what I mean.
Hang on a minute. Every building he's ever built is Trump. He used to fly on planes, boats. It's Trump boats. Trump, right? So listen, surely you know at this point he's got a huge ego, right?
Yeah.
Then what's happened is he's been elected the first time, right? Probably didn't know what the fuck he was doing. In between getting elected the second time, they've tried to cripple him with the court system.
Did you kill him?
Well, hang on, I'm just saying, they've tried to cripple him with the court system. When he's made it through that and still managed to run, they've then tried to assassinate him. He's ended up turning to look at a chart about some immigration thing or something he was moaning about, and that's ended up saving his life. So now you've got a massive ego who's been successful since the early 80s, all right, who's survived assassination attempts and now believes he is sent from the gods to absolutely affect foreign policy going forward. So nothing that's happened in his life has made him think anything otherwise. So the problem you've got now is he is now in control, whether you like it or not, of the world's strongest military.
Yeah.
And if we're fucking really, really sensible here, we do our utmost to stay friends with them.
100%.
We also need to do our utmost to make friends again with the Russians, because we do not want the Russians and US having a nuclear war in Europe, because that is not good for anybody.
It's not though, because like, correct me if I'm wrong, they're forming an alliance, are they, Putin and Trump? So
if Starmer's trying to now build a European alliance and he's the front man for it, Starmer's realised, oh my God, that could be the fucking... But what Starmer's forgot is...
Who though?
Well, against to knit Putin and Xi Jinping, and to put himself and Macron, who are disliked massively by their own population. You know, Macron's hated by the French, Starmer's hated by the British. Yeah. Right? So they're thinking, because they serve the World Economic Forum and they have globalist ideas, they don't care about sovereignty. That's why he's trying to give the Chagos Islands away. That's why he's got fucking David Lammy, who doesn't even like Britain, who's a Caribbean first generation immigrant, who all he's interested in is repatriations and fucking... You've seen he's been in office 6 months, he spent 500 grand. Yeah, no socialist. Yeah. He's here to further his own fucking cause. Now, Lammy had called Trump a KKK member. He tweeted about it, as many of the other Labour front benches did. And that's why I put the picture of Shawn Michaels doing the big finger, because Lammy put a finger up shaking hands with Trump and how nice Trump was. And I just put it back to him about the amount of fucking deep throating he's had to do to try and get Trump's ollie bag to curry favour with him. Which is, again, they've got to live with it, these people, because the internet does keep the receipts on it. But if we're serious here, we've got to look at it and go, how are we pledging more money to to Ukraine when in a war that we can't win. Ukraine
So-
cannot win that war.
Sorry to interrupt, but I seen he commented we're going to put boots on the ground and planes in the skies.
So now
isn't that fighting
now
talk
he's
with
doubled
Russia?
down. Yeah, well now he's doubled down on his rhetoric because he's now saying, British troops may get on the ground, and he's now trying to form a coalition with the other leaders of Europe who are pro stopping the war, but without giving Putin masses of territory and a big win. Now Trump's going to cut the best business deal for America.
Yeah.
And he'll also enrich America at some point. And Putin will know he's got to give these cunts something out of Ukraine. But also, Putin can't take all of Ukraine as he was trying to do. So there's a deal there that can be struck probably between Trump and Putin.
And
right?
And Zelensky's got to be...
Zelensky ain't got a fucking hope in hell.
But
He's not getting involved in the conversation.
No, but he's got
they've
to
had the
get
money
something.
off.
Zelensky's... They've got to try and somehow...
So you
tell
think,
Zelensky
So
that this is a win.
you honestly watched that clip of the White House footage? Anyone actually watched that White House footage? 45 minutes of it. JD Vance, Zelensky and Trump. And anybody actually thinks Zelensky's going to get any fucking win against them in any
you think
negotiation?
Starmer's putting the front on for Europe to be the third seat at the table? Is that what you think it is?
So Zelensky's gone in. It's been good cop, bad cop, right? All right, in terms of JD Vance was the bad cop. Trump was meant to be the good cop. And it's ended up spiraling over, and it's got out of control because Trump is... You can't predict them. No one's ever seen a president of America have a live press conference with another world leader who's in a theatre of war and absolutely get involved in like child fucking playground fucking finger pointing that you're not as hard as you think you are, and if I get off you're fucked, pretty much is what he said.
Yeah.
All right, and Zelensky fucking, you could see in his face he's like, I fucking am, but I can't really back down here because, and he just got himself in a pickle. Now Vance steps in and tries to keep it clean, but also has to back Trump up. So Vance talks about how he feels that Zelensky's kind of doorstepped him in front of the media, and this is how politics shouldn't take place. And he was right. The fallout from that is Starmer and Ursula von Leyen and the NATO fucking war hawks are trying to... Starmer's now been sent in as the man to kind of deal with it because Britain and America have got this special relationship. And also 24 hours before, Starmer was actually getting on really well with him and looked like he was tickling his balls in all the right areas to get Donald's ego in check. Now, the big problem for them was when they came back, it's like, okay, actually, if the US are out of this, what does this look like? So Starmer has had world leaders then into Britain, von Leyen, and obviously Zelensky, rolled out the royal family, Charles, because, let's be honest here, if anyone knows anything about warfare, the Americans, who were our allies, bent us over and fucking absolutely royally bummed us with the Lend-Lease programme at the back end of the Second World War, which is why they came in, Pearl Harbor, whatever. But basically, all Britain's Commonwealth gains and everything that was rich from the empire was given up to America so that we got their support and stopped the Nazis invading us. So we got royally fingered by our supposedly allies in America.
We can just not paying the
so
loan about
this is what's just happened to Ukraine. Ukraine have allied with America and are now in the process of getting absolutely finger blasted for the natural resources. In the midst of that, Putin's going to finger blast them on the eastern flank and take some kind of territory because he's already taken Crimea. He's probably going to take some of those obelisks to the south and to the east of the river.
But what have we just seen? We've seen today, well, there's two things that we've seen with Starmer and Zelensky. We've just given him a 2.5 billion loan.
This infuriating.
Okay, so listen to my theory on this. You might call me a mad scientist or something again. We've just given him a 2.5 billion pound loan, yeah? That's right, isn't it? Just too much check them figures.
Yeah.
2.5 billion pound loan. How much is in a holding account for when we took Chelsea off Roman Abramovich, which was ring fenced for the Ukraine?
Yeah, probably 2.5 billion.
2.5 billion. So, am I being daft in thinking we've given him a loan, but really that's our money now? We're going to keep that from them because that was meant to go to Ukraine.
Well, it's also like, we're giving up the Chagos Islands, all right? So I'd never fucking heard the Chagos Islands, but we're giving up the Chagos Islands. This new American administration is saying, no, you should actually keep them because there's a military base there and it's important strategically in the Pacific. Okay. Now, we're giving up the Chagos Islands, and the country that they're going to take the Chagos Islands off is, which you think is Mauritius.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to give them 9 billion to take the islands off us. All right.
We're going to give them.
Well, we offered them
It
9
shouldn't be the other
billion.
way around.
We offered them 9 billion to take the islands off us. I know this is how mad it is. So Starmer's intent, because he serves this World Economic Forum, we're going to give them 9 billion to take these islands off us, all right?
And give them to me and give me.
By the way, the GDP, the GDP of the country, the GDP of the country that we're giving it to, Mauritius, is only 9 billion. So we're going to give them their GDP to take it. They've said it's not enough. So they're now talking about doubling it to 18 billion, which is double their GDP, to take these islands off us that nobody's voted to give away, that they just want to give away because the fucking World Economic Forum is got this thing about this globalist and giving up your territories. And as I say, these fucking idiots in Labour are walking us into it. Now, if Mauritius said, by the way, we'll give you 18 billion for them islands, you go, yeah, right, yeah, we'll sell them to you. We're going to have to, we're paying 18 billion for them to take these islands back from us that nobody wants to fucking give back other than
46.
just kicked off second half. And this 46. Is the absurdity of politics. I'm like, where's that money gone? Where's the track and trace money? Where's the 30 billion for track and trace? Where's the what's the fucking Q line or something? What's this? HS2. Where's that money? Surely someone looks in the bank account and go...
It's a big, massive money laundering scam from top to bottom.
You can follow money, can't you? Because it leaves a digital footprint. Yeah. So why is Michelle Moan not had that yacht took off her or paid that money back with interest? No. When we know she's had it off and she's been down the VI. What? How has your nan got a choice to keep a fucking coat on, to keep herself warm in the winter? I can't get to see a doctor for 25 hours. You have to wait in A&E. And we're sending billions of pounds to fucking Ukraine to fight a war that they're never going to win. We're also then sending more money to the Chagos Islands to give fucking the islands back to the people who don't want to be given back, and actually
paying them for it.
We're paying them for it.
But what the layman man on the street is getting sucked in by is this old 20 billion black hole that the Labour left with, which is utter fucking nonsense.
Well, Rachel Reeves said it here, so she can't even fill a CV in correctly. So why are you going to listen to her?
Nonsense. This 20 billion black hole saying, oh, this is why we're turning your heating off and why we're doing this and why your CGT's going up and why we're going to tax you more, why the farmers are getting done, because we've got a 20 billion black hole.
Well, this is the best
bit.
Nonsense. So this leads me to this, because I don't know whether you've seen fucking Gromit was out again last week.
Who's Gromit? Go on.
Miliband.
Oh, go on.
Ed Miliband, net zero climate energy minister, which is a contradiction in itself, because you can either be net zero or you can be fucking
zero
energy minister.
Yeah, okay.
Right, one or the other. Not so, but anyway, and he's doing the TikToks. He's following it, trying to be in with the kids, same as that tit from the Liberal Democrats, fucking Ed Davey, another tit, doing a TikTok video. So anyway, Miliband's doing these videos like these fucking cool with the kids ones. But in it, he's going around all the wind turbine factories and all this other fucking net zero madness that he's going on about. Okay? So, months and months and months ago, when he was trying to get your vote, they were talking about cutting energy prices, no chance, and there's many, many interviews doing it. And then what did they announce last week? Energy prices are going up 6.4%.
Yeah,
so if it wasn't already enough. So why keep the war going? Russia's got loads of gas. We can do a deal with them where gas and energy prices come back down. The resources are... We should be trying to cut a deal here, mainly just to get our fucking gas and lecky prices down.
They won't, because the money talks.
So we thought COVID was bad, like for us getting robbed. They're now doing it. They're doing it in plain sight.
Doing it in front of our face.
Why doesn't anything happen?
Because unfortunately 90% of the population are thick.
What did they say to you? Klaus Schwab, he said, "You'll own nothing and you'll be happy."
Yeah.
So everything is about, like, they're just wiping out people's, like, pension funds. They're wiping out people's ability to not be reliant upon the state. I think they want people to be completely and utterly reliant upon the state. Universal credit, so that if you don't fucking do as they say, you just don't get any money, don't get paid.
I mean, the pension
sit in your house, be a blob, don't work from home if you do work.
Surely there'd be a revolution before that.
Contact with other people.
You'd like to think so. I'd like to think that eventually the public would say, nah, this is too much. This enough's enough here. We're not having this. But
well, again, when the left
Oh, chance in.
What a save.
When the left, so our left at the minute, I don't know whether you've seen, Lineker's been virtue signalling again. When you see BBC done a Gaza documentary.
He's never going to be on universal credit though, is he?
No, but BBC done a Gaza documentary. Did you see it? And they had to pull it because so many people in the thing had turned out to be terrorists or allegedly terrorists or fucking all mad money. 30 grand they got missing to terrorism and all. Like, they just basically fucked up. So obviously they had to pull that. Obviously Lineker was chirping in again. Giving his fucking tuppence worth on the conflict, and yet at the same time housing absolutely zero refugees from the area. And what we've got now is you've got the left, who, as bizarre as it is, are actually advocating for continuing the war. Like Rory the Tory and Alistair, like, they don't want anyone to cut a deal with Putin. Now, I think Putin is a fucking maniac. I do. I think he's a killer. No danger. But also, like, how else you run Russia? Like, you've got to be a fucking maniac to be in control of Russia, because it's a massive country with so many touch points at the borders. They've got China on one border, you've got the Georgians and Azerbaijan, you've got Uzbekistan, you've got Chechnya, you've got...
You're touching America? You're touching Greenland, aren't you?
You know, they're a huge... You know, and they've got historical problems with Finland. You know, they're a huge country that has got many, many different religions, but also has to be held together with the fucking iron fist. Putin's ex-KGB, so he's all for the fucking motherland. His family, it's Russia first. Same way Trump, whether you like him or not, is America first. So everything, tariffs, no, you're not going to do business with it. Right, we're putting tariffs on that. You're not going to get rid of the cartel, Mexicans, are you? No. Right, we're putting tariffs on you. Right, you want to come into America now? He's selling these $5 million golden visas, isn't he? Yeah. Trump. He's a businessman. Everything's a business transaction. And Putin is, whether you like it or not, one of the world's big strongmen. He controls a nuclear arsenal that's only matched or bettered by America. And there's only 3 countries, America, China and Russia, who could actually really do anything about it.
Could all be an alliance as well.
But also the problem you've got is if you keep, which is Trump's quite smart here, because if you keep fighting with Russia then go to BRICS and fall into the lap of the Chinese, which is what they're
already semi-on.
Well, they already are, but also the Russians don't want to be there.
Semi-on.
The Russians don't want to be there, because that's not a good spot to be in. The Russians want to be in a spot where the Chinese are harmonious and the Americans are harmonious.
Yeah.
Similarly, Trump's smart enough to realise business and money only gets made when everyone's harmonious. Now, you're also fighting against what I think's taken Trump on, which is the military-industrial complex. And if you look at American foreign policy since the end of the Second World War, all it's done pretty much is enrich itself through starting wars or proxy wars in many, many countries. You know, from Vietnam to the Korean War to, you know, the current guise of Ukraine and what's going on in the Middle East, when you go back to, you know, 2001 Iraq invasion, or the early 90s stuff in 2004, Iraq and Afghanistan, Syria, Libya. We can be here all day going on about it, because big war.
It's in 1-0.
Ipswich goal. War pays lots of money for these people who are massively aligned. You know, the Bush family, the Cheney family, all shareholders are Halliburton, which is one of the biggest industrial component builders for the military complex. Yeah. So war is big money. Now Trump's coming in and saying, no, I don't want war, I want to get rid of it, it's bad for business. And yet the left in England, your Alistair Campbell's, who, you know, some people would argue has got blood on his hands for helping the Labour government and Tony Blair through the propaganda into the war in Iraq, which has ultimately destabilised the region, because subsequently you've seen, you know, the amount of people from that area who have either had to flee that area or now are living under kind of ISIS kind of Taliban rule in those
that created ISIS, didn't it? The war in Iraq.
So this military industrial complex though, is that, what nation is that, or is that like you're talking old money, American?
Well, it's global, but it's American. The Eisenhower spoke about it, didn't he, when he came on?
Rothschilds.
No,
but it's not necessarily. But why like oil was in dollars? So it's like American
old money then, yeah.
Yeah, American was the big.
I'd love it to, lad. Yeah.
So like Rothschilds, JP Morgan, all that.
Yeah.
So they're not for the U.S. Federal Reserve, like that kind of mob.
Yeah.
So they're not
But it's global though. It's like it's bigger. It's like they owned not just stuff in America. They were like global.
Yeah, they own most of the banks.
The banks, and not just banks, but no, we're talking
European
about.
Well,
banks.
they say, don't they, the Rothschilds
mines
have
and
funded
stuff.
all wars since like the Napoleonic Wars. They funded both sides of every war since the Napoleonic Wars because people have to borrow money. You have to borrow 10 billion to buy
tanks.
Yeah, and actually
arms.
then you're potting Klein then for someone, and then the only person who can usually service the debt is
when did
the
we
people
finish?
who win the war.
I want
Now,
to Google it.
for us to service our debt, even though we won the war, Second World War, we ended up losing lots of our assets.
But when did we finish paying our debt?
2006.
It's only last year,
someone just put in
yeah.
the,
Was it
couple of years ago.
2006? Yeah, 2006 we finished paying our World War II debt.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
But we've got to think in terms of like, is that enriched any, like who's that enriching? So why does the left in this country at this moment want to keep the war going? Like I'm like, why?
Because they're being told by someone who they believe. People have got a lot of people. If you're either left wing or right wing, you've got a blinkered one way mindset of okay, if he says this, I'm going to believe every word comes out of his mouth. You are as well. A little bit like I'll believe what's right and what's wrong. I'll believe okay, if he's saying what's bullshit, that's bullshit. Dan, if he's saying that's right, no matter what other people think of him. I'm having what he's saying, but a lot of the left and a lot of the right just have this one mindset and one like tunnel vision of how this how it should be.
Yeah,
and if you're right,
they're quite ideological in that thing, but also when something's drastically wrong, they can't break away from it because it absolutely shakes the fabric of everything they've ever believed.
Yeah, so, correct what I'm saying.
So to be left wing and progressive means you'd have to allow fellas to win Olympic boxing medals in the women's sports categories.
There was someone put a picture up today and it was nailed. It was about a gang of foreigners who was like raping this white girl, and the dad was trying to hold, saying that's my daughter, and the busy was pulling it back, saying be accepting your bigot or something, pulling him away from his daughter. It was like saying even the police are that way inclined in this country now. They're not allowed to think another way. They're getting told how to deal with situations.
Well, did you see that the grooming gang scandal that we spoke about a while back, Rotherham, and you had 10 officers of South Yorkshire Police in Rotherham arrested. It's like it clearly goes a lot deeper than they ever would want to admit. Now, the problem with society at the minute is, the people who rule and law abiding are getting fucked over, and the people who are absolutely at the bollocks and people who are taking the piss out the system are getting rewarded, and that is why the anger and the people are getting, cheers lad, the people are getting really, really pissed off because everyone's cost of living and energy prices are getting turned up. For what? So Ed Miliband can bang another fucking 87,000 wind turbines that actually, when we need them at key times, if we carry on down this path of net zero madness, will fail and will not produce the energy necessary for us to be energy independent.
Yeah, carbon neutral or whatever. But you wouldn't mind if all this money invested up the huge amount of money what's going in is if you think the country's infrastructure is getting better and there's more opportunities, but it's not. It's getting even worse.
The infrastructure.
If you're a young person now, can you get on the property market?
Can you fuck?
No, can you fuck? Do you feel safe walking around?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Is it a good place for a young family to start up now?
No, it's not.
Kingdom?
But it's
so all that money getting put in and invested,
and you're paying a lot of tax. We paid lots of money in tax. I've just been out to Dubai there compared to our tax. I mean, I wouldn't want to live there. I couldn't bear it. But in terms of how much tax they pay, it's ridiculous. We get absolutely fleeced for it. Now, if you had an incredible, safe country, where there was great opportunities, you go, you know what, fair enough, yeah, I can see why we pay what we pay. But actually, we're getting worse.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see that documentary on Axel Rubicon?
I don't want to watch that. I didn't want to watch it.
No, go on. What was this?
I haven't seen it.
No, I don't want to watch it.
Someone's put in the chat to see if you've seen it, just to get your opinion on it.
No, I've been away for the last couple of weeks, so I haven't seen it. I haven't been watching much TV.
I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself
I seen the teacher was. I seen the teacher doing an interview.
I seen that. I watched half it and nearly burst out crying, so I can't watch it.
Yeah.
No, are they white digestives? They don't work anywhere near the level.
No, listen to me.
No. I don't think they work at the level of the milk chocolate.
Have you had the gold digestives? No. Oh my word. They are like, they take the piss out of the caramels.
Are you still going on the Eccentric?
I've lost £6.
Whereabouts?
Down
the back of the couch there?
Yeah, no, I am. I'm down £6 down.
Yeah, it's
Lad,
not
you
the best
shit,
then.
you shit about £6. So have you seen that?
I'm not on the Ozempic, I'm on Manjaro. It's different.
All right. Well, have you seen with the Ozempic that?
Ozempic gave me pancreatitis.
No, it says it can fucking cause you to go blind. It shrinks the things at the back of your head. So what's this? What are you on, Mount Kilimanjaro?
Yeah, Mount Kilimanjaro.
What's this? Like a coffee or
similar,
something?
it's still a GLP-1, which is still the same ingredient, but it's different.
So what does this do differently to?
Bona?
Sorry.
What does this do?
It's the same thing. It just what it basically does. It slows your digestive system down, so it makes you feel fuller for longer.
All right.
So that's all it does. And but it does give you like you get, depending on what you eat, it can give you like bad constipation or it can give you bad or I don't know, my birds are not happy with me toilet tablets at the minute like.
Well, that's a bit too much information for this show, isn't it? We don't really
God.
know your bowel movements at the minute. I'm just
It's-
saying,
yeah,
how's
yeah.
it getting on?
Getting-
So this is the quest for eternal life that Cambo's currently on at this moment. I don't know, mate, they're making a Netflix documentary about him. You're going to show
Bionic
everybody
Man.
a new invention. He's got a new gadget,
Go on.
the gadget man.
No can't.
Get a zoom in on this, though. So
It still look red. Does it look red?
it is
Still.
like a bit of a tattoo,
It's a
isn't
bit
it?
red,
I can
it's-
see it, like, you can
it's
see
similar
it.
to a
He looks like a
tattoo, yeah.
Maori warlord.
It's not. I've been called far worse.
So he's getting this in the pursuit of eternal life. He's
I
got
just
this
shaved my ear
elixir.
off one day because I was just pissed off with
He's
it.
got this elixir injected into his lobe from the bullfrog in the Amazon jungle, which is meant to stimulate your hair growing back. The only thing is, it's £6,000 of treatment.
No, £2,000.
Sorry, £2,000 of treatment. So we'll let you know if the bullfrog
Come back looking
injection,
like Joe's hair, you know, it's weird.
if he
any,
turns up with
No.
with
Is
this,
there
lad.
any psychedelic?
Effects,
enhancements on
no,
it, in fact,
no,
no?
it definitely not. If there was, I'd be buzzing with it, but I mean, honest to God, there's no
That's early
paper
days
thing.
though, isn't it? It's still early
lads have
days.
done
Got
that
one more
once, you know.
treatment.
Have you ever heard of frog?
The frog thing,
You
of
get done with frog poison,
on the back of your, the
strip
back,
your bollocks
on
off.
the back of the frog, it's like meant to be the most potent thing in the world. This,
Yeah.
this
Do
frog.
Do you know what? I'd
You get
love
a
to
pit.
go and do Machu Picchu, and I'd love to go and do that ayahuasca and all that.
I do the DMT. You've done DMT, haven't
You
you?
have to do with the
I've
shaman though,
done
don't you? You have
DMT,
to go
yeah.
with the shaman.
No, I couldn't do
Like,
ayahuasca.
there's a proper. It's meant to feel like you're dying, isn't it? With the ayahuasca.
Do you know what? There's
I seen the Aaron Rodgers documentary.
Feeling as when you pass.
Is
So
it?
like you go and you get
do you
like
know
your
what?
light flashes before
There's a
your eyes,
Netflix
all that.
documentary.
Supposedly off
Aaron
ayahuasca.
Rodgers.
I haven't
Aaron
done it.
Rodgers has done one where he goes down there.
There's a Netflix documentary, and it's the most random person to ever go on an ayahuasca trip. Sue Perkins off fucking Bake Off.
All right.
So I expect her to be cooking a fucking flan. I seen it on an ayahuasca trip, throwing up and everything.
Cooking a flan.
I was like, what the
Need
fuck's
to get
going
on the
on here?
podcast, find out what it's all about, lad.
So she done this this episode's on Netflix. She goes on this ayahuasca trip, and honest, I just not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I don't think it's for me.
I do the DMT, but not the ayahuasca.
Mushies, you get a good sip off the mushies.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just not. It's not like fucking. It's.
I think if you're in the Amazon jungle,
Fucking hell.
do you know what I mean? And you're with the shaman, I think it's a bit different than fucking
Yeah.
sitting in a fucking flat or something, or in your bedroom doing. Like, I think if you're in
Yes.
this Amazon and there's like nature around you.
You sat off on top.
Why
of
don't we
it.
do it,
Aaron Rodgers one looks quite
DMT
sick.
stream?
It's like quite controlled, and they're like, it's like
Yeah.
just like fire, and like it looks like the right setting. And imagine it must be
There's
must be eye opening.
There's another documentary one where a woman does it, but she goes to like a proper house and does it's a DMT one. So it's like all in control. They've all got individual beds and they're on the state that are on the trip for
Quite
like 10
clinical though.
hours.
It sounds quite
It's
clinical.
very clinical, but I mean, they do it and they're like meant to be like an awakening for them. And
I know, but I'm saying to you, like in
Ten-
that clinical setting,
mine only lasts about half an hour, but take it out for a bit, yeah.
consciously or subconsciously, your brain still knows you're fucking in a clinical setting. Whereas if you're actually in Peru or you're in fucking Bolivia or Colombia or whatever the fucking
I don't
shaman
think
is.
that's not the ayahuasca in Colombia, you know.
I've not been to Colombia, but I've heard all about it. I've heard I know a man who
I've
has.
been.
And for me, I'm saying the setting and the like, all that is a factor in it, especially if it's mind altering states and like those transcendental journeys that people try and go on, spirituality and find stuff. I think in a clinical setting, you know, might have its. You know, there's people saying it helps with PTSD.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of, you know, kind of it being used on troops and people with
Yeah,
kind of those
that's
kind
what-
of
that's what she had
illnesses.
did.
Yeah.
But also, I'm saying if you're truly in terms of your own spiritual journey, surely going exploring like that and being in situ where, you know, the plant is
It's
picked
just
from
there, around
5
the
minutes
corner,
away
yeah.
rather than fucking brought in. Like, as I say, it's something I do if it crossed me path, and you know, for me, I'm always open to the
I'm sure
new
Netflix would be all over
experiences.
that, wouldn't he?
I just worry about if I open that Pandora's box, what kind of fucking madness comes out though?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it
don't,
could turn into
you don't need that Pandora's box opening.
Because sometimes when Hank gets in the hot seat, like I wake up the next day and I'm really unsure what he's done. many times actually, he's got me in a lot of trouble.
Go the polar
I'm
opposite
saying-
and like literally be
I know,
the
but like, I
nicest
don't,
man in there.
Hank might get out in the shaman surgery and run,
I know, I
start
might-
jumping in the trees and
I might
swinging
go-
through the trees or
I might
something.
go to Amsterdam Friday.
Did that
Yeah.
what for?
Decided, yeah, I don't know, just me bird.
My
Not,
favourite
not
city.
enough a transplant.
My favourite.
No, my bird said to me, do you want to go to Paris on a Friday night for something to do? And I said, oh, let's go to Amsterdam.
Yeah, it
instead.
is a great city.
Yeah, it's
Go and see the Van Gogh
Going to Amsterdam,
Museum.
something to do.
well, yeah, we were going to do
How good
something.
at half live, eh?
Yeah,
Podcast
yeah,
must be doing well.
yeah. The fucking the
What
snake
hell is
venom.
what?
The
The
snake
kid's been
venom.
to Dubai for 10 days. Just
The
chilling.
snake venom.
I'm getting a short
Top of the
straw
earth.
here. Do you know where I went when you was being away? Wales.
I haven't been away. Do you know what I mean? I haven't been away.
You've been in Australia
Like, I've been
over
away for
Christmas.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Been away for 2 weeks.
I'm
I went to
definitely getting a
Amsterdam for
short
less
straw
than
here.
24 hours though, to be fair.
Did you?
A couple of weeks ago. That was great.
It's my it is my favourite city. I think.
Ah,
I think
New
if I
York.
go to any city, especially
York's
when the sun's
my
out, if
favourite.
if you get a nice summer's day, obviously it's fucking. You just walk around it all
I
day,
went.
people watching.
I took me missus. I went the other year. Took me missus, and she's like proper squeaky clean. Never done anything. Never touched anything. Never smoked. She was an athlete as a kid.
All right.
So she
What
was
did she do?
the hurdles. So she was like no,
Colin Jackson.
yeah, Colin Jackson. And no, she was like proper British champion hurdle as a kid.
What
And then met
what
me and
race?
fuck-
400 metres.
400 hurdles, yeah, full.
Right, that's a good
yeah.
athlete then.
So
Good
she-
racehorse there, lad.
Yeah, so she was a proper. So she's never done anything.
Your genetics then have just offset that. So
Completely killed her. She's on the kebabs and that now. so I went to Amsterdam. I just got ready rolled, being lazy. And then she went, I'm not doing nothing. I was like, okay, you don't have to. I'll ask you to. She went, oh, I'll have a little cake though. I went, okay, I'll give you a cake.
on the edibles.
So I give her a cake and a hot chocolate. And so I'd give it. And you got to buy the ready rolls next door, then go and get served in a different shop, haven't you? So I'd gone.
Yeah.
So I'd gone to get the cake and then gone the next door, ready rolls. Come back, she'd had the cake.
Right.
She nailed it in like about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I went, oh, what have you done? Where's it gone? She went to vet it. It was nice. I went, oh, fucking hell. Literally we went to watch, half an hour later, she went,
Well,
I'm feeling sick.
Oh,
And
God.
she was just bouncing off every wall, going, where's getting back to the hotel quick? And she was
Classic
like,
Whitey.
oh, honestly, but she was having chips. We stopped off like 4 little chip gaps on the way
Whitey
back to the
Bulger.
hotel.
Whitey
Yeah.
Bulger.
Got the monkeys.
Honestly, God, the funniest thing.
Ah. I always remember we were playing cards and our mortal's not big on it and someone had a J going and I just remember looking at him and it was like half his face was white. You just see the whitey coming
There's a
on.
whitey off a ciggy.
Oh, probably,
Yeah, I went
it's
to
the
watch,
worst feeling ever, a whitey, innit? Even off when them snooze people have.
Oh,
You know, the
I had
whitey
one
off
of
there?
them.
The worst
Fucking
whitey
hell.
I've
That's the
ever
worst.
had.
I just
I swear
do not
to
get
God.
how people bang them in.
I had one in Barcelona off these Norwegian kids, and I fell off the chair, off the stool of the bar, went,
Yeah,
Well,
I
fell
don't
right
get
off
it.
it.
I've had one once off.
Goal,
One, great.
Good header, lad.
Yates, good
Yates.
header. Ones each. I went 2-1 Ipswich, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just made a
I
few
reckon
changes
you
though.
were not more draw.
Nuno, he's
1-1
brought
I
Elliot
thought.
Anderson on and he
And
made
Yeah.
the winger. What's his name?
Gibbs White.
Gibbs
Gibbs
White.
White, yeah.
Yeah,
them
it's,
snooze, mate.
the snooze I don't get it,
Oh,
but the
honestly,
Scandies,
also
everyone's
that
mad for the
fucking
snooze now. They're all
reality.
mad for the snooze.
Yeah, our
mad
Joe
for it.
our Joe pulled up at the office today with snooze, right? Look like Bugs Bunny. And I was
Yeah,
like,
they're
saying,
mad for it.
Honestly,
That's
I
mad.
played with lads, like, conference level. Did have them at half time.
Yeah,
They put
it's
2 in
good,
them
yeah.
out for half time.
Yeah, it's loads of
And then
players.
go out and play the second half and
But
be sound.
It's like I've never got it. I had a spew up, but then the last time I had it, I was like, oh, I could see what they're trying to get, but it just wasn't worth it for the sickness. Like a bit of a spinny head, like when you get like nicotine rush or
No.
something. Like it was like
It's not for me.
poppers
that.
kind of.
Not for me,
feel.
that. Not for me.
Yeah, not for me. Anyway, lesser than narcotics conversation. But Amsterdam is probably,
I might go for
as I say, my favourite city. I'd go as far to say
New York's my favourite city.
New York. All right.
New York. I'm dying to get
It's a
back
long
to
way
New
though,
York.
isn't it, Amsterdam?
It's
I know, but he's
7
slim in
hours.
New York, isn't he? He's slim.
Yeah,
New York.
I can fit
He
into
walks
a,
around
I can
looking
fit
like,
into
oh,
a
like, look at
medium.
that fat bastard.
I can
and
go
all that.
shopping and get buy a medium
He
top
sees
in New
people and
York.
goes, look at, he sees people and goes, I've got fucking about another 46 stone to go here. Look how
Yeah.
big he is. America, I've never seen people the size in the only country where people get that big. I've never seen anybody that
Portions,
fat.
you see the portions though?
I know, but I'm saying, you see people and you go, how is he that big?
Yeah.
Or how is she that big? It's like,
We were
it's
talking
like
about
another
that
level
before.
of size.
It is.
We went for the sushi before and we were eating and Mark was saying the Japanese culture is you only eat till you're 80% full.
Yeah.
I was thinking fucking, so Americans must eat till they're fucking
150,
250% full.
full, yeah.
But also Japanese
shit
culture,
that-
if you go to there was, again, documentary on this fella went around Japanese schools, and you want to see what they eat, and the kids. They were asking the kids in the playground, what's your favourite food? And we're going, broccoli. I'm like, just like the kids saying broccoli, the favourite food, and everything's fresh in the school, made on that day. They have rice, they have vegetables, everything's fresh in school. I'm still getting fucking turkey twizzlers and
Boss
beans.
country, Japan, I'd love to go there, mate.
Yeah.
That's on my bucket list
One
as
of-
well.
one of my
I'd
mates
love to
went
do
for his,
Machu Picchu
stag
and
do.
Japan, but I'd love to go to Japan when it's that kind of cherry blossom season, though, when all the cherry
Yeah.
blossoms are in. It looks magical place.
One of my mates, Dan, went for the stag. He's big foodie, Dan, and he was sending us food shots every day. The food just looked outrageous what he was eating there. Like Wagyu steaks every 2 minutes. They just looked unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that's where they get all the Kobe beef from. And
Oh,
all the
it
Wagyu
just
and that,
looked
and
unbelievable, the
Japanese,
food he
but
was eating.
It's definitely on my bucket list of places to go to.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Japan. Let's go to China as well.
The golf season,
Have half a dog.
we had on Friday, we had meteorological
the planets.
first day of
Yeah.
spring, so it was the end of winter. I went climbing, I went up to the lakes, went up to Helvellyn, had a
Is that
good
why all our
climb,
birds were cranked the weekend?
and it's the changing of the season. Oh, good effort there. Changing of the season, and you can feel it. You feel from the winter and the darkness and the
Definitely,
coldness.
Definitely,
It has
Said
been
that today.
cool, but you're just feeling that. You see the daffodils starting to come if you're out mooching around. You know, you see all the flowers, the early rises of spring, and it gives you that bit of optimism. For me, start to think about getting my golf clubs out, start to think about getting myself in shape, and also, if I'm honest, it's a time I need to get in my garden, get my gardening going. Like I'm actually really looking forward to getting stuck in the garden.
Yeah.
I hate gardening.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what?
Done it all.
It
We've done
is
our-
great when you
ours
get
this
in there, you
weekend.
know.
Saturday
so
we're ready for the
therapeutic.
Bulls to go in next week.
Yeah, it's so therapeutic. It's a good and also keeps you off social media where you just get infuriated by some of the bakes and the fucking nonsense that we've got going on around us at the minute. But the hike was tough, as tough as we've done.
Was it
But
cold?
also,
Chance.
yeah, it was snowing on the top.
Was
But
it?
also, there's nothing better, you know. Just for the clearing your space, you're off your phone for a few hours. Great effort.
Yeah.
Just to clear your head out, you know, you're
Yeah.
not, and you can have a gab, you have a chat with who you're walking up with, you take in the scenery, you get all the different parts of it, you know, the fatigue and obviously the you know, the euphoric moments when you're standing on the top and that fresh air.
Yeah.
Feels like it's like every breath's worth like 15 breaths down on the ground because feels so clear, so
Yeah.
clean.
Did you reward yourself when you got back to the bottom of the nice pint?
Rewarded with a couple of Guinness down. We only had one actually because we're on the straight and narrow. We're training for the half marathon end of March, and obviously Marseille legends against AC Milan legends.
Go on, tell people more about. Tell us more
I
about that.
got a call asking would they play now. I was like, fucking be honoured. To celebrate the 125th anniversary of Olympique Marseille as a football club, they're playing, I think, AC Milan legends. Marseille beat AC Milan in the European Cup final the year they won it at the Velodrome, I think in about 20th of April. So
Yeah.
don't know who's been asked, but obviously
AC Milan legends.
only the legends.
Chris Waddle.
He's obviously a legend there. So I'm trying to get myself back in shape for that because you don't want to make a pig's ear of it, do you?
We need
Being
to get a little game of
fat
5-0s
bastard.
going or something.
Well, so I'm just moving my way back in now, but
Get training, but I'm sure cables.
so I'll find a few five-a-sides. There'll be like if there's any good five-a-sides or vets teams out there. We need
There'll
to
be a
shout
few
them to us in the next
AFCON
couple of
teams
weeks.
there you can get training with, lad.
Listen, I could
Play for Tranmere at the minute.
I could yeah, there's a few teams out there I can play for.
You can play for Tammy at the minute, no problem.
Sammy have just potted. Nige.
Has he gone, yeah?
Nige,
Yeah.
nonsense pottery, haven't he? He's gone, yeah. It's about time.
Oh,
I think
we
I
never
think
got
they've
that
2
clip
months
out,
too
you
late.
know. We needed to get that clip out.
Oh,
as a
that was
highlight.
class, that clip.
What is it?
You asked him.
1, 2,
No.
4 process.
Oh,
How
yeah.
does it go?
Oh,
A house divided
oh,
against itself will never stand. You know who said that?
yeah.
3, 2, 1. I'll give you a process. That was Abraham Lincoln in 1947 on July the 16th.
Oh.
Like, oh, well done, mate.
I'm surprised he lasted after that, to be
Lad,
honest.
they should have. Like, I think they've killed themselves because Sparky's stopped Carlisle getting beef for the League Two heads out there. Sparky's come in. He's a good manager in terms of for Carlisle
For
to
that
get
level,
Mark
fucking
Hughes,
hell.
very experienced manager, and obviously he's come in and stopped them conceding goals. So
2-1.
2-1.
Offside.
He's give offside.
Looked offside.
Shah Massey.
What size chest are their shorts?
So what happened is, obviously, what was I talking about there?
Carlisle.
Have brought Sparky in. He stopped them getting beat, and they got a few draws. And obviously, they were on Sky, I think, on Friday night against Barrow, which was a big game for them, and ended up winning 1-0. And then Tranmere had a tough game against Port Vale Saturday at home. Obviously, Crosby's assistant to Nigel Atkins has stayed there. Andy Crosby, I think his name is. He was at Port Vale now. So I don't know whether he's going to stay to the end of the season, but then they've ended up getting a point against Port Vale, which in hindsight's a good point. But obviously, because Carlisle are winning now, who were bottom, and they are 2 points. I think Tranmere on 28, Carlisle and Morecambe 26. So with 12 games to go or 10 games to go, whatever, this is going to go right down to the wire. The problem for Tranmere is they don't score goals, so I think they're the lowest scorer in the football pyramid. So they need to start, at least Carlisle have got into, they're quite low scorers, but they started keeping clean sheets. So now you've only got to win one goal to win a game. Whereas Tranmere, I don't think they were accounting for being in this, and if I'm honest, I think Palios and the board not firing Atkins earlier has got them in a situation here where they're going to be looking right over the shoulder right at the end. But it'd be mad to see them go out of division, but as I say, it's tight down the bottom there. There's a few teams who are going to be squeaking to stay in the Football League. Hopefully Tranmere stay up, eh? You always look for Tranmere as a Merseyside kind of team, don't you?
Could be out of it again for a long time, do you know what I mean? I think they got back in the Football League relatively quickly. The last time they went out was 3-4 years with Mickey Mellon or something, but this
was
time
tough, yeah.
I don't think
so we were looking before again, like we're looking through some of the teams down there. There's some big sides now spending decent money in those lower leagues.
Yeah, but Palios, he's not going to be able to sell them, is he? If they go down, they're not a valuable asset.
Well, they were waiting on ASAP Rocky, but he got a not guilty in that court case, didn't he? So saying now he might
go back in the frame.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't see him watching Tranmere at home to Port Vale and thinking,
it's not about that. It's like the Ryan Reynolds. It's the investment. Go on, El.
Yeah, but at least Wrexham's got a bit of fucking history. What you're buying into, like the mines and
I seen him through the year.
Good society. Imagine going into Birkenhead's history, mate.
Bacon and egg, yeah, but also the Tranmere have had some good sides. I remember Johnny King, Johnny Aldridge had good sides going there. They've obviously played in a couple of League Cup finals. They've knocked on the door of the Premier League.
That's because play for them.
Tranmere are probably, if they could, Tranmere for a playoff final wouldn't be far off selling their allocation, I would imagine. 40,000. I mean, you might have a load of Everton and Liverpool day strippers in there.
But you might have. I mean, but still, they're going to sell that. The 100% they'll sell 2030, I think, Tranmere.
I mean, look, they've lost away a little bit recently, but when I was a kid, Tranmere were a good kind of championship side that were trying to get in the Premier League.
Ronaldo had them at Wembley, remember?
Nobody really wants to play Tranmere. It was a tough place to go. It was always, you're going into a bit of a battle zone. Now, they've clearly, the fact that they're talking about maybe going out the Football League says how far they've fell in, recent years. And again, Mickey Mellon done a great job there, getting them promoted from the conference
so quickly, and
getting them back into League One. And they were unlucky; they were one of the big losers in the COVID season because they got relegated on the points per game. And they haven't really recovered from that. So hopefully they can get back on the feet and get moving in the right direction. Because I always look out for Tammy. I like to see them do. How do you
feel about that as a fucking club? If
you go out the league,
due to COVID.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're fuming, yeah.
Especially now.
Now everything's coming to the wash.
It was nowhere near. It was nowhere near as bad as what they didn't need to stop the league. They didn't need to lock us all in. They didn't need to do all that because it was just basically a strong flu.
So another one we need to touch base on, because I was quick to condemn him. I do think he's the worst Everton manager, or joint worst Everton manager in my lifetime with Mike Walker. Frank Lampard, and what a great job Frank's doing at Coventry down in the Champ. I think 36 points from 18 games.
Yeah.
Great. Like, you have to take your hat off to him. He's definitely turned him around. And with that momentum, he could get them certainly that position of 5 and 6 in the Championship for the playoff places wide open.
Yeah.
There's a spot for the team coming with a late run, and if you get in the playoffs with momentum, it's a fucking real advantage. So credit to him and fair play to him for dropping. I know it's still a good job, Coventry, but he's dropped down and bit the bullet a little bit, and he's showing now that he maybe has learned those lessons at the bigger clubs and could be a good manager.
I think, as you know yourself, you learn on the job for the first couple of years as in managerial, but he's had some
G's, by the way, because he went to Derby and they give him fucking Mason Mount and they give him Fimo Takori and they give him Harry Wilson, so he's had the right G there. He then gets the Chelsea job because they're in a mad situation, does well on the constraints of being under the transfer embargo.
But still Chelsea so
he's dog shit at Everton, so he can't dress it up any other way. And then he's shit the second time round at Chelsea, albeit he goes into a strange, the club's situation. Been taken off Abramovich and Todd Bowley's crew.
But he's learned at the top level. So he was still learning at Chelsea, still learning at Everton, still learning at Derby.
I think it's a good shout, fair play for that. Like if he keeps them up there, there's still a lot of 10, 12 games to go in the Championship. So
listen, they're on a current, as I say, they're on 2 points per game now. At this stage of the season, if you're on a 2 points per game kind of points tally, then that's promotion chase and form. So they're on the right form at the right time, and they're jockeying for position. As I say, you could easily see them making a decent fist of it and getting in the playoffs, and if they go in with momentum, the team that wins the playoff usually is the team that comes in red hot form, and again you wouldn't back against them in that format.
Especially as you said, if the likes of Coventry get that
what a strike.
So I had to mention that because, as I say, I think it's only fair if I do cane people that I do obviously give them a bit of credit when they deserve it.
I don't know where like games he played before he signed for Forest to make pro games, it was just 27
from Brazil.
Yeah, in his whole career he played 27 pro games, and I just got out of nowhere. He's unbelievable.
Did anyone catch the Burnley Preston game?
No, I seen them score, seen the highlights of it, but I didn't. I seen them the non-handshake situation.
Yeah. Have you heard anything on that, Joe? Obviously being ex-Burnley, have you heard any?
No, I've just seen what you have seen. I seen they didn't shake hands with the lad, so they obviously feel like he's racially abused Hannibal.
He was always going to score, wasn't he?
It was in the stars that one for him, like, to be fair. But I haven't read much into it. To me, I've seen the clip. The kid.
So is it like a Me Too thing? If a black person says he's racially abused, that we just automatically believe in it? Or
no, don't think no. Don't think that's the case. But I think it's the case. You've got to be outraged.
Preston players and Preston clearly don't feel he said it.
I know, because they're saying he can't speak
English.
English.
Clearly think he has, because they all fucked him off and didn't shake his hand.
Well, again, if one of your teammates says he's just been called something by, you're going to believe your teammate, whether you've heard it or not.
So you've got to stand by your teammate, aren't you?
So you can't blame.
It's the Preston players are going to stand by their team.
Oh my God! What a strike!
Would have been a hell of a goal.
They're going to stand with the teammates either way. But
I'm saying
it's all he said, she said, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's a Me Too moment, isn't it? So like, are we just going to believe anybody who comes out and says it happened? Like, we have to also factor in another big club owner who's having his own Me Too moment, which is really hurting his brand, in my opinion. Ryan Reynolds at Wrexham and Blake Lively with this Julian Bodoni.
Yeah, that's a naughty case. That's a naughty case.
Really, really bad. Really, really bad. So I'm saying, like, everyone, just because of what Blake Lively said, the Me Too thing is, just believe him. But it turns out now,
she's been the
she looks like a nasty piece of work. I know she's tidy, but she looks like a nasty piece of work. Usually on that matrix, the crazy hot scale,
yeah. It's
Ryan,
true that,
you would have known it was a dude otherwise.
It's true.
Just check out the crazy hot matrix.
Go on YouTube and Google crazy hot matrix.
Yeah, YouTube, Google.
And trust it and believe it. It's true.
Yeah. Watch yourself.
But yeah, she's there. But they've always seen
out there. That's a unicorn. That's a unicorn zone. If she's above 8 hot and below 6 crazy,
it doesn't exist.
You're probably talking to a dude. That's what he says.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And anyway,
but they've been like the squeaky clean A-list couple, Hollywood A-list couple, haven't they? All of a sudden, like, what's going on there? She seems a bit of a fucking...
This is the thing, like, nobody lives in that world.
Yeah.
Nobody lives in that world.
Is there such thing as a squeaky clean?
Nobody lives in that world.
No, there isn't. Is there?
Anyway, but that's the thing, is when people pontificate and try and pretend they are. I just really, really struggle with it.
Comes out in the wash.
Another big thing from the sporting thing this week. At age 51, Paula Radcliffe ran her first marathon in 10 years. What do you think her time was? She ran the Tokyo Marathon. Paula Radcliffe. Remember, she's famous for having a shit in her hand.
She pissed.
It was a bit of Big Turtle's head popped out, lad.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah, chicken nugget popped out.
Oh,
no, I don't know.
I didn't even know that.
Minstrel, couple of minstrels popped out.
Couple of Galaxy fellas.
Revels, few revels. No, I think it was just a
chocolate cream ones.
steamy piss.
There's Wilcox there, isn't it?
Is that him on there? I think it was a steamy piss, but also
well, a few Galaxy.
it's a better story that it was a third.
Chance,
But we'll never know. No one was there.
Why did he pull a trigger first time?
That was me 2-1 there again. That'd have been 3 out of 3 results.
What's his mullet?
Can anybody guess a time? So she's age 51.
Okay.
She hasn't ran it for 10 years.
What's the average time?
No.
I'm trying to think. So I done the half marathon last year in an hour 48.
She's an ex-Olympic
I know,
champion.
but I'm just trying to gauge. So
An hour 20.
She's 51.
An hour 20?
She's a female.
Full marathon?
yeah. So
Half marathon.
She's a female who hasn't ran for 10 years.
Half marathon. So I'm just trying to gauge. So she would obviously beat that.
Did you say half marathon or full?
51.
She's done a full
I'm just
marathon.
trying to gauge.
Tokyo
I'm
marathon.
going to go for
Done a full marathon.
3 hours.
51. She hasn't done one for 10
3
years.
hours and 10 minutes.
I'll say 2
Alright.
hours 55.
I went same as Josh, but I mean, I'll go 3 hours 9 minutes.
2 hours and 57 minutes.
Tell you what,
28
great
seconds.
guess, that.
Very good, Noah. Very good. That's a good effort, that,
Yeah.
to be fair to her. I mean, she is a racing snake, but good effort to her.
Did she have a piss?
At 51, that's
It
ridiculous.
doesn't confirm whether she's had the piss or not on the way through.
I'm on
Next
that.
little bit of
I
public
might have got
discourse,
back from
just
that.
while
I had to
we're off
stop and
topic
shit
here, because
halfway through.
obviously it gives us some talking points. Did anybody watch the Oscars?
You know what? I seen clips of it. Can I just give me little tip of my hat to Adam Sandler's outfit?
Okay, yeah, you obviously know it was a bit, obviously.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, you obviously know it was like obviously part of the show. It was like
Obviously, yeah, but
I
I mean,
didn't find
like,
it funny. It was like we were going back to watch Big Daddy.
oh no, I thought it was
years
brilliant.
ago.
I thought it was
stage humour like that's not funny.
No,
It's
well,
not
I
funny.
thought it was because everyone was on these big mad outfits. And he turns up a little hoodie and shorts, like just
Yeah,
like.
but like,
Come on, pull that mic down.
if it's genuine, I get it. But also, if it's part of the comedy show, it's like, right.
Well, it was a bit. It was semi.
He was talking in that Adam Sandler voice. That
it
was funny.
It was semi-part, semi.
25 years ago,
He was-
and he
he was
hasn't been
in-
funny since, has he? Let's be
But he
honest.
was involved
in every film. Still.
Yeah,
was-
yeah, because it worked 25 years ago. But like
I've
now,
seen
he's
him
not
in that.
funny.
No, but that. You know what he was good in that film, the Diamond One. What was that one called?
Oh,
Great.
like that was freaking me out. That, you know.
Great film.
What was it called?
What was it called? The
He's
Diamond.
like this diamond.
Diamond.
Inspector.
Oh
something.
yeah, nonsense.
That's a great film.
Anyway,
Sending me
Go on.
west.
so
the Oscars.
so anyway, the big Oscar was won, or the main Oscar, or one of the main Oscars, by Adrian Brody. Obviously, another
The
born
Another
no
soul
city,
yeah.
born in no city, like Josh.
Do you know
But
since
Brody
that
won.
haircut,
Brody
I've
won the
fucking
thing,
loads of
so he's
shouting.
obviously
Got
up giving
that
it the
Adrian
speech,
Brody.
and you know they get quite political and all of Ricky Gervais thing of just fucking pick your fucking thing up, thank you, your
Fuck
God,
off.
your fucking manager and your wife, and fuck off.
Yeah.
You're thinking that's who's going on about world peace, and obviously Brody's he's a Jew, isn't he?
Yeah.
Played obviously. Was he in
Pianist.
Schindler's List? Oh, he's the pianist.
Pianist.
All right. Now the big problem was he's on there and he kept jitting to his missus giving it to fucking Barry McGuigan and all the big waves, and then I'm like, who's she? She's all right, like, but she's not the best. Anyway, turns out that his wife's Georgina, and it's Harvey Weinstein's ex. So even if you're the best actor in the world and you win the Oscars, you're still staring fat, pig face, nonce face, Harvey Weinstein's
Porridge.
tadpoles.
Oh.
What?
Harvey Weinstein's
Exactly.
ex.
Harvey Weinstein's
Isn't he in a
ex.
wheelchair now or something?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
like Brody, that's something from Weinstein, snake with the big snake face,
to Brody,
like,
yeah.
and obviously you have to do sexual favors to get on in the industry with him.
Yeah.
He's obviously a sleaze bucket, and then to Adrian Brody, like she's had some fucking come up in the world, hasn't she? She's been sucking Harvey's
She's
little
been
lolly bag,
Ha-
and then,
Harvey
then she's
Harvey
gone-
Wallbanger.
then she's got Brody's schnoz into play.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Brody's clean
Harvey
cut one.
Weinstein's ex, Georgina Chapman, looks awkward as partner Adrian Brody and Halle Berry kiss. That was a bit of a bad
I've seen
thing
that one.
afterwards, which
I've-
wasn't
no,
that
I
funny.
see- no,
That's what I
see-
thought you were going to speak about, because of that thing that just happened with the football thing of Halle Berry just going and grabbing him and kissing him. I
Yeah.
thought that's what you
Yeah.
were going to go on about then.
Well,
It was a
again,
bit weird,
Surely you're not going
again,
to get a bad nick
he
for coming
could
to kiss you,
he
are you?
could say that's a sexual assault by the Lewis
what I'm
Hermosa and Jenny Hermosa and
But
But
Lewis
he's not
Hermosa.
done it
Hermosa.
because he's not a
Was the
knobhead.
world
Well,
outraged
again-
that she done it though?
No, 'cause he's not a
nobody-
knobhead.
It's a
Person
woman.
said
It's a black woman on
okay.
a man. No one cares. Nobody
Yeah,
stop
but
the
not just
world. Let's
that,
get
it's
sex. But anyway,
Not a fucking knob.
it was
that's
just a
fine.
nice little caveat to tie us into the 88th minute, where it looks like we're going to go to extra time here, lads.
Yeah, well, I've got a question. Your thoughts on Ben Eubank? And did you see any of the press
Yeah, it was
conference stuff?
very, very strange, wasn't it? Why would you crack someone with an egg? Thought that was a bit of a fucking strange thing to do.
I really-
I
I
get
think
they're
he's
trying
a
to sell
fucking
the fight.
whopper, me.
I get they're trying to sell the fight. I just don't get why you would crack an egg on someone's head.
You don't need to sell that fight.
Because you want... No.
You don't need to sell that fight.
Is it a misfit fight or is
the
it
egg,
like
apparently,
a legit
because he
boxing
got
fight?
Ben
done with
Eubank
substance abuse, didn't he?
Yeah.
His reasoning was that he had too many eggs.
Oh, right.
Okay, I get that.
So that's why he had this thing in his systems. That's why he failed. That's why he got egged.
Okay.
So I half rated from Eubank, to be fair.
I didn't even get on
He's half
that.
a
I
player.
didn't even get on that.
But...
Yeah, but also, you're going to fight him. Like as Campbell said, that fight's going to sell because of the family blood history there.
With Eubank,
like, you don't need to crack an egg on his head. Like, I mean, I don't know. But look, we're all talking about it. We're still talking about it now, aren't we? So fit, like they've done it. It's done its job.
Yeah. Did you see his dad?
Yeah,
dancing. His dad's a classic though, lad.
Lad, tell me you've seen.
Eubank
Tell
Jr.
me you've seen the fella in Ireland on RT. You know, RTE1 in Ireland's gone a bit woke, and it's like everywhere's gone woke, but it's gone woke. And Eubank Sar fella has done an interview on it with this woke presenter. It was weird. I put on, did you see that on Twitter saying that why should never record when you've had a patty? Like the two of them. There's like 7 and 8 second pauses, like where they're like, it's fucking bizarre.
Yeah, you
it's like both people are just full of shit. It's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen.
But
like,
I expect you have to jump up and like proper crack him or something the way he was
weird.
Going.
Like I've met Chris Eubank. I was in, I'd been to watch Jules Holland and I was with Jack White from the White Stripes and my mate Ian who looks after them. And we were in our, when it was the Dorchester Hotel maybe, we were in a big London hotel and we were just in the bar having a drink after the show. Anyway, sitting at the bar is Chris Eubank. Obviously I'm like Eubank Ben, Eubank Steve Collins. I'm like, wow, he's obviously a legend. You know, we know he's an aloof, weird character who's walking around, but he's sitting at the bar with these like knee-high boots on and like a sheriff's badge with on a like a mad top. But obviously he's a bit eccentric, so he's one of the great eccentric British sports characters. So I thought I'll go and speak to him. Anyway, he just lives on his own planet. He's on like a completely different, just sitting at the end of the bar on his own, talking to the barman, like just a weird guy hanging around this big exclusive,
mad crazy posture,
just mad guy, just a mad guy, and nothing's really changed. Like when you like I think everything with him is a kind of, he's like on this show, it's like an act all the time. And honestly, you'll have to watch this American Irish talk show. It's the most,
only seen the clip.
Because the interview is as weird as him. He's as weird, the fella's as weird. He's sounding like he's talking about feeling off his ego and feeling his energy. And Eubank's fuming that he's mentioned the ego because he said, well, I've purposely left my ego at home today, and he's trying to explain like what he could.
His ego's fully speaking.
Just going, but people are like, who've watched it are going, that's the weirdest TV I've just, what the fucking hell is that on the telly? What have I just seen?
I think he's comical, mate.
But anyway, he's talking about the ego and how he's left his ego and all that. And you know, he's sitting there with a sheriff's badge. People are going, well, you're sitting with a fake gold sheriff's badge. What are you on about? You've left your ego at all. Like, what are you on about?
I've seen that.
Did you see how weird it was?
See how he explained himself?
How weird's the other fella who's interviewing him?
His ego explained himself. It was weird.
Bizarre. When people start talking about themselves in the third person, it's always a thing you have to realise they're absolutely warped in the mind. Yes. Start referring to yourself in the third person or as your ego and all that, absolute mental illness. But again, he's not speaking to you. Eubank is not speaking to his dad. Chris Eubank and Eubank Jr. fell out. I heard Conor Ben saying that to him, saying, look, at least I get on with my dad, at least my dad's still my mate. So it's a weird relationship because Chris Eubank, I think, was adopted. The dad was from an orphanage, and obviously, you know, but he's obviously been a boxer, and them kids have grown up, and obviously I think one of the brothers died prematurely. So I don't think it's like where it looks like Conor Ben and Nigel Ben are like really close, really tight. I'm not sure it's the same with the Eubank camp. But also, who do we think wins that fight? Well, because Conor Ben's going up 2 weight divisions to fight him, isn't he?
Is it 2, is he? Oh, God, that's big.
But Nigel Ben was saying Conor walks around that weight anyway, but Chris Eubank Jr. is clearly going to be the bigger man. You know, he's fought Groves, he's fought James the Gale, hasn't he, Chris Eubank? So he's super middle.
Yeah, but I still think it's... I don't know, but I might get getting... Nigel Ben and
Liam
Chris
Smith
Eubank.
For me, Liam Smith beat Eubank. I know that it's 1-1.
Better than first one, but Liam Smith's
second
fight. Second fight weren't Liam Smith.
I don't think Liam was 100% for that fight.
No way, he wasn't even 50%.
So I'm saying it's 1-1 now. Right? Yeah. Now you'd have to say if Liam Smith was fighting Conor Ben, that'd be a tough fight to call.
Yeah.
I'm not. It depends which version of Liam turns up. Liam turns up in the first Eubank fight. I think he beats Conor Ben.
Yeah,
Second one, I think Conor Ben wins. But when you look at it, you go, Chris Eubank's been beat by a lad. It looks like Conor Benn might be a little bit smaller than Liam, but he's not like massive smaller. Whereas Eubank was a bit taller than Liam in the fight, and Liam still dusted him in the first fight quite easily. So I think Conor Benn will win.
That's my reasoning.
When is
this
this
Liam
weekend?
Smith?
No, it's a few months, yeah. I think Conor Benn will win, and mainly just that he's on a tear in terms of, I know he's been stopped for the drug violation, and he's had that disruption, which can sometimes disrupt the fighter, but it might just freshen him up. But before that, he was on a right tear of momentum, beating Allegri, and he was flattening people left, right and centre. Yeah. So, and let's be honest, Eubank got easily beaten by Liam Smith first time. You'd have to say, he's not really done much since other than beat a below par kind of Liam Smith.
Yeah, then that's why I'm edging towards Ben for this fight. But again, did you see the other weekend's fighting? I thought that was brilliant. I said the first fight wasn't.
Oh, Bivol,
I said the first fight wasn't my favourite fight, but that fight, the second fight.
So do you think Bivol won?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Honestly, like you just go with the flow. If the wind blows one way, you'll accept it. So I think Bivol won the first fight. I think the second fight, he wins the second fight, but the between both fights, there was very little between the two of them in both fights.
But even in the stats of the fight, you're looking at punches landed, punches thrown, all that. Bivol in the second fight.
Well, he found a way of staying away from that big right hand.
He just danced
his
around
movement, his legs were phenomenal in terms of engage when he needs to engage. I thought Bivol, as good as he was in the first fight, found another gear in the defeat. Now, did you see Berbatiev's response afterwards? Didn't really shake hands with him, and
no, I didn't really notice that.
He said he didn't want to fight him in the second fight. He said Tahir Al-Sheikh made him fight, and obviously, it's going to extra time. Tahir Al-Sheikh made him fight the second fight based on the money, and obviously now they're going to have a third fight to see
who's got the.
But again, Canelo will be sitting out there now. He's signed with the Saudis, probably wanting another go at Bivol because Bivol beat Canelo.
Yeah.
Tank Gervonta Davis fought at the weekend and took a knee in the fight, which was strange.
That's weird. So they got gel in his eye or something.
But again, you had the electrician step in and fight Shakur, who's linked with fighting Tank.
Nuts. Yeah.
So you know what? Did you watch the boxing, the Saudi card?
I watched a little bit of it.
I watched the full card.
I thought it was a great card, really good. It would have been better,
Callum
obviously.
Smith fight was outrageous.
Callum Smith, Joshua Boati was the best fight I've seen this year.
Outrageous.
Well, sort of that one round was meant to be one of the best rounds of all time.
But the scorecard was a bit mad at the end. But I mean, it was.
Do you want to do a little extra time quiz?
Yeah, the 119, the 110 card was mad. Yeah.
Do a quiz, come on, because I want to see how many answers you give to Josh. To be fair, you got that Isaac Schalke pretty quick.
So
extra time quiz.
First to five.
Laptops down.
First to five answers. So whoever
you got to shout out.
Right.
Soz John.
Yeah.
Got to be quick here, lads. Got to be quick.
You've got to shout it out, the answer. You ready?
Katie Price. Yes.
No, it was actually Harvey Price.
Go on.
Right. I've got quite a few questions here, so let me see. Who was the inaugural? Oh, sorry.
Okay, now.
3 players share the record for most Premier League red cards.
Yeah.
Name them.
Patrick Vieira, Richard Dunn.
Richard Dunn, yeah.
Jamie Carragher.
No.
Red
Someone
cards.
mad.
Patrick Vieira,
Kevin Nolan
Richard
or someone?
Dunn.
No. Patrick.
Julian Dix.
No.
I'm trying to think of someone who's got
Premier League.
Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah.
Duncan Ferguson.
So
Joe got 2. You got 2.
Yes.
Josh got 1.
Richard Dunn, yeah. Duncan Ferguson, no.
Vieira, yeah.
He had about 9.
Vieira had the most, didn't he? 13 or something.
How many Duncan have 9 or something?
Duncan had a few, didn't he? Slotted with Stefan Freund, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a few.
Strangled a few.
There was a few.
The fastest goal scored Premier League history.
Is Brian
Who
Dean.
was it?
Ledley King against Bradford.
No, Southampton player. He's Irish.
Kevin Long.
No.
Shane Long.
Shane Long.
Yeah.
You can't have that. Why would you say that?
I know, I couldn't think of his name, sorry.
You're giving us clues there.
Say that.
Oh yeah,
I
like
said it in my head. Oh, Shane Long.
I'll have half, I'll give him half.
No.
Southampton, I remember the game as well. It was against Wolves.
Which country won the first ever World Cup?
Uruguay.
Yeah, Uruguay, yeah, good lads. Good. Won the first 2, didn't he?
Josh just got that one.
First 2.
Yeah, because there was only 2 teams playing in a certain city, wasn't there?
Who won the first AFCON?
Everton.
So 2 countries have won it twice.
World Cup.
The World Cup twice. Who are the 2 teams?
What do you
Brazil.
mean twice? Brazil, obviously.
Argentina.
Italy.
Germany?
2
Brazil.
countries have won the World Cup twice. Can you name them?
No.
Well, loads more than that.
Twice back to back, you mean?
Back to back.
Defended it.
I don't know. That's just what it's said.
Germany
Must
have
be
won it.
defended it, mustn't it?
Brazil won it
Yeah,
4
well, fuck
times.
that question off because it's
Fucking hell,
confusing.
and Rob,
It says,
No.
it says France and
Fucking hell,
Uruguay.
Weakest link.
France
Germany and
Uruguay.
France.
Back to back.
Must be back to
That's
back.
what the
back to
question
back.
says.
Yeah, we'd have got that if you'd asked it properly.
Spain? Didn't
Back
Spain
to
win
back?
back to back?
No.
No.
France.
France
There's loads
back.
that have won it twice.
Yeah, Germany. Brazil won it 4 times.
Yeah, I'll
Who,
see if any of you
Spain?
know this one. Can you name the former Germany international who went on to become a professional wrestler in WWE?
Goalkeeper.
The keeper.
Goalkeeper.
Robert Enke.
No,
he killed
fuck off,
himself, didn't he?
Nah, yeah, he's probably.
I was just thinking of German goalies.
Oh, the goalkeeper.
It is someone mad like that though at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's, you know what, it's like you're on the right lines with
Yeah.
the name, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you a clue.
Goalkeeper.
The second name starts with a W.
Where?
German footballer.
God, the goalie. The German goalie wants to be a wrestler.
Wanker?
I do know this as well, you know.
Yeah,
So
you'll
I
know.
knew it was a- I knew it was the German
WWE.
style.
WWE.
Did he
Can
play
I
in
get out
England?
the
What's that with
I think he did, yeah, I think he did. His first name's... Do we say his first name?
No.
Robert?
What's his first name
No.
begin with?
Jan?
T.
Timo. Tim.
Lad, it's right on you.
Timo.
Tim.
What's his name?
Oh,
Tim
yeah.
It's a
Tim,
W, but you could probably pronounce it with a V.
Tim.
No, never heard of him.
Venk. It's not Tim Venk.
Just give me,
Go
you're
on.
not getting it, is
Can't
it?
have that. Tim Weiss.
It's Vice
Oh,
now.
lovely. No, in there,
No, I got that.
Can't have that.
Cambo said every
Neil
German
Poir.
name under the
Yeah.
sun. there,
Tim,
apart from-
Timo,
apart from two
Maurizio,
right
Hitler.
Adolf.
I didn't know the German cat though.
Yeah, well, but you didn't know his name, did you?
So
So
I'm 41, my brain's gone.
you should have said because I don't watch WWE. Clearly you do.
Right, Josh is on 2, Joe's on 3, Cambo.
I'm on half.
Half.
And first to 5 is it? Because
Yeah.
the second half kicked
Second
off
half
here
kicked
for
off,
the
yeah.
for the clock.
What minute now?
Yeah, the extra
Just
time.
kicked off.
90 plus 9 seconds.
John Everton this fucking Lucy Ward, didn't she?
Oh, mate.
No, I'm alright, mate.
Messi wore the number 30 at the start of his Barca career, but is now synonymous with number 10. Which other number did he wear for Barca?
14, 18, 14. No.
So he was 30, he
yeah.
had another number, and then he went to 10. What's the other number, the middle number?
Did he wear like a 17 or a
No, I thought it was
19 or
18,
something?
mate. I thought it was 18.
But I need specific answers, but
No.
you can't just be shouting
sorry.
numbers out.
11?
10.
No,
Did he go? He wouldn't have wore 7, would he?
no.
17.
There's a few players
No.
who wear it. I've seen the picture of
No.
them with a few players.
I thought you didn't know that straight away. mate.
24.
No.
No,
Iniesta was 24.
so was you.
Iniesta wore 24, I think, for Barca. I've never seen him with any
Well,
other number
I
on
haven't.
10.
I haven't.
What am I?
Someone said it, but you were just shouting
18?
numbers out. No.
I thought it was 18.
19.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I
Oh,
thought
now
really
you've
got
said
that
it.
straight away, mate.
Now you've said it. I
Fucking
can
hell,
remember.
oh yeah.
Can you
I
see-
can't remember
can
him
you see
19.
it?
19.
You can't?
I remember him
I
being
can.
30.
I-
I always
I'm
remember
sure he
Diddley
scored
Man
that goal.
season.
betting on the
Yeah.
spread
Scored
of
that
goal
goal
scorer
against,
shit.
Come on for
It was
Ronaldinho,
a-
didn't
it was
he?
a
When he had the
breakthrough
30.
season.
But he had 30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
19, yeah, I can
19,
now, yeah.
yeah.
I can, yeah. I can remember him in it, yeah.
Ah, well.
Ah, well.
Who is the only player to win the Champions League with 3 different clubs?
Ronaldo.
Seedorf.
Yeah, well done, Cambo. Got one.
Yeah.
Good. Told you about it.
Name the teams then. Name the teams.
AC. Real.
Inter.
Was it Inter as well? No, it wasn't Inter.
Ajax.
Ajax. Fucking hell, Ajax.
Ajax of Amsterdam.
Yeah. AC, Real and Ajax.
Finidi George.
3 people
Gets
have
Campbell
won
back
the
in it.
Champions League a record 3 times as a manager.
Ancelotti.
Who are they? You
As
have
a
point, you
manager?
can have a point for each one.
Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Guardiola.
Zidane.
Zidane's
Guardiola,
two,
yeah, and Zidane, but Ancelotti isn't one.
Capello.
3 times.
Arrigo Sacchi.
No.
Heleno Herrera.
No.
Champions League.
Closer to
oh, no. Closer to home. As a manager. Bob
Deschamps.
Paisley.
Yeah. Bob Paisley.
Bob Paisley. Fucking hell, come on.
And I was thinking, that was half an easy
So
question.
who was the 3 there then? Bob Paisley.
Bob Paisley,
Guardiola.
Guardiola and Zidane.
Zidane.
thing
Two
you
to
Josh
me.
said Guardiola, you said
Can't
Zidane.
believe,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
know.
can't believe he didn't get any there,
No.
lad.
Mongo.
2 points there, Campbell, go. Joe's got 5.
Does that mean he's the winner?
Right, go on and give us
Carry
one
on,
more for the
carry
road.
on.
Give us one more for the road. This hasn't got...
Has Ancelotti not won 3?
I thought he won 3.
Must have.
Yeah, he must have
Unless
won.
this is outdated. But I don't think it is.
AC,
It's
oh no, you
2025.
robbed one off him for AC Milan,
No, he
but he
won
got
in
one the next year,
2007.
yeah. I'm saying you robbed one, but he got one back.
So he's
He
won.
must have won one at Real, and he
I'm not
obviously
having
not...
me Ancelotti shout there, by the way.
I'm trying to think where else he's won it though.
The Euro 2000 final between
Did he win
France
it
and
with
Italy.
Juve?
You listening?
Go
Yeah.
on. France and Italy.
The Euro 2000 final between France and Italy was decided by golden
David
goal.
says a guy.
Nice. That was rapid.
He's a pretty.
Was that a pretty easy question?
Yeah, it was, to be fair.
First ever golden goal.
Was that? Did they just can it after that?
No, was it? That was the silver goal, wasn't it? The first golden
had
goal
silver
was
goal for
Bierhoff,
the-
wasn't it?
Did he have
What's the
silver
silver
goal?
goal?
It was for
When
the
Oliver Bierhoff scored against
Silver
the
goal.
Czech Republic.
What
90,
was-
Euro 96.
Hold on,
No,
what was
that
silver
wasn't
goal?
it. There wasn't goal, was it?
Silver goal where,
Oh, where
is
you
where if
scored, you
scored,
threw.
and they got to
Christmas.
half
Oh,
time.
right, yeah.
Probably deserved.
Ah, that's what it was, yes. If you scored and got to
Half-time,
half time, it was done.
That was Bierhoff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In
Oliver
96.
Bierhoff. He was a good player.
Did you see that clip on there going around on Twitter this week about a couple of cans?
No.
It's like
Couple of beers?
A
The
couple of
American one?
beers, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of
Shane
beers.
Gillis.
Like the best ever.
Oh,
the
medicine
Saturday
you've ever
night
had.
thing,
Yeah,
no,
it's
I've
the
seen
best
it.
Saturday Night
supper
Live.
you can have.
Funny,
Yeah, it's fucking boss.
Yeah, he is
I've
funny.
seen it before.
That Shane Gillis
funny,
is,
maybe I'll have
you
to
know,
watch that.
have you seen his Netflix special?
Yeah.
Oh
No.
my God.
He's-
Listen
Where
to
to
me,
what?
please.
He's like you, innit? He's
Just watch
been
it.
Nicked. He's been nicked.
Yeah, he's been nicked by he's like you. He said he's got Down
Got Down
syndrome in his
brother, he
family.
says.
He
Yeah.
went, you know, he's looking at me. I got nicked. I just dodged it. Honestly, watch it. He does a sketch
Yeah,
with
I'll have a go
Trump.
with that.
He does a brilliant Trump.
I like that Bill Burr, the American comedian as
Bill
well.
Burr's
The ginger
funny,
fella
yeah.
looked a bit like
But
Robert.
that's comedy though, isn't it? A little bit close to the bone.
Yeah, it's
God,
got to be.
yeah.
Gotta be, innit?
Listen,
A little bit offensive.
It's gone
Do you know
now
what
though,
I
hasn't it? Because it's got like mainstream stuff's gone a bit woke and it's not always funny
listen,
anymore.
Andrew Schultz, he's the one for you. He's brilliant.
Yeah, but if you watch that BBC, that used to be alright. Now it's just full of like woke nonsense.
Which
Which
BBC?
one?
The
The
BBC at the fucking London thing. the
Oh,
comedian
yeah,
and
no,
stuff that
yeah.
they do.
Just to get told what they can,
Yeah, it's
what they can and
but
can't
that-
say.
What
don't
about
they?
that woman who got heckled and then fucking completely Karened? She was
yeah.
a US stand-up comedian. She got heckled and then just went complete like Karen mode. Screamed at the fella, but then got all the support off everyone.
But Dingo done it. Peter Kay.
Oh yeah, someone came out after Peter Kay, didn't he?
Someone-
He
someone
said she
heckled
looked like
Peter Kay
Lisa
and
Riley
Peter Kay
out of
kicked off. And kicked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah, but
He said she
something
looked
happened.
like-
I didn't see what happened, but
Did
obviously
you look like Lisa Riley?
he said she looked like Lisa Riley out of Emmerdale.
And then kicked it out, got the school
And-
guys,
and-
booted it out.
She weren't happy at all. Come up here then, and obviously tried to do him afterwards, saying like he's made fun of her, and like when you go to a comedy show and you sit
Yeah.
within
A foot
Um,
away from the stage.
the lighting, if the lighting goes on and you can see you, the comedian,
Yeah.
there's always the likelihood that you're going to get absolutely eviscerated if the comedian decides whatever it is you've got on or you look like is comedic material.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the price of admission. And
That
I
was a
can't
goal,
get how
Johnny, you bringing up there?
I can't get how you go to a comedian show and he takes the piss out of you and everyone laughs at you and then you start
Kicking off.
kicking off afterwards.
Who was that?
I'm alright.
Oh, yeah. I'll go in there again. Got another one for his extra time, innit?
For extra
For his extra
time,
time.
Oh, I'm alright, John. Thanks. There's not a foul.
He's made
give it
a,
now.
when I see players rolling like that, though, they don't half make a deal of it.
But it's off the ball. It's late. It's a foul, isn't
I
it?
like him, Delap. I think he'll nick a decent move, won't he?
We're to United.
Everton.
I think he'd be ideal for Everton. I think he
an
stinks
Everton
of Davy
number 9,
Moyes.
All day.
Absolutely pen and inks of Davy Moyes.
Well, there's been rumours of Souček going to Everton, isn't there?
Just wind up in it.
That's such
Him
an
and
Everton
Kufal.
player.
That's that. He stinks of Everton.
Thomas Suchet.
We went.
I think the lap's too good for Everton.
So they beat us last year. I think it was last year, yeah. And he scored a fucking worldie. But we were watching him just play a cam and I'm going, I
Sad,
cannot
isn't he?
believe how bad he is.
He's
Yeah.
effective, though,
But
in
he
both
just
boxes,
box. That's all he does. He just runs.
Oh, listen, he comes up with vital goals for you,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's 6'7".
He had
or
that
whatever he is.
season
Yeah.
where he just scored.
Yeah, I had
about
me
6 or 7
fantasy.
headers. Same.
Yeah.
It's about my
Like 5
distance
mil
here. I
fantasy
don't know whether
centre
I'd want to do the side, but this is my distance here. Little flip one stepper. If he's got enough.
Usually got left Peggers going for it. Oh,
Straight
down
at
his
the keeper.
throat.
Straight at the keeper. What
Connor
that
Townsend.
Robbie Brady took a good free kick, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a beauty.
For Preston.
He's got that, to be fair to him.
What was the furthest you'd
Got
ever gone in the FA Cup, lad?
5th round.
5th round.
Or it might have been quarters. Get beat by West Ham in the quarters one
City.
time. Yeah. Sunjai
Remember
got
you
sent
scored
off,
that
I think.
belter with one of them miters against, was it Charlton, was it?
I don't know, that was a Prem game. That was
that
a
a
Super
Prem?
Sunday Prem game. Sunjai got sent off, I think, and I nearly done my cruciate bag, but actually only just nipped me in my meniscus. I was lucky. I landed on the ball in the same game. But yeah, the furthest I got was, I'm sure it was quarter-final, West Ham. Might be 5th round, quarter-final.
Is that when they went on to play Liverpool?
They played Liverpool, the famous Steve Gerrard final at Cardiff, where he scored an incredible goal.
2006.
Thinking about it the other day, like, there was a thing on at Gerrard when he was younger. It must have been on Sky, and you forget how fucking good of a player he was. Like, what he'd be worth in the modern game. Like, everyone going on, I think Bellingham's a great player, but I don't think...
I honestly think Gerrard
no
is
way,
the
yeah.
most complete player of all time.
Who do you think's better, Bellingham or Gerrard?
It's not even
Probably
close.
Gerrard, yeah.
It's not. I'm not being biased.
But by this age, Gerrard, Bellingham's achieved way more in the game
You're not asking me.
already.
You didn't ask that question, no.
I know, but I'm just saying, Bellingham's a hell of a player.
Who's achieved most, or who was the better player?
I knew I had someone for you that I forgot as well. You know, a while back, Hendrik got rolled out at Real Madrid and he looked subby. And they were saying he's the new Wayne Rooney. And I was quick to poo-poo him. I was like, he's shite, he's another...
Yeah.
I seen his goal he scored the other day. And I was like, he's like Romario. He's only 18. He takes a ball on his thigh the other day, left thigh, and puts it away. I know Romario was right-footed or predominantly right-footed. But the way he took the ball and the way he finished it, I was like, there's not many who can do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go early on this fella. I think this Hendrik is the new Romario. I think he's going to be that good.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a little short, like Gerd Muller. Romario, little squat,
Like them mad
fat
leg-shaped
thighs,
legs.
yeah, big ass, little turning circle. I don't know whether he's got Romario was like mentality of like.
But Romario was a wild cat.
He was a wild cat, but I'm saying that mentality of I'm going to score at all costs, like and you know Ronaldo. If you see on the Ronaldo R9 proper Ronaldo documentary, him and Romario's energy where Romario knows Ronaldo's getting all the finger, but still thinks he's the best player in the world, and that's why when he gets left out of the '98 World Cup because he's coming in short of injury, there was too much pressure on Ronaldo, which ultimately ended up with him having a bit of a seizure, didn't he, before the final? Obviously, France go on to win that, but again, Romario and Ronaldo going in. Romario was the king in USA '94. Ronaldo was only the prince. Never played the game, but was in the squad. In the next 4 years, Ronaldo turns on the afterburners at Barca and obviously PSV. But people forget Romario had already tread that path to PSV before Ronaldo and to Barca before. And this Hendrik, because they were talking about him being like Rooney. I was like, he's fucking not like. And when he came on for Brazil at Wembley, I was like, he looks a bit podgy and he's 17, little. And then a ball got played through the other day. It was Real Madrid against somebody. He must have been playing in the league game. And he takes the ball on his left thigh, but just kills it. And it just sets everything up for the left foot. And the way he just finishes it with the outside of a foot, I thought, fuck me.
Have you ever seen
and
the
that
clip
front
of him?
line, Rodrigo, good player,
player.
massively underrated. And then you've got Mbappe, who's finding his feet now. And you've got
left side, though.
Vinicius, who's as good as anybody, and Bellingham, who's playing as well as anybody. And add into that now Hendrik. I go, fuck me, that's some talent they've got.
So Champions League this year, if Liverpool can squeeze past PSG, which is...
I didn't know who's going to win the Champions League.
Real Madrid.
No.
Atletico.
Barcelona.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking that the other before we said about Liverpool. I thought Barca's
the one who's decided the draw. They're going to have to beat Bayern, who were beatable.
Bayern are beatable.
They're going to have to beat who else on that side of the draw? Leverkusen on that side of the draw.
That's a big tie though.
Dortmund are on that side of the draw.
We just got Madrid.
Inter Milan are on that side of the draw. So
Inter are good, you know.
Inter are decent, but I'm saying I think Barca, Hansi Flick, German. All right. Lamine Yamal and what that Barca team did to Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. Yeah. Not many teams do.
Yeah.
They're still in contention for the league. They've got a good 9 in Lewandowski. I think they've got the better side of the draw. I think Liverpool or Real Madrid are going to have to beat each other, which should be really a final because they're probably left in the competition, Liverpool and Real Madrid are probably the best two teams, albeit
feared.
Barca fingered, blasted Real Madrid. But you'd have to say Real was still kind of finding the feet as a team. You know, players were out of sync, out of confidence, which is not the case now. It looks like Real Madrid, as you're getting into the business end, are starting to get that bit of momentum.
And you said Mbappe's coming into his own. I mean, there's talk. I mean, I seen last week there's talk of Mbappe winning the Ballon d'Or. He was fucking bag of shit for the first 2 or 3 months of the season.
Well,
So I'm
again,
not
if you
having
play
that.
for Real Madrid and you do really well, it gives you an advantage. I think the Ballon d'Or.
Mo Salah, if Liverpool win it
I
this
think
year.
whoever wins,
Well,
I
if
think.
Liverpool only win the league, though. If Liverpool win the League Cup and the league, is that enough for the Ballon d'Or?
I think if say Barca win the
If you win the
Champions
league and
League,
the Champions League.
I think Lamar will win the Ballon
Whoever
d'Or.
wins, if whoever wins the Champions League goes a long way towards, like, as Rodri points out, because they won the Champions League and obviously,
Edged it.
I think that just gives you that, and the
Yeah.
European Championships over the Copa America just give Rodri that edge. But again, Salah's, and this is leads us back to the kind of Carragher point. He was kind of saying, well, the AFCON's, even if he wins it, it doesn't kind of
doesn't
put
make
you
a
in the Ballon
difference.
d'Or conversation.
No, Champions League does though.
Well, so again, this is where this big stink, this big smell's been kicked up, because Carragher was out. They were kind of talking about whether Salah was Ballon d'Or, and again, the brown people got the niggers in a twist in terms of trying to get Carragher on the back foot for not accepting that the AFCON won't be seen as a major tournament. Point in case that winning the Ballon d'Or for Mo Salah will be underpinned on Champions League, as opposed to being underpinned on whether or not Mo Salah converts Egypt into African Cup of Nations winners.
Yeah.
And again, you know, you win the Copa America and you're Messi. I don't think you know that massively affects whether you're winning the Ballon d'Or. I think winning the Champions League is
It's the big one.
the biggest factor in that
it's-
award getting handed out.
I mean, look at the times we're talking about there just in the last couple of minutes. It's the most competitive, innit? Everything's on the line. It's the biggest games in the world from quarter-finals
Don't forget,
onwards.
Benzema won it when he was on hiatus from playing for France. So Benzema became Ballon d'Or winner because Real Madrid won the Champions League, not because he was doing it on the international scene. By the way, his country were going well, France were going well, but that wasn't a factor. The fact that he'd had a fallout with Deschamps and wasn't getting selected for France didn't factor into whether or not he won the Ballon d'Or. So actually, their criteria, just by that, says that Mo Salah can win it, regardless of what happens on an international footing.
But let's not forget, Mo Salah is not in the top 10.
Half time, no, 1-1.
Mo
Half-time,
Salah
extra
isn't in the
time.
top 10 players in AFCON, according to the CII or whatever they have, CAA.
Yeah, because Egypt, and I don't think Egypt are like the flavour of the month in Africa. I think they want them really to
But
come from
s-
deepest, darkest
But
Africa,
still,
don't they?
yeah, but this isn't that kind of racist in its own sense?
Well, cheers, John. The Egyptians are kind of, I don't know, it's going to sound bad to say this, but they're kind of more Middle Eastern, aren't they? Like
Well,
and
they
obviously-
are, but they're still African, and he's playing the AFCON, and Mo Salah was in the AFCON, and I know he didn't do well, but if you...
But Israel don't play in the AFCON, do they? And so the next country up. I'm just saying, like, Israel don't play in the AFCON. They play in
that's
Europe.
That's not...
It's got a border.
Should they
Gaza
though?
borders
Why
fucking
is Israel
Egypt.
in Europe?
Israel borders
Why
fucking
is,
Egypt.
why is Israel?
Why is Israel in Europe?
That's a good question.
Cyprus just across the
Madness.
water is, but again, it's just the way it like when,
Not
like
the full
Lebanon
landscape,
aren't,
though.
Yeah.
Syria aren't, Iraq aren't, but Israel is.
Yeah.
They play in the Euros.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
So, but again, they're actually a Middle Eastern
What the
country.
fuck?
But there's loads of teams who are not in... There's teams who...
I've only just worked out.
I know.
Yeah, I've always... That's what it clicked onto me as well. I didn't even
So I'm
realise
saying
that.
to you, so this is what I'm saying to you in terms of like
Do you mean like the...
like Africanos, like South Africa, right? South Africa, but like Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
Senegal, Nigeria, you know, Burkina Faso, whatever. But actually, Egypt are off the continent of Africa. They're actually in the Middle East. They're not actually on the African continent, are they?
Yeah, no.
And yet they still play in the AFCON. But then Israel don't, who are technically, they've got a border with it with Egypt.
Yeah, I know, it makes sense, but still they do...
It'd be fucking murder if I think the African countries don't win it. So I think Egypt winning it is like a fuck you to Africa. Do you know what I mean? Like the African countries want to win it. So Nigeria win it the buzzing because it's an African country in terms of how they see it. Senegal or Ivory Coast or, you know... So I think there's a lot of pride in keeping the African Cup of Nations in Africa.
The
I think if Egypt win it, which they have been strong, to the African countries, it seems like it goes out of Africa.
Then what about Morocco?
Well, they're North African, aren't they? Algeria, Morocco.
But that's only a little bit long from Egypt, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's still on the same continent, though, isn't it?
I know, but so is Egypt still a little bit further along. That's all it is.
But you'd have to say, you have to go past Saudi Arabia, like to...
No, Egypt before Saudi.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it actually borders...
You've got the Red Sea borders Egypt and Saudi.
You've got...
The Red Sea.
So you've got Egypt there on the...
Egypt there, and then you've got Gaza at the top, which borders it a little bit. Then you've got Saudi around that side.
Yeah, but obviously, if you're coming from Alexandria, from the Med, you've got the Suez Canal, you've got Egypt there as well. Egypt goes all round. It starts in Africa, but it's also in the Middle East.
It does go into... Because you can literally... I've been to Egypt, you can see Saudi Arabia from where that...
You can see Cyprus, like you know, it's quite close to everywhere. Egypt, it is in a unique position. It's why it's called the Middle East, because it's kind of in the middle. It's in the middle of the Fertile Crescent, if you want to get into.
But it's the furthest across. You got Morocco when that goes into.
But this is what I'm saying to you. I think for Mo Salah to win a Ballon d'Or, I don't think Egypt win the AFCON is important. I think Liverpool win the Champions League, winning the league, and I'm scoring 40 goals. Goes a long way towards getting it. By the way, if they win the African Cup of Nations, then but I don't think it's absolutely imperative. Whereas
winning the Champions League,
I think for the Ballon d'Or winner is, you know, the massive part of whether you get the award or not.
It's mad again because
Mo Salah this year has been the best player in the world.
But he has, but
so he should win the Ballon d'Or.
Statistically.
Well, he has anyway, just watching it. If you said now, if you could have any player, you're playing a cup final tomorrow, any player in the world.
Van Dijk.
Yeah. Right, any player in the world in your team, who would you take?
Well, you need,
most people...
It's goal scorers you're going
Van Dijk,
for.
a lot of people would say Van Dijk.
But you go, you listen, goal scorers, to win you the game, you're going for Mo Salah.
So most people would go,
because he can...
Do you know what? Fucking Salah. Because he scores every game pretty much.
But he can have an absolute stinker.
Oh no, we know he can.
If Salah plays for Tranmere, he absolutely tear it up and score 6 a game.
Yeah, because he's fucking unbelievable.
It's whether they actually get the ball to him, isn't it? And
that's what I mean.
Going on. But I'm saying, you'd fancy him to... He's the form player on the globe at the minute. Listen, there's be a few who won't be happy with that. But at this moment in time, in terms of his goals and his output and the availability to select for selection every week, he is the number. If you said pound for pound attacking players on the planet, I'd have to have Mo Salah at number one. Like Haaland's been brilliant in past seasons.
Not this. Not you're talking right now. Yeah, I'm talking right now.
Mo Salah is the most dangerous player on the planet from an attacking standpoint, in my opinion, in the world right now.
Yeah, he is.
Liverpool have coincided. They got Van Dijk, who's arguably one of the best defenders in the world right now. That's probably the reason he's sitting top of the table.
Yeah,
and in a cup final.
But it's not rocket science to say if you got the best defender and got the best striker, you're going to be there in the conversation for the best trophy.
I think Van Dijk gets away with murder.
Van Dijk. Honest to God, Van Dijk is
plays unopposed.
Van Dijk is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is unbelievable. He's easily the best defender I've seen at Liverpool.
In terms of the contract situation,
skimmed him. He's
Van
a good
Dijk,
player, you know.
He's a good player.
Signs.
I reckon Van Dijk's done.
Oh,
that's a pen. That's a pen.
That's a great run, that, you know.
He hasn't given it either.
Oh my God, he hasn't given it.
I don't think it's a foul. I think he's looking for it.
Well, he's looking for it, but he's being clipped 100%.
I think he's looking for it. I think he's dived. I think he's looking for it.
There's no VAR, is there?
I think he's looking for it. Van Dijk, go on. Hang on. Let's think you on your Van Dijk one.
Van Dijk is, for me, as an individual performance-wise, he's the best. He's been Liverpool's best player, most important player. But because Salah's individual performances haven't been great, but then he scored.
So if we're saying legends of Liverpool, Kenny Dalglish, Steven Gerrard as players,
Mo Salah's got to be in the conversation.
Mo Salah is going to be, if they win a league, which we expect them to do this year.
He's going to be in the conversation.
And if they obviously convert a cup, one of the cups.
Yeah.
In terms of what he's won in his time at Liverpool, the journey he's been on,
I don't think the League Cup matters.
Is he considered? Could he ever be considered the best ever Liverpool player?
Yeah, there's no reason why he can't. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think at most days with 2 more seasons.
Does he have to sign a new deal to be?
Yeah, I think at most days 2. If he does the 10 years, he's done 8. If he does 10 years and he wins another league or Champions League, then it's hard to argue he's the best ever Liverpool player.
Ever.
Yeah, hard to argue against that.
Well, you'd have to ask. Carragher doesn't see him in the same kind of light as Stevie G.
Because he was not. It's a hard one, because if you're asking me who is better looking at the play, who was better, Gerrard or Salah? I'm having Gerrard in my team. He's the best all-round player.
I know, but I'm saying in terms of
what he's done.
In terms of what he's delivered at the club.
Yeah, it's
like,
Mo Salah.
As mad as as good as Steven Gerrard's been, as mad as it's going to sound.
He didn't win a league.
Never won a league.
I know.
So, that's always going to be, I think, an advantage for Salah, that not only has he won one league, he looks like he's going to win a couple more, and maybe more if he stays.
It's a nonsense argument, because like saying George Best was crap because he never won a World Cup. You're only as good as who you play with as well. So
no, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Why
Because
isn't it?
Northern Ireland are not expected to win World Cups and very rarely qualify. Liverpool are in the league every year that Gerrard's there.
We were never in the conversation bar 1 or 2 times while he was there.
Yeah, but just starting the league with Liverpool's finances, Liverpool's support behind him, is a chance of winning the league. So every year Gerrard started for Liverpool, you've had a chance of winning the league.
Yeah, that's like saying
George Best winning the World Cup for Northern Ireland, put into that comparison, was a ludicrous thing to put in.
No, I'm saying it's you can't judge a player on his
You're saying to me,
team's
Steven Gerrard not winning the league for Liverpool is the exact moral equivalent of George
who was better, Steven?
Not winning a World Cup.
Who was better, Steven Gerrard or Fred?
Well, what's that got to do with George
Best?
Best?
Because Fred won more because he was at United.
Yeah, but we're not. You're on about George Best winning the World Cup.
I'm just saying because it's because George Best had no chance to win the World Cup because he never played in it.
Well, it's fucking hard to win something if you don't play in it. And if you
that's only
Gerrard
because
played in the league every year.
That's only because
his
team were crap.
Yeah, but Gerrard played in the league every season with Liverpool.
He had no chance because he was at Liverpool.
What the fuck's he on about? What do you mean he had no chance? He was in the league every season with Liverpool.
Doesn't mean because you're in the league you got a chance of winning it.
He's mentally ill.
Okay,
he is mentally ill. He just can't get his head
I can't agree with you on this one.
Can Everton win the league next? Can Everton win the league next season?
Can, yeah. Highly unlikely, but they can.
Right, okay. Let's say highly unlikely.
Everton are more likely to win the league next year than Northern Ireland are to win a fucking World Cup. That's for sure.
I was speaking hypothetically, obviously, but I'm saying you can't just judge a player on. That's outside the box. Judge a player on how good or bad he was by his honours won.
Yeah, but when you play for a club of Liverpool's stature and you don't win a league title, it has to be considered in the annals of history if you're comparing people to the best ever and the best players ever. Well, unfortunately, to be considered Liverpool's best player ever and have not won a domestic title shows you how good Gerrard was. Shows you how good of a player he was, that he's in that conversation. Now, I'm saying, your Souness's and your Phil Thompsons and your Emlyn Hughes and your people who've won titles and delivered European Cups for Liverpool, Phil Neal, Ronnie Whelan's, they're all probably going, well, hang on a minute, we've delivered way more silverware than Gerrard, but yet Gerrard's still considered a much better player. John Barnes, for instance, won more league titles than Gerrard. Never in the conversation for Liverpool's best ever player. But when he played for Liverpool,
he was
probably in a poor.
He was for 2 seasons. He was England's best player.
Well, I'm saying probably in a poor spell for Liverpool at the back end of a kind of trophy-laden era. Barnes was arguably the best player in the country, if not the world.
Liverpool's 88 team,
or definitely the best player, and carried Liverpool in the late 80s.
Liverpool's 88 team, I'm going to say it was our best ever team.
Go on. Why?
Because you had Steve Nicol in that team, who was unbelievable. Yeah.
Okay, Grobler in goal.
You had Hansen at the back.
Yeah.
You had.
Do you think Hansen? Do you think Hansen was better than Van Dijk?
If you asked me 12 months ago, I'm edging Hansen. You're asking me now, I'm saying edging Van Dijk.
Konate and Van Dijk partnership as opposed to Hansen and Lawrenson. Loads will argue Hansen and Lawrenson were better. Because people say how good Lawrenson was is missed because of how good Hansen was.
Yeah, he was.
But back in them days, they weren't athletes either, were they? So
no, but Hansen was an athlete. Hansen was like a fucking he was like a giraffe. He would just go through them.
The game's changed that much. It's hard to decide. Obviously, my era is that era. So Lawrenson
and I'm going Lawrenson and Hansen.
Who's your fullbacks? Phil Neal. Who's your fullbacks? Phil Neal. Steve Highway's a winger.
Lawrenson didn't stop talking.
Lawrenson was a Carragher.
Unbelievable.
He was a Carragher type of player. But I mean, I'd go with. He was better than Konate. Konate's great, but I'm going with Hansen and Lawrenson.
We'd have to say Phil Neal's a better right back than Trent based on his European Cup haul and his England caps.
No, that's no question for me. But
left back Kennedy.
No, Steve Nicol.
Nicol left back.
Nicol played left back for that season in a bit. Yeah.
You had Mahman.
Mahman was Beardsley. You had listen.
Jan Molby.
Jan Molby just come into it. He was there, but I mean, he was
Aldridge, Rush.
Rush was the one.
So I look at the 9 position and I don't think Liverpool. I think
But
Darwin
we had
Núñez or
Dalglish.
Jota and as like Rush.
Jota.
Isaac reminds me of Ian Rush.
Yeah, he does. He's got Ian Rush was. I'd say Isaac was. I was going to say they got a bit more. Ian Rush was energy running behind. Ian Rush like Torres. Ian Rush is very much like. Remember Torres used to play running behind that. But I think
I from what I remember of Rush, I had him more of a panther than that. Torres was a bit like a.
Torres first season Liverpool
I
was Ian Rush.
I had
for
Rush
me.
more of a like a more of a.
No, you put Ian Rush in goal. He's through on goal and he's finishing. He's slotting. There was no question.
But again, I get this feeling off Isaac now, like the pen he takes the other day. I don't think it's a pen, by the way. I think it's a soft pen. But the pen he takes and then the finish after for the goal that's disallowed, and his finishes the other day where it's left right foot and it's clean, it's crisp. I'm just like, if Liverpool had anything about them, you've got to win the league this year and force Newcastle to give you that player.
I reckon he's going to be worth 150.
I don't think it
120.
matters here, because I think if Liverpool turn up in the mode they're in, and Fenway Sports Group, and they fucking make a big play for them and say, look, we want to build you, we want to put you in the annals of our club's folklore. I think they're a club, them and Real Madrid are clubs that can make
you
that
legends.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
Liverpool 20 years ago weren't. I think Liverpool now, it's like Rooney when he's talking about Man United the other day, and he's saying, you know, the top players want to play in the Champions League. How Man United are going to attract top players from Europe when they're 15th in the league and not getting in the Champions League? And he's right. Whereas Liverpool now, the stadium's on the up, the club's on the, like, there's a feel-good factor. They look like they can be dominant for a decade here based on, you know, new manager and young lads in the squad.
But
new contracts
this
getting
is a
signed.
big summer for us, though.
If Liverpool sold Darwin Núñez to Saudi for 70 mil and then go and pay 150 and force Isaac out of Newcastle, you're looking at them and Real Madrid and going, it's just going to be a shootout for the Champions League every season, because
Liverpool need. I still think we need a couple of fullbacks.
Well, you're going to get a new one at right back because Trent's going to. I think Trent's already gone. I think Van Dijk signed, and I think Salah signed, and I think they're holding off on the Trent one because I think the blowback for Trent they're worried about. But I think Trent's off.
I don't think they'll announce not until the season's finished either. I think they're not going to announce.
I don't think they're going to do that. They've kind of put a.
They would have done already.
They put a hold on all the shenanigans and the nonsense because it was clearly creeping onto the park, as we've seen with Trent's performances. But they've managed somehow with the press machine to get a handle on that. And I think to be fair to the manager, his communication, apart from the sending off at Everton where we got under his skin and he lost his cool, showed his truth.
I don't think it's so true. I just think every manager loses the cool like that now and again.
No, listen, the only time I've seen Arnie slaughtered, discombobulated, was at the old lady when we got under his skin. So you have to give the Evertonians credit for absolutely shaking you to the core. And by the way, in a couple of weeks you've got that coming at Anfield when Davy Moyes is undefeated in 7, blue and white army comes to town and dust you in your old stadium.
Listen, we'll be at that point where it doesn't matter, but I do.
It will matter.
It'll matter more
if you
to
want,
Everton.
we can just put the clip up when you go to 2-2, which got over 150,000 views, where it clearly matters to you. Tarkowski's last minute equaliser clearly mattered, even though we didn't win.
What did just going back to Isaac, what did Newcastle pay for Isaac?
€75, 75 million.
75 mil, so I don't even think 150 is getting him out of there.
Well, he'll have to force the move.
He just downs tools and said, I'm not playing, I'm
He'll have to force the move. If Liverpool come knock on, he's going to do that though.
But Newcastle's the kind of club you could
but you don't want to mess with them Saudis, lad. Don't mess with them Saudis. I'm telling you, they're going to be, once Newcastle flip over into, they can start spending the financial money that has handicapped them in the last couple of years, having to sell Elliot Anderson, Minter amongst others. I think Newcastle are going to be a force. That first trophy, Newcastle win the League Cup, could be their Chelsea Abramovich moment. Like, I think Eddie Howe's a good manager.
Is FFP just going now?
No, it's been
who knows? City decided look like they beat them Chargers, so that just made them mockery of it all.
I think they won 215. What the rumour is, they've been found guilty. But
lad, we can't take your rumours serious because you said before Patrick Mahomes was sleeping with transgenders. This before we got rolling. Then we asked him. We said he's one of the star quarterbacks in America. We need to get proof of this, and subsequently spent 20 minutes looking. And then we're still saying, I can't remember. I don't know where I've seen this.
It wasn't
clickbaited and then spreading false rumours about the star quarterback sucking dudes off.
No, what they've said, what's going to
Clickbaited.
happen? They've been found guilty. There's no charges being placed on them as of yet because they're going to appeal.
What?
There's no.
Patrick Mahomes, you never
No.
showed us any of this.
Not Patrick Mahomes, City.
Oh, City.
But then they're going to get away with like a fine and a transfer ban and a suspended points thing.
City, from what I've heard on my rumour mills was City went out and hired the best 10 lawyers in the world at this specific point of law, so that they only using number 1, but so that the Premier League
Couldn't
can't
have
use
the rest.
2,
Yeah,
3,
no.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9.
Yeah,
They have to use
that's
number 11.
exactly why they've done it. Yeah.
So obviously in lawfare, money talks, and City's have decided to play the long game with the Premier League, and ultimately looks like they've won because Everton have been deducted points, Forest have been deducted points, and for what looks way more cooking of the books, City have got away with this. Actually gone on and spent 150 mil this summer, this winter.
Yeah, no, there's the difference with Forest and Everton.
Nothing for
City,
it.
Forest and Everton actually showed they failed FFP. City haven't. City have showed they've manipulated FFP. So that's the different case on it. So City have cooked the books with like
so
black
Everton and
sponsors
Forest pretty much have admitted the mistake,
admitted the guilt,
and
yeah.
been punished for that.
Yeah.
City haven't, and have got away with it.
City have said we haven't failed FFP. Here's our books. Have a look.
Yeah.
And the book said no, but it's
Yeah, but
these emails.
they have, because there's just millions and millions and millions of pounds missing, unaccounted for.
No, it's not.
City are at it here, and
we all know City are at it, but it's.
But they're going to get away with it.
But the first thing they tried to do is discredit the emails. What that they got off that WikiLeaks kind of fella, whatever he was. The Portuguese
it
kid.
came via the German newspaper.
The Portuguese kid, yeah. So what?
We're at penalties in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
Penalties. I would have to say, Sells is a better
I'd
keeper.
say Forest. Yeah, I'm going to say
So I'm going to go for Forest on
Forest
pens.
on pens for me. Yeah.
Sells is a better keeper, and Forest have got a better team on the pitch of individuals than Ipswich. But I'm going to go Forest on pens.
But yeah, if someone said the other day about Liverpool, I wouldn't even want a trophy back if they got found guilty. I think it'd be a bit tainted.
Who will be getting one?
But that doesn't matter anyway, does it?
If you're going to come and give us a trophy back.
They're not going to take your memories back and like.
That's me
the
mean. It's
week you've had
it's
after winning the trophy. And
they're never going to take that where we were
Yeah,
City
players are
the
nice.
City
Probably
Villa
it's all
game
spent
and
the
Liverpool.
bonuses.
Yeah, it's done. No.
Honestly.
the fans have had the holidays. They've had, you know,
Yeah,
the
they've had the
celebrations and
memories
all
of
that,
it.
like,
Yeah, they're never going to
doesn't
take
matter
me.
You
if
know
it's
what
a
though?
heavy enough,
In defence for Liverpool, I thought they did egregiously because of COVID. They never got the chance to celebrate the first ever Premier League win in a stadium with the fans in the asterisk season. And credit to them, at least this time round, they will get the opportunity. You know, obviously the longboats and the docks will be full with the Viking invasion from Scandinavia coming over for the game. But I would imagine the fans who are able to get tickets, you know, the
few scousers.
the few scousers that are in the stadium will really enjoy that.
They'll be there for the parade though.
Will they have no, it's only European Cup, you get a parade. FA Cup, European Cup.
What?
You can't have a parade for winning the league.
Of course you can.
I don't know about that.
We did.
Oh, then again, yeah, I suppose you would. Yeah, actually, yeah, thinking about it. Sorry, yeah, all right. Well, listen, do you know what? You deserve it. If you win the league, you deserve it. I can't begrudge you a parade. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. European Cup, when you won the European Cup and you come home with that, and it's obviously shuts the city down. Like,
yeah, no, listen, this league will, because as you said last time, we couldn't celebrate it properly last time. So it was like you had a few hundred fans outside Anfield.
No, listen, you
See
deserve
the
it.
box? Did
When we won the league?
Josh come down with us? Was that good?
No, when we won the league in COVID.
Yeah. Like the dog.
Yeah.
Josh was there.
I
Josh
wasn't even there.
Carragher was there.
Carragher was there.
Was this was the illegal after
Oh, I didn't see
after
that.
hours party for the Liverpool's title.
Listen, it was that good. The Evertonian sat on the table. Josh right there said how
What
good
table?
It was saying how good it was.
I wasn't there.
Where was it?
Down.
At the docks.
Whereabouts?
You obviously weren't
Right,
invited,
like
mate.
the Beatles
You weren't invited. That's when you were Tranmere fan.
That's my new office. There, no, the Beatles music, the Beatles statue is my new office.
I
Looks
can't
my
believe they
looks
know,
on
like,
that.
it was
So
shocking.
anyone wants to launch eggs at the window, that's the kind
Nice office.
how
Play
far
Champman in there.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
looking over the jellyfish and Fred the Weatherman's old man.
No, not there. I'm on there.
So going back to the parade, do you think they'll rag off the team that won the league 3-4 seasons ago? The clock on another bus?
Yeah.
I'm like, will they go back and can they posthumously give you that back?
He always said he wanted to celebrate it with the fans, and if we win the league this year,
Why not?
3 buses.
You know what? You usually do what the fuck you want, don't you? So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise us. Like if you want to go, like, the main thing is we've stayed up and we're going into.
Going down.
I'm just gutted the season's ending because I reckon we could have made Europe. You know, if Moyes had to come in a little bit earlier.
Robbed of that penalty against Man United with the trajectory.
Have you heard?
Could have made the top 8.
Again, I don't know how serious this is or not, but I've seen Beto's link with Real Madrid.
Fuck off, lad.
You've been looking at Cambo's news sources there.
You've been looking at my TikTok.
What a front three that would be.
It was
Vinny.
next to the Patrick Mahomes story on
Vinny, Mbappe and Beto.
in the Daily Sport.
Here's
Daily
a shout. I've seen this
next to
today.
Man Sniff's bike seat.
I seen Vinicius was linked to Saudi for like 350
Geordie
million.
bum by giraffe.
So
Or zebra. No, Geordie bum by zebra.
Geordie bum. Newcastle fan had his kids on a safari. That was the one, lad. A Newcastle fan had his kids on a safari and fell out the jeep and the zebra bummed him. Imagine working with that paper. It must have just been like, right, what can we make up this weekend?
That would be the laugh.
Would have been rad.
Do you know, I have to get, we're going into the pens now, Wood's first pen. I have to draw you back. It's round us back nice as the show always does too. You went off air before we were talking about aliens. Do you believe in aliens? And you were saying, yeah, you do.
Well, I do not believe we're the only thing in the universe.
So do you believe a Newcastle fan unfortunately fell out of a safari vehicle and got bummed by a zebra?
No, but I think it's daft to think that we're the only thing in the universe. I think you're
no,
stupid.
that's no question. You think we're the only things on Earth?
On Earth?
The only human, yeah.
I think I'd go with we're the only people on Earth.
Ipswich keeper looks small here.
Pen.
Ipswich keeper looks tiny.
There's no doubt that there's obviously aliens.
Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, load it down.
Go and sit next to
Are they on Earth? Are they amongst us? That's the real question.
I don't think that. I think there's a lot of unexplained things that have popped up in the skies and that.
And when I say that, I mean, are they coming down? Are they visiting?
No.
In your opinion, no.
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 It's been a lot of sightings this year, lad.
I know. I mean, I think there's been a lot of sightings every year, but I mean, this is if it's going to Congress and then they're holding meetings on it, then there's obviously been stuff gone on.
Well, there you
but
go.
I don't think that they're walking about amongst us. No.
Well, so you believe that there's other forms of life in the universe?
I think there's other forms of intelligent life in the. I think there has to be.
Whether they've actually visited the year or not.
If you believe how big the universe is.
Yeah, it's just probability there. You're just running numbers. Good pen
again.
Good pen. So you believe in sentient life in the universe, like some kind of higher...
Yeah, I think there's more intelligent life than us, definitely, yeah.
But they haven't visited yet and they haven't made contact with us, or they have?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about it. I've not got a clue.
They either have or they haven't?
I don't know.
I know you don't know. I'm not asking you to say you've seen it or you haven't seen it. I'm asking you what do you think they have been here and made contact with us, or they haven't?
I do believe we've had crafts crashed and we've reverse engineered stuff.
So like Roswell, the Area 51 stuff.
Stuff like that,
right.
Mate. Yeah.
I've just said...
You said they walk amongst us? No, don't think they walk amongst us.
I said, are they amongst us? Have they visited there?
They haven't visited,
so
you're
not seeing like a Men in Black situation where there's loads of little things. Yeah, all right. So what you're saying is they've actually been here and crashed here.
And I think we've reverse engineered some crafts.
All right. So again, your logic doesn't make sense to me, because if you're saying that there's intelligent life in the universe, fair enough, probability, law of averages, I would imagine there will be.
Yeah.
If they've been smart enough to actually travel here with a fucking spaceship of some form, and it's crashed here, then surely you have to give them some credit for the fact that wherever they've been in the universe, they've managed to get here, level of intelligence. Yeah. Why would they not fucking talk to us, or why would they not be able to shapeshift or live amongst us if they're that clever that they can travel across galaxies and time zones that we can only...
To come here,
theoretically,
which is
they probably can.
Dust in it,
then why would you come all the way here and not fucking speak to the fucking chimpanzees that are causing havoc on the planet? Wouldn't make sense. If you're going to come all the way here, you might as well interact with the population.
I don't think if
so Captain Cook sails to Australia. It's like I'm getting off and going, I'm not going to fucking speak to anyone here though, because I don't recognise.
I think if we went to
sail my ship into the coral reef and get off.
I think if we went to another planet, oh, fucking hell. I think if we went to another planet, we would.
Well, we are on other planets?
No, if we went to another planet with it had intelligent life form on that planet, and we had the technology to get there, we wouldn't interact with them.
We can't even speak to each other on this fucking planet, and we all can kind of understand each other's language. Do you know what I mean? But like Japanese people to American people to Zimbabwe people to Antarctic people, they're all completely fucking different. All have a completely different language. Hieroglyphics to Arabic, right into the modern alphabet's completely different. We don't even speak the same language in many ways.
Well,
and what chance have you got spreading that out across galaxies further out? Like it's
Unless
highly improbable that
off and then come back.
Well, again, come on, El. I want Elliot to score here. Come on, lad.
Another great. There's been all of them being great pens, you know.
Forest, yeah, 3 good pens.
I'm Ipswich. They're all great pens.
So the big thing here is, if they have been here and crashed, the likelihood is, at some form or fashion, we've intermingled with them.
No, I think they were dead.
How would they have crashed though?
Yeah, but even then, knowing what you
women drivers.
Even then, but they wouldn't
have in the alien race.
Even then, if they've been here and crashed, you'd have biological tissue samples that you could maybe lab engineer. They're talking about being able to resurrect woolly mammoths now based on the DNA.
But
surely you have an alien's body to be able to do.
There was one crash in Mexico, which
no, that whole narrative though that there was a crash. How could you travel? Like literally travel at the speed of light, billions of light years.
I agree with that, and then crash on the earth.
Like, do you know what I mean?
It's a load of bollocks.
That narrative's a load of bollocks. There's no way it crashed.
We'll never know, will we? We'll never know. They said they're going to release some of the stuff, but I don't think they will.
They've released loads already. They've released
they just released the stuff that you fucking that you can buy on the internet, that you can get on the internet. So if you go down, there
was a crash in Mexico where the fella who got the body to the hospital and that, he died like 24 hours later of radioactive poison or something, and that's fully documented in government.
I guarantee there's loads of cranks in that spot though. Like
there's millions of cranks in every spot.
You want to say you've been visited? I've seen a few of these cranks who say they've been visited by aliens.
Yeah, I don't believe any of them.
I think if aliens are going to come down, you're probably one of the last fuckers on Earth they'd speak to, because you've got virtually nothing to offer.
But imagine aliens coming here and landing and said, like,
take
me to your leader. And you're like, and Donald Trump comes out like that.
Smart enough to come all the way across the universe to visit Earth. I'm imagining you're not going to be talking to some fucking hillbilly. Like, you're going to go and fucking speak to the main oppos, aren't you? You're going to go and speak to the main people.
Yeah, but it's Trump, but he coming out like that. Hey, guys.
I don't know. I don't think there's been any alien visitation. I think the man in the sky, alien in the sky, is just an absolute load of codswallop to control people in an era of you need people to...
some of these pens, mate.
You need people to be controlled. So whether it's Zeus, Apollo, or Mayan gods where they sacrifice
controlled
hearts.
if you just believe some of the...
Well, it is just another form of mind control. So Jesus or Muhammad or whatever it is, Zeus, as I said to you, Apollo, or the Mayan gods where they cut your heart out. It's just all a form of control and keeping people dumbed down and somebody in a hierarchical position. And I think extension of that now is alien life form, and the reality of it is in the universe there's other forms of life. It's just whether it's sentient or intelligent enough to get here and make contact with us, which I think is highly unlikely, albeit I have to put a caveat in that of I do think if we were going to alert higher forms of life in the universe too, as I think the Oppenheimer, the Manhattan Project, and unleashing that force of separating atoms may well have alerted them to it, because since the atomic explosions of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, UFO sightings have
massively through the roof,
exponentially. But also,
and there always seems to be sightings over.
Cranks
have jumped
exponentially, and then you give the cranks internet, and they're all allowed to connect and fucking falsify nonsense. And as I say, nobody, with all the cameras we've got, no cunts fucking captured it on camera other than a few.
There's loads been caught on camera.
I never fancied them.
Out of all them pens.
It's a good save, It
was a good save, but
still
it's bobbled a couple of times before.
The lad looked nervous.
Was it the lad?
No.
Taylor.
He's hit it on the floor. It's hit the floor a couple of times.
Yeah, he doesn't. Is it clean? Does he give the keeper a chance?
Oh my! That's
been a good game, that though. It's been one of the best games over the weekend. That.
Forest are dark horse for the cup.
Yeah.
Forest are the dark
Is the
horse.
draw,
way
the
they
draw
play.
is after this, isn't it? We're staying on for the draw.
The draw was just last night.
Did the draw be made, has it?
Go on, who have we got? I didn't see the draw.
Sells just been moaning about the ball in the last penalty. The fucking ball.
He doesn't get it clean, does he, Taylor? I ran into him in Turkey in the summer. I was trying to watch a City United game. Found a boozer, a little Irish pub to watch. I was sitting there and he tapped me on the shoulder. The lad there, Taylor.
Yeah.
He was at Barnet, weren't he, before he went there?
League,
Peterborough. He's a nice kid, actually. He's a City fan. Oh, was he City? Sorry, he's a United fan. It's a bad pen. It's a terrible pen.
Before he's in.
It's a terrible pen. Doesn't get in the corner. Should have gone. You always go.
It's hard. Well,
Opposite
It's
side
hard
for
when
me.
it's your
Yeah.
last pen everyone scored.
I know
You
it's
know,
not a
you
good
look-
pen, is it?
the lad looked nervous, to be fair.
That
I
goal
thought it
was
was more in
just
the corner. It's
stink.
an easy save for the keeper. But again, four good pens before that from Ipswich. 5 really good pens from Forest, if I'm honest. 5 really good pens.
Come on, let's see the draw.
Bournemouth City, tough game for City. That
Yeah.
Brighton Forest.
Preston Villa.
Preston Villa, fancy Villa.
Fulham Palace.
Fancy Palace. What?
Me?
That's
Wide
it.
open it. You got a fancy
is
City
wide
for the
open.
cup, haven't you?
I
City be favourites.
Palace City final.
Do you know what? I think
Forest
Villa.
though.
I think Villa.
Bournemouth can
I
turn
think
it on.
Villa could be a good
I
shout.
think Villa, but then Villa got pumped by Palace the other day. So Palace,
Yeah. It's wide open.
was it you said Palace?
Not
said
now
Bicep
Mateta's
Palace.
out for 16 years though.
Well, after Mateta's
He's lost his ear.
with his grazed eye.
Mateta's 25 stitches in his head. Honestly, I've never seen anybody fucking whinge, and then people the way they were going on, I'm like,
That a wig?
so many uphill gardeners in the game right now who were like wanting that kid signed died
No,
for the tackle that was innocuous. In terms of like he's kicked him in the head. Right?
innocuous in terms of he kicked him in the head.
Kicked
6
him in
foot
the
air.
head, but it's as innocuous as I can get. He kicks it at belly height and then or chest height, and it goes into his head. It doesn't kick him directly in the head like Mane's assault on Ederson, and nobody was making anywhere near this amount of noise for Mane on Ederson.
Man against the ball as well.
Paris saying it's the worst tackle he's ever seen. I'm like, is he joking? Did he not see Roy Keane's tackle on Alf Haaland,
Oh.
which is 50 times worse than that? Because it was premeditated and it was malevolent in its intensity to cause damage.
Gerrard
the
used to
keeper
make
just ran out to kick the ball.
Gerrard made
Gerrard's Naismith tackles.
one a month tackles like that.
But again, because it's it's Millwall and because it's
Yeah, checks on as soon as it's out.
Yeah. Vinnie Jones on Steve McMahon, remember that?
that was
first
he
minute.
didn't even get
Speaking of first minute as well, Marquis.
I was going to say that, coming back to that, John Marquis getting sent off for Shrewsbury
that
against
was nuts. That's going to get overturned, hasn't it? Because
I don't know
he's
whether
done that.
it's
That weren't
harsh.
as bad as Gordon's. Anthony Gordon.
No, he's done that to him. And
It's the
and
fastest sending
yeah.
off,
and
isn't
and
it?
he's
13
gone down.
seconds or
He's gone-
something.
He's just strong armed him, and he's gone
Yeah.
down holding his face.
But again,
Yeah.
it's
That's
a
all it's
6-pointer at the bottom of League One, right? Because Shrewsbury are fighting for their lives at the bottom there. And was it Peterborough?
Peterborough.
Yeah.
Peterborough have just got to the EFL Trophy final after coming back from Wrexham during the week. But they've got a young team and are struggling down the bottom of the division and are fighting for their lives themselves. So first minute of it, balls kick long, there's going to be a challenge. To send somebody off in League One where there's a bit more physicality than the Prem. Like, I get if it's a swinging elbow or John Fashion. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm saying I get if it's a John Fashion on Gary
Mabbott,
Mabbott, a swinging arm.
Yeah.
You got to walk. But I think the defenders coming steaming in to get stuck in and head it over the back of him. Marquis is holding his ground. There is a bit of contact there, but it's not enough to send him off in a 6-pointer.
Yeah.
It was very
But
hard.
you can tell it was
Now he's suspended for the Bristol Rovers game on Tuesday, which for both teams is another
It's a
6-pointer,
six-pointer,
and
yeah.
he's been a main source of goals for the Marquis. So
you can tell it was a black because as soon as he's done that to him, it's him just there, and the kid's gone down holding his face, rolling around. He's trying to get him sent off, and he's done it.
right, any questions?
Yeah.
What are we going 10 minutes before we go? We're going to go off
10
at
minutes.
half
Go over
past.
half past.
There has been a couple of questions coming in, non-alien based.
Non-alien based.
The Laps next club, we've already gone through that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Too many people.
I think there'll be a
many of the
load
teams
looking to
would
take
love
him.
to
I'll
take
tell
him,
you
yeah.
I'll tell you who would be interested. Who
Arsenal.
I think will take him.
Arsenal.
The best recruiters in the division.
Brighton,
No.
Brentford.
Best recruiters in the division.
The best recruiters in the division. They had the best January.
Villa. Get rid of Watkins.
Took Morgan Rodgers. Watkins is coming to Watkins is
Yeah,
coming
get rid of
towards the
Watkins.
end.
Yeah,
The Lap,
I know what
full
you
of
mean.
energy. They've just shipped John Duran.
They've got 70 million sat in the bank there waiting
I
to.
could see their recruitment. That Monchi their recruitments. Look at what they traded in the they
John
traded
Duran.
Buendia, John Duran for Asensio and Rashford. Like
Asensio, some player, you know.
Like an Onana was a good take for them.
Did you
You
see
know what I
that
mean?
touch when he
Tielemans on a free
free
transfer out of they're a good side.
Tielemans he's been great this season for them.
They are, in my opinion, the dark horses in terms of the trading was Monchi and Emery and the job they done at Villa. Because Asensio's come in straight away, won him the game last time out. Rashford looks like he's got a bit of a spring in his step and wants to prove people wrong. So you've signed there. John Duran's a talented boy, but clearly money motivated to go to Saudi, and he's causing havoc out there. But you've signed Champions League winner in Asensio. Play for big clubs, set the tone in your dressing room, and then another big player in terms of Rashford, in terms come from a big club. And actually, the gamble was: is he wired in? Does he really want to?
It looks like he is.
And he looks like he is. And you know, on the back of that, I think they've got as good a player as any in England, probably the best midfielder in England at this moment in time, playing in England in Morgan Rogers. I think he's the best player in the country at the minute. I think he's gone past Cole Palmer
in that number 10, in that
in terms of the way he plays the position.
Oh, so good.
Top four Prem player.
But again, and we have to say, we have to then start asking questions about the Pep Guardiola transfer policy at Man City, because Morgan Rogers is another one who Pep has let out the building at Manchester City.
But he was doing it at City in the kids team as well. He was doing.
But again,
one of the best
Cole
players.
Palmer. So you're looking at that going, City now, if they had Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers in the side, I think De Bruyne's done, right? I think De Bruyne, since he came out the team and grew that big stupid fucking quiff, has never been the same. He has not been the same player since he's got the air longer, and I don't think he can. I don't think he's coming back. I think I seen him talking the other day about saying his hamstring is like wet tissue paper. Well, if the player's talking about that, that isn't a good thing to have in your mind when you're having to condition your mind and your body to play every 3 days. Now, I think he can pull out the Belgium. I think he'll come away from the Belgium national team because it looks like a bit of a poisonous culture with the Thibaut Courtois robbing his misses and all that's gone on. But I think De Bruyne now is Saudi bait. I think he's baiting himself out to Saudi.
Yeah.
You're
right. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think. I mean,
to get him a big last payday.
But I think his fall off in the past 12 months, 18 months, you'd even say, because the last season he wasn't like up there. That sort of ended the debate.
Phil Foden was player of the year last year, but would you swap Phil Foden for Cole Palmer today?
I think Cole Palmer's got more about him.
Would you swap Phil Foden for Morgan Rogers?
Yeah. Right now I would, yeah. I know Morgan Rogers is the best. Right now, I'd swap Phil Foden.
So who from the Man City team gets in who from the Manchester City team gets in the Liverpool team today? Does Ederson instead of Alisson?
No.
Haaland.
That's pretty much a given, isn't
it? Does any of City's defenders get in the Liverpool team?
I'm looking at defenders.
Would you take Gravidal over Robertson?
Ruben Diaz.
I'd have Diaz, Gravidal. I'd have Rodri. I'd have Haaland.
Savinho.
I wouldn't have Savinho over Salah.
Marmoush looks sharp, yeah.
I wouldn't have Marmoush over Diaz or Gakpo. Not yet.
Phil Foden over Curtis Jones.
No, because I'd have McAllister and Szoboszlai with Rodri.
I have to finger as well from when we claimed fucking Curtis Jones was better than Mino when Mino got called up. I think that's been proven this year. No one's really mentioned that. Yeah, Mino's not been seen. Curtis Jones, the 15th. Curtis Jones is about to win a title and becoming a bigger player every day for Liverpool.
You've seen him when we played Man City. Curtis Jones, he was
but again,
outstanding.
If we're saying now, Manchester City players who get in Liverpool start 11.
1, 2,
go on.
3.
Give me
Gradval
and Diaz for Robertson and Konate.
Yeah.
All right.
Rodri.
So that still leaves Van Dijk and Trent. Yeah. Alisson in goal.
Yeah.
Go on, midfield, Rodri, all fit obviously.
I'm having Rodri, McAllister, Szoboszlai.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Foden in there?
No Foden.
No De Bruyne?
No De Bruyne.
No Bernardo Silva?
No Bernardo Silva.
This is like right now.
This is right now, yeah. This is as of this.
And then front three, Salah,
Haaland, Diaz. Just
Haaland gets in there.
Yeah.
So what's that, 5 on 6 in it?
4.
Haaland.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 4. 2 centre half left back.
Centre mid, centre forward.
No Foden?
No Foden, no. I'm having McAllister and Szoboszlai have been like...
Well, again,
yeah,
it still comes back to this. Would you trade Foden for Cole Palmer?
No. I'm going with Cole Palmer.
Currently, you can't, can you? No.
I'm going, but even
I
though
like
Cole
Cole
Palmer's
Palmer.
fell off...
I
the
would
past-
off this season. I think Foden's been shite this season.
He has, even though Cole Palmer's fell off...
And I would have Morgan Rogers this season over Foden.
Morgan Rogers
think
is...
Morgan
you know
Rodgers
what? A
being
big
good
shout
player.
to say
All
he's
come from City
arguably...
as well, you know.
He's argued this past 6 months, Morgan Rogers is better than Cole Palmer. and
City
Foden.
could have had all three.
Morgan Rogers capped for England, I take it.
He's capped.
He's
I think he's had the
Yeah,
cap,
He's had
but
in the
yeah.
last squad,
he
yeah.
should be starting.
I think he's going to certainly be putting pressure on like your Conor Gallagher's and all that, isn't he? I know he's at Atletico.
Yeah, but like Guardiola, you could have had all three. Like if he just would have been a
Imagine
bit
that.
more patient. Like, did they need to sell them? They sold Rodgers for what, 5 mil to Middlesbrough.
It's a buddy, yeah.
Palmer 40 mil. Looks a fucking bargain.
But again, this is the thing about it is like, you know, buying talent in, the best talent in the world is a skill, but nurturing talent is a skill also. And you look at what Guardiola did with La Masia and obviously Messi and Iniesta and bringing that group through, Piqué and all that. Why has he not done it with Morgan Rogers and Sancho and Cole Palmer and the lads that City have had in there? Because clearly City have had loads. Why is he not? Is it because he's not from Manchester? Is it because he's Catalonian and he's had that
Could be the-
affinity to the academy?
Or you can't afford to have the
Or
patience.
do we have to say
in the Premier
that?
League?
Look, unfortunately, the best manager who's been in the last 10 years here is Pep, and even he's got weaknesses, and one of them being is he keeps letting good players out the fucking building who 5 years down the line are better than probably some of the players that he's obviously he's brought in.
Also, it'll be much easier to nurture talent in La Liga because out of the 19 other teams you're playing, you don't need full strength for three or four playing the teams.
And if you look at in the Premier League,
you
our
can't.
team in 17th, they've got 3 Brazilians who are starting for Brazil next week. Wolves.
Who's that? Wolves.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like listen,
That's how strong our Premier League is.
well, the Premier League now as it stands is Liverpool have won the league. City and Arsenal are going to fight it out for second, in my opinion.
It can be
second and third, City and Arsenal, and then there's a fight on for fourth and fifth, sixth, seventh as a knock-on.
Could be any one of 7 teams.
Yeah, and then you've got the bottom 3 are down, and
bottom
Wolves are the only club that could come back to them. And then after that, I think it's West Ham, Everton, or whatever. I think they've pulled away now. United, they've pulled away. They're not going to get back to them. So it's 3 from 4, but Southampton are gone. So it's really 3 from 2.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, if Wolves win another couple, it's 3 out of 3. You'd 3 up with the 3 down.
I reckon that this fight for 4th is probably one of the best run-ins we're going to see.
Okay, so just before we finish, then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Go on.
You've named, right, who gets 4th place?
I'm going to go early. I'm going Villa.
I'm going Forest.
Right? Okay.
Who you going?
Forest. Go on.
You got Chelsea, Newcastle,
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
I don't know, it's fucking
It's
tight, isn't it?
hard, isn't it?
I would love Bournemouth
But did you see that?
to get in there,
but
yeah.
Did you see
I'd
that
love
stat?
Forest to stay up there, but
Arsenal are closer to
I
Villa.
honestly don't know.
Is it Villa who's in 10th?
Is this another
Fulham
thing
or
to make
Palace?
Liverpool look better than what they are? Because you're
Right,
only 13 points
Arsenal
back.
are closer
Well
to
done, mate.
Villa in 10th than they are to Liverpool
Do
in
you know what I mean?
first.
Okay,
Scary that.
to finish then,
Yeah, I'm going Forest
Big.
4th.
Champions League last 16.
He's
starts
non-committal
tomorrow.
there. Hang on.
Yeah.
I've gone early on Villa. You said Forest for 4th.
I don't know.
You're going to have to give us a
Don't
team.
He just has to
Give us
have
a
fence there.
know. Okay, I'm going to
Them
go
splinters out your ass. Give us a team.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth for 4th.
Yeah,
Alright.
okay, but yeah, could be.
Anyone? Noah, what are you saying for 4th? Toon for
You going
4th.
for
Yeah, and I might say Newcastle as well. To be
Newcastle, Cassis. Who finishes 4th?
Everton.
We can't make it now. We're going to run out of games. On form we would, but we're going to run out of games. Oh,
Good lad.
right.
Right, okay.
And who
Champions
gets
League.
relegated? Everyone who's in there at the minute.
Bottom
We're all
three.
saying we all...
Yeah,
can-
bottom
three.
bottom 3.
Yeah, it's done.
Who wins the FA Cup?
Palace.
Man City.
Palace. I'm going.
Gotta be City.
Lechi Hauser.
City.
Forest.
Forest. shout
Don't mind it.
Be boss, but I've got to say
Could be
City.
good.
Who wins the Champions League?
Liverpool.
Barcelona, I'm going.
Real Madrid.
Liverpool.
Cass.
Champions League.
Right, there we go. You
Okay, no, all right. And then
Oh.
lastly,
It was
Champions League starts last 16 tomorrow. I'm going to fly through the games. Who's going to get through to the next round? PSV or Arsenal?
Liverpool, do you mean? Oh,
PSV.
Sorry, PSV.
PSG usually play, mate. Not everything revolves around you.
I'm
Fucking
going
hell.
PSV.
Okay.
Against Arsenal?
Yeah.
No chance, Arsenal.
Arsenal are going to score.
Arsenal bullied them.
Real or Atletico?
Real.
Gonna be dirty.
That's going to be
That's going to be a hell of a game, you
I'm
know.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Tomorrow.
I am going to
Or
go
Wednesday.
4th
Real Madrid. I have to go Real Madrid.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow.
Beautiful.
You got
Atletico beat them last
Liverpool.
time out.
Who else you got there?
Liverpool, PSG.
Club Brugge
Liverpool,
against Villa.
PSG.
And Club Brugge Villa.
Tough game for Villa, that, you know.
Hey,
Club Brugge beat
PSG are flying,
Atalanta.
by the way.
PSG have won the last 9 or 10 in a run.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How many
So what are you
winning
saying?
run
Obviously
streak are they
Liverpool.
on now, PSG?
Oh, I don't know.
Fancy
They'll be like
PSG
4-0
causing
after
upset,
20
lad.
minutes.
Do you know what? I just I'm going to go PSG. I think Liverpool have had
it's
it
a
all
tough
their
game.
own way.
It's a tough
Yeah,
game.
it is. It's,
I think the
They are
boy they've
flying
signed from
at the minute.
Napoli has complimented them, and
He's such a good player, that's why.
and
Kovic.
oh, Dembele. We should.
do you know
Dembele?
the only thing is
Yeah.
though,
Hit
I'm
his
looking
prime
at
this year.
their back line going, I just don't think they can stop Mo Salah.
Yeah.
And
I
Slozabay running on from the fucking
the first
goals.
game-
He's the fittest man I've ever seen.
think
Oh, he's nuts, isn't he?
Machine.
think it's a
Insane.
tough tie at Paris. I think Liverpool will
Second
do well
leg
to
being
come
at
away with the draw,
Anfield.
to be honest,
Second
but
leg
it's
at
just-
Anfield's
it's just the
massive
damage
because
and
Let's
the
not be
safety
happy
at
that
Anfield.
you
like
go maybe
their
draw
atmosphere. No, if they get getting beat, they'll smash a coach up. They'll fucking set all flares off. They'll set fireworks off
Pay
in
the
the
referee.
hotel the night before. You know the dance. You know
Bum
what
the
they're
ref.
like.
Yeah.
So if the second leg was in Paris, I'd fancy Paris. But I think the second leg being at Anfield, I think Liverpool will
If you
progress.
come away with the draw, is a good result.
I don't
think
mind
on
the draw.
Wednesday.
But also you got to remember Liverpool got bad blood in Paris. It's not a nice place for them to go because of what happened in Paris in the last European Cup final. So I don't know. It's still open. I would think Paris Saint-Germain have to take.
We did.
You did.
82.
Paris Saint-Germain
Was it
have to
82?
take an advantage to Anfield for the second leg.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's over. If Liverpool get a draw or win, see you later.
Yeah, I agree. Bruges or Aston Villa?
I'm going Villa.
I'm going to say Club Brugge for an upset here, which fits for me winning Villa finishing in the top 4 because I think they need to get out the Champions League early to finish the league strong. Club Brugge are the dark horses. Gasperini's Atlanta have riding high in Serie A again, having a good season. They won the Europa League last year. They're a fucking good side. Everyone was wanking over Alonso and Fori and Wirtz and Leverkusen. And in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Gasperini goes man for man and absolutely finger blast them all over the stadium. Adam Ola started the show, but
Just
Atlanta and no mugs. Cercle Brugge have got a good, young, exciting side and have knocked them over relatively easy. I think that could be a potential banana skin. I think Villa have got enough, but I'm looking at that going, I think Villa are going to finish 4th, and to finish 4th, I think they need to be out of that Champions League early to finish the season strong. So I'm going to go for the upset.
Okay.
Club Brugge to progress.
Benfica, Barcelona.
Barca.
Another tough game now.
5-4 if you remember.
Yeah.
Benfica had them in big trouble. I think with 3 or 4-1 up, and then obviously Barca come back and won. Yeah. But I'd fancy Barca to do them over the 2.
Dortmund, Lille.
Lille have beat Real Madrid this year. I know they went in a great spot.
Dortmund are doing great, yeah.
I'm going to go Lille.
No, I'd go the second legs in Lille.
Just
legs
because
in Lille.
currently where we're at, I don't think... What's Dortmund's last few games?
Dortmund like 9th in the Bundesliga.
Dortmund,
Yeah.
I know they're having a
but they've had a good Champions League.
Do you know?
I'm going Lille.
I'd have to go. I'm going to go Lille, Jonathan David. I'm going to
Big
go
tie.
Lille.
Next one, Bayern against Leverkusen.
Lille against Liverpool. Would you go nowhere?
Do you know Bayern against Leverkusen? Leverkusen, they've been tight games, like really tight games. I think when looking at it, go, Xabi Alonso's a better manager than company. I think Leverkusen are going to get through, and the fact that the second leg's in Leverkusen,
big advantage.
I think gives them an advantage. I think Leverkusen are going to dust them, and I think Bayern will win the domestic title, but I think they'll get knocked out of Europe.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go Bayern Munich. I just think they'll have a little bit too much quality in the second leg.
Big tie, all depends what happens in that first leg there at Bayern.
It's just the second
Last
leg.
one, Feyenoord, Inter.
Feyenoord have been alright in Europe this year, you know.
It's a good
Feyenoord,
but
Inter, I watched Inter at the weekend. Inter have got, I love Barella. I think Barella's a fantastic player. I like Bastoni, the centre half.
Barella is just like
the front two,
midfielder.
you know, there's lots. I like the left back. Did you see the free kick Di Marco scored, the left back? Honestly, fucking as good as Robbie Brady's was.
Yeah.
is a cracker. You'd have to fancy Inter to progress there, but Feyenoord no mugs.
Yeah. What are other games that is though?
Oh, nothing better than the Champions League, is
Oh
there?
yeah.
No,
Nothing better.
especially when you get to this level. Two
Let's
legs.
have
No,
just
nothing
fucking next
better.
level.
And then
Right,
My dad that we might be going to the home leg. I just sorted some tickets.
I'm
Oh,
going.
nice,
I've
yeah.
got my tickets. You got your
Of
tickets?
course you have.
What? I've got
One
my
of my
tickets,
mates' his dad's the masseuse there.
Is he?
Kane's going to win his first trophy then?
Where did you sit last week? I see you.
Only the
You in
In the
the,
main stand with all the family and friends.
Only the Bundesliga.
so was you in the dugout or the main stand? The Carlsberg dugout lounge or just the main stand?
It's the main stand, but it's just
Okay.
like it's family and friends. But
So
right, hey, Slot was sat
I seen your seat was unbelievable.
3 or 4 rows behind me. Slot was watching the
so
game.
our next stream then, West Ham Newcastle next Monday.
That'd be a good one.
Newcastle, West Ham,
Yeah.
Monday night. Yeah.
We'll see if we can get. Should I try and get Big Andy Cadle on the phone or
Big
again to
Andy or
zoom in
Nobby?
or something?
Yeah.
Nobby's grafting now, and he's Northampton manager.
Monday night though, he might jump on, mightn't he? It's
Lad,
worth an ask.
I'll have to finger. You need the win. They got. Did they get beat the weekend 2-1? To lose. They were 1-0 up maybe and lost 2-1
Andy
the
Cadbury
weekend.
on the get him on the
You can't
WhatsApp.
understand him now.
But he's out in France now, and he so he might give us a bit of a.
Joe helps us down with that
These two
French
can speak
accent.
French.
Yeah, they're both fluent now.
He can just about speak fucking English. Big Geordie. So listen, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next Monday for
Yeah. West Ham Newcastle.
West Ham.
Is it at West Ham?
West Ham, yeah.
Yeah. This will be a good game, that, you know. Who said Newcastle for 4th? You used to.
Me.